This male student has an ugly face and a fat body, so his classmates constantly tease and boycott him. From then on, the male student became extremely self-conscious. He isolated himself from the world. That's why he became a toy for the thugs. On a stormy night, a handsome young man with a cold face dragged a suitcase to the beach. Inside the suitcase was the body of the fat male student. The handsome young man directly threw the suitcase into the sea and said, "Goodbye, my bad past." What is this story? Let's watch the movie to find the answer. The story must be told from the time the fat male student transferred schools. His name is Wayne Jiang. Wayne Jiang was bullied since he was young. When he grew up, his situation was no better, so he had to transfer to the city. On the first day of school, Wayne Jiang was taking pictures on the bus to show his grandmother in the countryside. Suddenly, the car braked suddenly. The unexpected incident caused his phone to accidentally fall onto a female student's skirt. The female student's best friend thought that Wayne Jiang had the intention of taking a photo, so Tao Chao quickly snatched Wayne Jiang's phone to check. The female student's boyfriend also rushed in to fight, causing Wayne Jiang to drop his phone and run away. Then Wayne Jiang escaped to the internet cafe, but Chen Zhen's friends found him here. Luckily, this place was Hao Ming's territory. He was someone who always protected the weak. Hao Ming didn't give Chen Zhen a chance to cause trouble. The two of them looked at each other very tensely. Because Chen Zhen was under school probation, he didn't want to cause trouble, so he had to leave. Wayne Jiang was relieved when he saw this, but before he could be happy, he accidentally discovered something shocking. A video of him being forced to run naked in the rain by a group of thugs was circulating online. Everyone saw this video, which made Wayne Jiang extremely embarrassed. On the other side, Tao Chao checked Fat Wayne Jiang's phone, but she didn't see any photos of women. Adding to the fact that Wayne Jiang's clip was exposed, Tao Chao realized that she had suspected a pitiful person. At night, Wayne Jiang sat on the terrace. His grandmother rented him a room. Here, Wayne Jiang felt extremely wrong. He had been bullied since he was young because of his ugly appearance. His grandmother once told Fat Wayne Jiang that wishes under the lantern would come true. Wayne Jiang also reached out for the lantern, wishing for a perfect body. Unfortunately, Fat Wayne Jiang fell downstairs. At that moment, a handsome young man passed by. After waking up, Wayne Jiang hurriedly returned to his room. After a while, the handsome young man fainted in a corner. When Wayne Jiang went to bed, the handsome young man woke up. The handsome young man wondered why he was here. The handsome young man could not believe that Wayne Jiang's soul was in his body. Wayne Jiang still thought he was dreaming and found his way back to his room. He did not expect to see someone who looked exactly like him sleeping on the bed. He immediately panicked and shouted loudly. He thought he was dreaming and slapped himself in the face. At this time, Wayne Jiang woke up in a fat body. At this time, Tao Chao also appeared. Wayne Jiang immediately opened the door. Tao Chao apologized for misunderstanding Wayne Jiang about the previous day, and at the same time she wanted to return the phone to him. Knowing that Wayne Jiang was a transfer student, Tao Chao made an appointment to meet him at school. Then Tao Chao went to school first. After that, Wayne Jiang returned to his room. Looking at the perfect body of the handsome young man lying on the bed, Wayne Jiang wished he could be as handsome as him. But Wayne Jiang still ate 2 packs of noodles at once. Now Wayne Jiang doesn't need to bother with dieting and exercising, because as long as his fat body goes to sleep, his soul will wake up in the body of a handsome young man. God actually gave Wayne Jiang another handsome body. Wayne Jiang can comfortably experience the difference of being a perfect person. Then Wayne Jiang used the handsome young man's body to go to school, study. The teacher saw that he didn't look like the photo in the report card, so she wondered how he lost weight. Fortunately, Wayne Jiang was not discovered by the teacher. Later, the teacher introduced Wayne Jiang to the class. All the female students were excited because of his handsome appearance. The male students were jealous. Only Tao Chao found it strange. Wayne Jiang not only attracted the female students in the class, but he also became the center of attention of the whole school. Female students lined up in long lines just to see Wayne Jiang. His perfect body was even used as a model for paintings. Now Wayne Jiang can confidently play sports that he couldn't do when he was fat. Living in a new body is really great. However, Wayne Jiang still has a shortcoming, which is his shy nature. Appearance can change, but personality cannot. Wayne Jiang hid in the bathroom to try to learn to be confident. Just then, Chen Zhen let his friends in. He was talking about finding Wayne Jiang. Wayne Jiang was scared when he thought about it. Chen Zhen's previous hit still hurt him. Wayne Jiang tried to act tough in front of Chen Zhen. Fortunately, Wayne Jiang successfully fooled him. Only when Wayne Jiang went outside did he dare to breathe heavily. Later, Wayne Jiang returned to class. A shy boy named A Yang brought Wayne Jiang cakes. It turned out that it was the first time he saw someone who dared to oppose Chen Zhen. So A Yang admired Wayne Jiang very much. A Yang wanted to ask Wayne Jiang to protect him. Suddenly Tao Chao appeared. She thought that Wayne Jiang forced a Yang to buy cakes. She thought that Wayne Jiang bullied his classmates on the first day of transferring school. So Tao Chao scolded Wayne Jiang directly. She reminded him not to be a gangster. Wayne Jiang was wronged, but could not explain. When school ended, Wayne Jiang accidentally took the same bus with Tao Chao. He tried to avoid her, but was still discovered by her. However, Tao Chao did not pay attention. She just thought that the two of them were destined to go the same way. Tao Chao did not know that Wayne Jiang was the fat boy who lived on the top floor of her house. Wayne Jiang avoided Tao Chao to get home, but he unexpectedly received a call from her. Tao Chao wondered why Wayne Jiang didn't come to class today. Wayne Jiang lied and said that he had dropped out. Tao Chao heard Wayne Jiang's voice was a bit strange, so she thought he was sick and wanted to check on him. Wayne Jiang tried to stop Tao Chao but failed, so he quickly ran into the room to wake up Fat Wayne Jiang. Wayne Jiang took his place to explain to Tao Chao, so she didn't discover his secret. In the evening, Wayne Jiang went out for a walk. He suddenly received a text message from his classmates. They wanted to hold a party to welcome new members, but Wayne Jiang had no money. He planned to call his grandmother in the countryside to ask for money, but when Wayne Jiang saw an old woman working hard selling goods, he remembered that his grandmother also had to earn money for him to go to school. Wayne Jiang felt sorry for her, so he didn't ask for money anymore. Wayne Jiang accidentally saw a recruitment notice at a grocery store. The next day, he changed into the handsome Wayne Jiang's body to go to the interview. The boss happily accepted and said that this place was for him. He said that there was no requirement for experience or appearance here. But the next day, Fat Wayne Jiang came to the store to apply for a job. He said that he was introduced by the handsome young man yesterday, but the boss looked at his appearance and didn't want to hire him anymore. The boss's daughter sat on the side and watched. She knew that Fat Wayne Jiang was the handsome young man's friend, so she immediately called handsome Wayne Jiang to negotiate. Ching Ching said that she would ask her father to hire Fat Wayne Jiang. In return, handsome Wayne Jiang had to fulfill 10 requests. He didn't think much and immediately accepted. Tonight, Ching Ching wanted handsome Wayne Jiang to fulfill the first request, which was that he had to attend the welcome party. Handsome Wayne Jiang had to calculate the time to return to work with Fat Wayne Jiang, because Fat Wayne Jiang couldn't be late on the first day. Handsome Wayne Jiang accidentally met Tao Chao on the rooftop. Only now did she realize that handsome Wayne Jiang was here. He quickly explained that he was the new roommate of Fat Wayne Jiang. Tao Chao believed him and let it go. After changing his body, Fat Wayne Jiang went to work at the grocery store. In the evening, a Yang went to the store to buy things. He recognized Fat Wayne Jiang as the person who was suspected of taking photos on the bus, so he rushed to report to Chen Zhen. When he heard the news, Chen Zhen's group immediately went to the grocery store and beat Fat Wayne Jiang up. Fortunately, Hao Ming's group appeared and rescued Fat Wayne Jiang in time. After Hao Ming left, Fat Wayne Jiang called his grandmother in grievance, but he didn't dare to tell her what had just happened. The next day, handsome Wayne Jiang went to class. He used some tricks to get revenge on Chen Zhen. Chen Zhen didn't know. He was still proud to tell her about teaching Fat Wayne Jiang. Tao Chao was extremely angry. She knew that Fat Wayne Jiang was wronged. Chen Zhen beat people up without reasoning, which made Tao Chao extremely angry, but Chen Zhen still didn't know how to repent. He didn't expect that Chen Zhen would soon pay the price. At this time, Grandma went to school to find Fat Wayne Jiang, and she thoughtfully brought food from her hometown. However, Grandma did not know the way around the school. Fortunately, she met a kind male student who helped her. She immediately asked the male student to give food to her grandson. This was food for Wayne Jiang to invite his classmates, and Grandma would go home to wait for him. Then, the male student and Wayne Jiang brought the food to the cafeteria to share with his classmates. Suddenly, Wayne Jiang remembered something important and immediately ran home. Luckily, Grandma had not yet opened the door. Handsome Wayne Jiang took her to the landlord's room to talk. He explained that Fat Wayne Jiang had let him stay. Grandma thought this was a good thing because Fat Wayne Jiang would not be lonely when he was alone. Grandma wanted to go up to visit her grandson, but handsome Wayne Jiang quickly stopped her, saying that he needed to clean up some things in the room. Handsome Wayne Jiang immediately ran to the room and woke up Handsome Wayne Jiang also immediately fell asleep. Grandma felt strange and wanted to go over to check, but she was stopped by Fat Wayne Jiang. Fat Wayne Jiang said that his friend was sick. If he was woken up, he would be in danger. Hearing this, Grandma let it go. The next day, handsome Wayne Jiang woke up, not knowing where Fat Wayne Jiang had fainted again, but handsome Wayne Jiang didn't have time to care. He sat down at the table to fill his hungry stomach first. Later, handsome Wayne Jiang fainted on the dining table. It turned out that Fat Wayne Jiang was sleeping when he was woken up by his boss. He rushed home and lied to Grandma that he had just gone jogging. Grandma would go back to her hometown today. Grandma wanted to give Fat Wayne Jiang some pocket money, but he didn't want not to accept it. Suddenly, Tao Chow came over. Grandma thought she came to ask her grandson to go to school. Fat Wayne Jiang signaled Tao Chow to hide the fact that he had dropped out of school. She immediately understood and did as she said, and same Fat Wayne Jiang followed her out. At the bus stop, Fat Wayne Jiang asked Tao Chow why she was so nice to him. Tao Chow did not answer. She remembered that when she was a child, she was also discriminated against by her friends because she was fat, so she felt sympathy for Wayne Jiang. Then Tao Chow went to class. Fat Wayne Jiang received news that his grandmother had returned, so he also changed into handsome Wayne Jiang and went to school. After arriving at school, handsome Wayne Jiang looked for a Yang to invite him to eat cake together, and at the same time, handsome Wayne Jiang wanted to regain Tao Chow's favor. However, he accidentally withdrew the money that his grandmother gave to Fat Wayne Jiang. He was discovered by Tao Chow and quickly hid in the bathroom. At this time, Hao Ming's group came and took Wayne Jiang's wallet. Hao Ming made a challenge. If Wayne Jiang beat him at the boxing stadium, he would return his wallet. Wayne Jiang didn't want to lose the money his grandmother had saved up, so he went to the boxing stadium. But because Wayne Jiang had no talent for this sport, he was no match for Hao Ming. Wayne Jiang remembered the times he had been beaten since he was a child and had grown up. His tolerance had reached its limit, and he began to counterattack. This action of Wayne Jiang made Hao Ming feel interested. Wayne Jiang threw a powerful punch and immediately knocked out his opponent. Hao Ming immediately passed out on the spot. Wayne Jiang also got his wallet back. After that, Wayne Jiang returned home and saw Tao Chow knocking on the door, calling out to Fat Wayne Jiang. She also wanted handsome Wayne Jiang to explain why he had taken Fat Wayne Jiang's wallet. Handsome Wayne Jiang immediately explained that Fat Wayne Jiang lent him his wallet, but Tao Chow still didn't believe it. She insisted on calling Fat Wayne Jiang out to ask for clarification. Handsome Wayne Jiang wanted to get his wallet back, but he was immediately bitten on the hand by Tao Chow. He had to quickly beg for mercy and then open the door for her to enter the house. Handsome Wayne Jiang also found a way to escape first, but he accidentally met Hao Ming going up. Handsome Wayne Jiang had no choice but to return to the terrace. Hao Ming also went into the room and saw Fat Wayne Jiang still unconscious. He intended to wake Fat Wayne Jiang up with a slap, but fortunately, Fat Wayne Jiang opened his eyes in time. Before Tao Chow could ask, Fat Wayne Jiang immediately explained that she had misunderstood handsome Wayne Jiang. In fact, he was a good person. Fatty Wayne Jiang praised handsome Wayne Jiang, which made Hao Ming and Tao Chow suspicious. Maybe Fatty Wayne Jiang was bullied and said such things. Hao Ming wanted to investigate handsome Wayne Jiang. He and Tao Chow wanted to find handsome Wayne Jiang to ask, but they couldn't find him anymore. It turned out that handsome Wayne Jiang was sleeping in the corner of the terrace. Hao Ming and Tao Chow had no choice but to leave, and at this time Fatty Wayne Jiang carried handsome Wayne Jiang into the house. The next day, Hao Ming asked someone to lead handsome Wayne Jiang to the terrace, and Hao Ming directly pressed his shoulder down. He asked if handsome Wayne Jiang bullied Fatty Wayne Jiang. Handsome Wayne Jiang firmly denied it, which made Hao Ming even angrier. Suddenly, the phone rang. It was a Yang's phone that was secretly hiding in the corner to peep. Only then did Hao Ming let go. But from now on, Hao Ming would monitor handsome Wayne Jiang so that he would not have the chance to bully Fat Wayne Jiang. Handsome Wayne Jiang left with A Yang indignantly, and then they hid in the bathroom. A Yang also praised handsome Wayne Jiang for being very strong, because he could endure Hao Ming squeezing his shoulders for a minute, while normal people could not endure 10 seconds. A Yang gave handsome Wayne Jiang a cake again. Suddenly, Cheng Zhen and his group rushed in. Cheng Zhen mocked A Yang, because just like that, he wanted to submit to handsome Wayne Jiang. A Yang was scared when he heard that. Cheng Zhen chased handsome Wayne Jiang out. At that moment, handsome Wayne Jiang remembered the time he was beaten. He was angry and wanted to fight back against Cheng Zhen, but did not have enough courage. Handsome Wayne Jiang had no choice but to abandon A Yang and go out. In the bathroom, A Yang was forced by Cheng Zhen. A Yang had to prepare 2,000 yuan for Cheng Zhen to buy new boxing gloves. A Yang did not have that much money, but Cheng Zhen did not care. He gave A Yang a day to prepare and then led his gang away. In the evening, A Yang went to handsome Wayne Jiang for help, but handsome Wayne Jiang also had no money. A Yang had no choice but to post his favorite pair of sneakers for sale, which he had saved up for a whole year to buy. Handsome Wayne Jiang was extremely embarrassed. He knew that Cheng Zhen was the one who caused the trouble, but he could do nothing. Handsome Wayne Jiang thought about it all night and could not sleep, so he had to wake up Fat Wayne Jiang so that he could stop thinking. At the same time, handsome Wayne Jiang slept so that Fat Wayne Jiang could go to work. Tonight, Fat Wayne Jiang asked his boss for an advance salary to help A Yang, but the boss agreed. If he advanced his salary, he would have to take a day off. Fatty Wayne Jiang had to let it go. Later, customer with a covered face came to the store. He sat there crying alone. Fatty Wayne Jiang recognized it as a Yang. His face was bruised and beaten. Turned out that Yang was selling shoes, but he unfortunately met a group of scammers. The thug not only beat people, but also forced Yang to strip and film a video. Yang lost both his shoes and his honor. He was also texted by Cheng Zhen, who wanted Yang to bring 2,000 yuan immediately. Fatty Wayne Zhang wanted to comfort Yang, but he stopped. He went into the warehouse to get the goods. When Fatty Wayne Zhang went out, he discovered that the money cabinet had been stolen. Fatty Wayne Zhang quickly chased after Yang, and luckily, he caught Yang. Fatty Wayne Zhang asked Yang to return the money because stealing money is illegal, but Yang pushed Fatty Wayne Zhang down and took the opportunity to escape. Fat Wayne Zhang had no choice but to go back and listen to his boss's punishment. First, the boss wanted to call the police to find the money, and Fat Wayne Zhang had to use his salary to make up for the shortfall. Fat Wayne Zhang stopped the boss because he didn't want Yang to be arrested, but the boss thought that he was colluding with outsiders to steal money. The boss didn't have to call the police, but Fat Wayne Zhang would be fired without pay. The next day, Yang brought the money to Cheng Zhen. Only when Cheng Zhen saw that it was 2,000 yuan did he let it go. Only then did Yang breathe a sigh of relief. Just then, he received a text message from Handsome Wayne Zhang. When Handsome Wayne Zhang saw that Yang was happy, he knew that the matter of being robbed of money had been resolved. He also directly exposed Yang for stealing. At this time, Yang also knew that Fat Wayne Zhang was a friend of Handsome Wayne Zhang, and Fat Wayne Zhang was also fired without pay because of Yang, which made Yang feel guilty. Yang promised that when he had enough money, he would return it to Fat Wayne Zhang. Handsome Wayne Zhang said that Yang didn't need to pay anymore. He just wanted to know why Yang had to steal. Handsome Wayne Zhang wondered because he thought that Yang had sold the sneakers and had money, so why did he have to steal? Yang recounted the story of how he was tricked by thugs and filmed. Handsome Wayne Zhang remembered that he had also been bullied by thugs like that. He wanted to get justice for Yang. After that, the two of them went to the internet cafe together. Yang found the thug selling the sneakers he had just stolen online. Handsome Wayne Zhang pretended to be a buyer and made an appointment to meet the thug. The thug's girlfriend took Handsome Wayne Zhang to the meeting place. That was still the place where Yang was beaten. The thug forced Handsome Wayne Zhang to take money, but he didn't have any. Handsome Wayne Zhang asked the thug to return the sneakers, but he had already sold them. The shoes posted online were just bait to lure naive students. Handsome Wayne Zhang didn't need the shoes, he just needed the thug to delete Yang's clip. He asked Handsome Wayne Zhang to give him money. Handsome Wayne Zhang immediately took out 300 yuan that his grandmother gave him and gave it to him. The thug felt like he was being teased, so he wanted to teach Handsome Wayne Zhang a lesson. Handsome Wayne Zhang had no choice but to fight back against the thug. He remembered Hao Ming's punches, which easily defeated the thug. Then Handsome Wayne Zhang snatched back the phone and deleted the clip. Unexpectedly, the thug had accomplices. Handsome Wayne Zhang was knocked unconscious by a stick on the spot, which woke up Fat Wayne Zhang at home. When Fat Wayne Zhang knew that the other body was in danger, he immediately ran out to look for it. On the other hand, Tao Chow went to the grocery store to buy things. She just heard that Fat Wayne Zhang had quit his job. Ching Ching told Tao Chow everything that had happened, and she also showed Tao Chow the video recording. Tao Chow knew immediately that Fat Wayne Zhang had been harmed, so she immediately ran to find Yang to question him. When she texted him to ask to meet him, Yang immediately told Tao Chow that Handsome Wayne Zhang had gone to meet the thug and had not contacted him yet. Tao Chow worriedly went to Yang, and she also called Hao Ming to help. Yang led everyone to the thug's location, but there was no one there. Hao Ming found blood on the ground, so he realized that Handsome Wayne Zhang was in danger. Hao Ming immediately told Yang to call the police. The rest of the people split up to find Handsome Wayne Zhang. Fat Wayne Zhang met Hao Ming's group, but ran for too long and fainted, which helped the Handsome Wayne Zhang on the other side wake up. Seeing himself tied up, Handsome Wayne Zhang struggled to get out. He picked up a chair and threw it at the thugs and took the opportunity to escape. However, Handsome Wayne Zhang had just gone down the stairs a few steps when he fainted again. It turned out that Fat Wayne Zhang was awakened by Hao Ming's group. He felt extremely frustrated because he almost escaped. Fat Wayne Zhang remembered that while he was escaping, he saw the address of the place where he was locked up. Fat Wayne Zhang told Hao Ming's group to go there first. Then, he banged his head against the pillar and fainted again, so that Handsome Wayne Zhang on the other side could wake up. Handsome Wayne Zhang escaped from the thugs again and ran down to the basement. Luckily, Tao Chow and Hao Ming arrived just in time. Handsome Wayne Zhang pushed Tao Chow behind him. Then he and Hao Ming rushed up to fight the thugs. The two thugs were no match for the two high school students, so they had to take out knives to attack. Seeing this, Handsome Wayne Zhang kicked the thug and sent him rolling to the ground. Hao Ming's friends ran over. Now they had more people, but the thug was also prepared. He immediately called his friends nearby to come over. The students were surrounded by thugs. The thugs smugly provoked handsome Wayne Jiang to keep hitting him. However, before he could do anything, the police car arrived. The thugs had to split up and run away. Hao Ming briefly reported the situation to the police. Then he led handsome Wayne Jiang to the hospital. After being bandaged, handsome Wayne Jiang began to lose consciousness because fat Wayne Jiang on the other side was being called to wake up because everyone couldn't call fat Wayne. Zhang, a Yang, quickly took fat Wayne Jiang to the hospital. After this incident, Hao Ming and Tao Chao also believed that handsome Wayne Jiang was a good person. Tao Chao stayed to take care of handsome Wayne Jiang, so Hao Ming and his friends could go back first. While Tao Chao was sending them off, handsome Wayne Jiang found a way to escape from the hospital. When he went out, he saw fat Wayne Jiang's body being taken into the hospital. He thought that if someone woke fat Wayne Jiang up, wouldn't handsome Wayne Jiang faint on the way back? So handsome Wayne Jiang had to find a way to bring both bodies back. Handsome Wayne Jiang took a wheelchair to push fat Wayne Jiang away from the hospital, but this scene was unfortunately seen by Tao Chao, so handsome Wayne Jiang had no choice but to carry fat Wayne Jiang and run home as fast as he could. Handsome Wayne Jiang had just put him down and hadn't even had time to breathe when Tao Chao caught up. Handsome Wayne Jiang wanted to carry fat Wayne Jiang and hide him in bed, but unfortunately his head was hit, which caused his soul to switch to fat Wayne Jiang. Fat Wayne Jiang then went out to talk to Tao Chao. He thanked her for her help today. Tao Chao wondered that she had clearly only helped handsome Wayne Jiang, so why would fat Wayne Jiang thank her? Fat Wayne Jiang replied that he was thanking her on his behalf, and then he told Tao Chao to go home and rest. The next day, Cheng Zhen was called in by the headmaster to be punished because he had robbed a Yang's money. Someone sent an anonymous letter of complaint. Cheng Zhen thought that the person was A Yang, so he went to find A Yang to ask what happened. Tao Chao saw that Cheng Zhen was about to bully someone, so she rushed over to stop him, giving A Yang a chance to escape. Cheng Zhen became even more angry, but he did not hit the woman and continued to chase A Yang. Tao Chao immediately informed handsome Wayne Jiang and asked him to go to the cafeteria. Handsome Wayne Jiang and Hao Ming were there to find a way to help A Yang solve the problem. That night, handsome Wayne Jiang went to bed. Fat Wayne Jiang woke up with nothing to do, so he went to ask the boss for a chance to go back to work at the grocery store. Because the boss saw that Fat Wayne Jiang was an honest person, he agreed to let Fat Wayne Jiang go back to work, but he had to go to work an hour earlier. Fat Wayne Jiang happily accepted when he heard this. While working, Fat Wayne Jiang accidentally witnessed A Yan being chased and beaten by Cheng Zhen. Fat Wayne Jiang ran out to advise him. Cheng Zhen reminded Fat Wayne Jiang not to be friends with this person, because one day A Yang would betray him. Fat Wayne Jiang insisted on protecting A Yang. Cheng Zhen wanted Fat Wayne Jiang to understand A Yang's true nature. He said that if the two of them fought now, whoever won, he would not hit them. Fat Wayne Jiang did not compromise, but A Yang immediately attacked Fat Wayne Jiang. He also hit him very hard. Cheng Zhen saw that he was unhappy and beat A Yang. Then Fatty Wayne Jiang took A Yang to the grocery store to talk. He asked and found out why A Yang was beaten. Cheng Zhen thought A Yang sent a letter of complaint, but he told Cheng Zhen that the letter was sent by Tao Chao. In the school, only Tao Chao dared to oppose Cheng Zhen. Fatty Wayne Jiang was worried that she would be in danger. The next day, when Fatty Wayne Jiang returned to the body of handsome Wayne Jiang, he found Cheng Zhen following Tao Chao. He immediately ran after her to protect her. In the room, Cheng Zhen wondered if Tao Chao had reported him, but Tao Chao didn't know either. Cheng Zhen warned her not to mind other people's business from now on, because he respected Tao Chao's closeness to his girlfriend, so he didn't beat her. But suddenly, Tao Chao asked Cheng Zhen if his girlfriend wanted him to become a thug. That direct statement angered Cheng Zhen. He was about to hit the woman. Luckily, handsome Wayne Jiang appeared in time. He kicked Cheng Zhen and dragged Tao Chao away. The two of them hid in the gallery, making Cheng Zhen unable to find them. However, the video of handsome Wayne Jiang leading Tao Chao to escape was spread online. This made Cheng Zhen even more furious. He went to handsome Wayne Jiang to cause trouble again. Cheng Zhen poured food on him, threatening that he would not let today's matter go easily. Handsome Wayne Jiang did not bother to argue. He hurriedly went to the bathroom to wash his clothes, because he only had one uniform. At that moment, kind-hearted boy named Kai Wen came over. He said that his family had many uniforms, so he could give handsome Wayne Jiang a set. Handsome Wayne Jiang happily thanked Kai Wen when he heard this. Ching Ching also saw the video. She was jealous of Tao Chiao because handsome Wayne Jiang did not pay attention to her, so Ching Ching scribbled on her desk. Tao Chao was extremely angry when he found out about this. She knew who did it at first glance, so she questioned Ching Ching, but Ching Ching refused to admit it and continued to put fake snakes in Tao Chao's personal locker. Handsome Wayne Jan didn't understand what was going on, so he went to A Yan to ask. Unexpectedly, he was lured by A Yang to Cheng Zhen's place. Handsome Wayne Zhang was surrounded by Cheng Zhen and his gang. This time, he could only stand up and resist, but he was no match for Cheng Zhen, so Handsome Wayne Zhang was quickly beaten up. Fortunately, Hao Ming appeared in time to stop Cheng Zhen. Hao Ming said that he came to help Handsome Wayne Zhang. Hao Ming and Cheng Zhen used to be close friends, and they were willing to help each other when the other needed it. But Cheng Zhen became more and more corrupt, and he abandoned his martial arts will to protect justice. Hao Ming made an appointment with Cheng Zhen to fight, to help him reflect on himself. Cheng Zhen was also willing to accept the challenge. After Cheng Zhen and his gang left, Hao Ming helped Handsome Wayne Zhang up and asked him about it. When Hao Ming heard him tell the story, Hao Ming told Handsome Wayne Zhang that he could have defeated Cheng Zhen, but he couldn't do it because of fear. The more Handsome Wayne Zhang was afraid, the more likely his opponent would bully him. Hao Ming promised to teach Handsome Wayne Zhang some basic moves, because the deciding factor in winning was his confidence. Then Handsome Wayne Zhang went home and thought about Hao Ming's words. However, he still had to change places with Fat Wayne Zhang to work. At the grocery store, Fat Wayne Zhang accidentally heard Tao Chao's argument with Qing Qing. Qing Qing not only harmed her at school, but she also publicly slandered Tao Chao online. Meng Yan used the media to boycott Tao Chao's clothes, causing her online shop to fail. So, Tao Chao went to Qing Qing to ask for clarification. Qing Qing admitted that she liked Handsome Wayne Zhang, and she forced Tao Chao to stay away from him. When Fatty Wayne Zhang heard the story, he realized that it was his fault. Fatty Wayne Zhang rushed in to stop the two girls from fighting. Then Fatty Wayne Zhang went back to wake up Handsome Wayne Zhang. He realized that it was this handsome face that implicated Tao Chao, so Handsome Wayne Zhang had to protect her. In the morning, Handsome Wayne Zhang followed Tao Chao out. He found her going to Qing Qing's place. Handsome Wayne Zhang outside recorded their conversation. Inside, Tao Chao begged Qing Qing to correct the information on the internet. Tao Chao and her sister could only rely on online business to make money. Their lives were very difficult. They were not like Qing Qing, who had been protected by their parents since childhood. Qing Qing made Tao Chao kneel down and threw money at her face, saying that if Tao Chao needed money, she would give it to her. As long as Tao Chao stayed away from Handsome Wayne Zhang, Qing Qing also dumped trash on Tao Chao's head. Tao Chao still patiently picked up the money, but then she returned the money to Qing Qing and told her not to throw away the money her parents worked hard to earn. After speaking, Tao Chao turned around and left. At this time, Handsome Wayne Zhang appeared. Qing put on an innocent face again. Handsome Wayne Zhang directly exposed her and warned that if Qing Qing did not go online to correct the rumors about Tao Chao, he would make the video public to show everyone her true nature. Then Handsome Wayne Zhang took Tao Chao and left. Qing Qing immediately called for help. When they went out, the two met Cheng Zhen's girlfriend, Lan Xin. She had something to say to Tao Chao. Suddenly, Cheng Zhen appeared. He also wanted to talk to Handsome Wayne Zhang. Tao Chao didn't want Handsome Wayne Zhang to go and be beaten, but he decided to face his fear. The two boys led each other to the open field. Cheng Zhen asked Handsome Wayne Zhang to hand over the video of Qing Qing insulting Tao Chao, but Handsome Wayne Zhang was already in a fighting stance and didn't surrender. Then the two started fighting. This time, Handsome Wayne Zhang was much more confident after listening to Hao Ming's teachings. He had to fight back after being hit by his opponent. Handsome Wayne Zhang threw a heavy punch that stunned Cheng Zhen. However, Handsome Wayne Zhang quickly fell into a disadvantageous situation. Fortunately, Tao Chao and Lan Xin arrived at that time. Lan Xin admitted to Cheng Zhen that she had sent the letter of accusation because she wanted him to stop making trouble. Then Lan Xin asked Tao Chao to take her home. Cheng Zhen chased after him and wanted to know the reason for the betrayal. Lan Xin said that she didn't want to see her boyfriend make mistakes again and again. If this continues, Cheng Zhen will turn into a thug. Lan Xin now has no hope for her boyfriend anymore. Only then did Cheng Zhen realize that he had lost his girlfriend's trust. After Handsome Wayne Zhang was beaten up, he went home and fell asleep so that Fat Wayne Zhang could wake up and go to work. Fat Wayne Zhang wanted to check the wound on Handsome Wayne Zhang's body, but he accidentally found an eye-shaped birthmark on the back of his neck. Fat Wayne Zhang felt strange but didn't pay attention. The next day, Handsome Wayne Zhang went to school to find Qing Qing, and he asked if she had asked Cheng Zhen to get the video. Qing Qing firmly denied it, and she was even angry that Handsome Wayne Zhang had wrongly accused her. Qing Qing said that at school she was only close to a male student, Handsome Wayne Zhang, but outside of school, Qing Qing was familiar with the underworld, and he was also Cheng Zhen's superior. Maho was angry that Cheng Zhen couldn't handle Handsome Wayne Zhang, so he decided to deal with Handsome Wayne Zhang himself. Qing Qing said that Mahu could beat anyone except Handsome Wayne Zhang, She made him angry and a little angry at Cheng Zhen. He was upset but still had to endure. At this time, Tao Chao and his best friend were looking for ways to deal with the inventory. Lan Xin suggested that online clothing stores often hire advertising models, but Tao Chao had no money. Suddenly, there was an express delivery to Fat Wayne Zhang. Lan Xin immediately thought of an idea. She told Tao Chao that she could ask handsome Wayne Zhang to be a model. Tao Chao also decided to give it a try. She returned the delivery to handsome Wayne Zhang and asked him for help. Handsome Wayne Zhang also wanted to help Tao Chao, but he had never been a model before. Tao Chao said that he didn't need to worry about this. She would ask her sister to train him. Handsome Wayne Zhang reluctantly agreed after hearing this. After Tao Chao returned, handsome Wayne Zhang closed the door and opened the delivery. Inside were 2 bottles of sleeping pills, one for Fat Wayne Zhang to use, and the other for handsome Wayne Zhang. This medicine had the effect of waking people up. Handsome Wayne Zhang immediately tested the effect. Just 1 puff made him fall asleep. Fat Wayne Zhang had to take 2 puffs before he could close his eyes. Because handsome Wayne Zhang wanted to save sleeping pills, he still chose the traditional way of knocking Fat Wayne Zhang unconscious. The next day there was an exam in class. Handsome Wayne Zhang didn't know what to do. Suddenly he felt sleepy again, causing Fat Wayne Zhang to wake up at home. Although he was a bad student, he was quick-witted, so Fat Wayne Zhang immediately thought of a way to cheat. He read a book and then took a nap, leaving handsome Wayne Zhang on the other side to fill in the exam. Fat Wayne Zhang also knew that this was cheating, but he remembered his grandmother in the countryside. He just wanted her to be proud once when her grandson was number 1 in the school. Handsome Wayne Zhang continued to do the exam in this way, but his actions were accidentally discovered by Kai Wen. When the time was up, Kai Wen asked handsome Wayne Zhang about this strange matter, but he couldn't reveal the secret. After the exam, handsome Wayne Zhang returned to his room. He felt extremely guilty because he was really sorry for his hard-working classmates. Unexpectedly, Tao Chao came to handsome Wayne Zhang's room. Today he had a modeling appointment. Tao Chao wanted to take him shopping for clothes, but handsome Wayne Zhang had also prepared. Kai Wen gave him a few sets of clothes before. When Tao Chao's sister saw it, she immediately realized that these were expensive clothes, so she thought that handsome Wayne Zhang was pretending to be poor, but he explained that it was not. Handsome Wayne Zhang and Tao Chao's sister took a photo together, but handsome Wayne Zhang kept his eyes closed, so none of the photos were good. Tao Chao had to let handsome Wayne Zhang take the photo alone. Unexpectedly, he posed better at that time. Perhaps handsome Wayne Zhang was shy to stand near girls, so Tao Chao had to put together the photo himself, which looked quite natural. The next day when handsome Wayne Zhang came to class, he accidentally bumped into Kai Wen. When the two touched hands, Kai Wen shyly took the wrong manuscript. Handsome Wayne Zhang didn't pay attention to this, because someone was looking for him, so he hurried away. Soon after, handsome Wayne Zhang went to see his homeroom teacher. He was introduced to a famous designer by his teacher. Handsome Wayne Zhang didn't want to go because he wasn't confident in front of the camera, but the homeroom teacher encouraged handsome Wayne Zhang that this designer was very good at training models. Maybe this was a good opportunity for handsome Wayne Zhang, so he decided to try to meet the designer. Although handsome Wayne Zhang didn't have the skills and confidence, but thanks to his handsome face, handsome Wayne Zhang was immediately hired with a salary 3 times that of an ordinary person. The designer asked him to take pictures at the weekend. Handsome Wayne Zhang happily returned and accidentally left the manuscript on the chair. The designer accidentally saw it. She felt that the manuscript was very special and wanted to keep it, but she didn't know that it belonged to her boss. Unexpectedly, Kai Wen was the designer's superior, and he was also the one who introduced handsome Wayne Zhang to the company. Later, handsome Wayne Zhang returned to the office to look for the forgotten documents, but the designer tricked him into looking elsewhere. Handsome Wayne Zhang participated in his first photo shoot on the weekend. Because he was unprofessional, he ruined the entire set of photos. The photographer was very upset, but the designer encouraged handsome Wayne Zhang, saying that his first attempt was a good one. Even so, handsome Wayne Zhang still felt guilty. When handsome Wayne Zhang returned home, he saw Tao Chao waiting for him. She asked about his photo shoot today. He honestly said that the photo shoot was unsuccessful, and then he sat down helplessly. Tao Chao encouraged handsome Wayne Zhang to do his best. Because Tao Chao saw handsome Wayne Zhang was still sad, she decided to guide him in posing. Tao Chao told him to imagine her eyes were cameras. Handsome Wayne Zhang took the opportunity to steal a kiss, but he was immediately pushed away by Tao Chao. Suddenly, it rained heavily, and the two of them shyly hid in the porch together to take shelter from the rain. On the other side, Kai Wen discovered that the shirt design in his manuscript had become a new design on the market. The next day, Kai Wen followed handsome Wayne Zhang because Kai Wen thought he had stolen the manuscript. After handsome Wayne Zhang met his homeroom teacher, Kai Wen wanted to take him home to play. Handsome Wayne Zhang was extremely surprised to see that Kai Wen's family was very rich. He curiously walked around the house to visit. Then handsome Wayne Zhang discovered that Kai Wen's manuscript was deliberately left on the table. Kai Wen wondered to handsome Wayne Zhang, did he find this manuscript familiar? Handsome Wayne Zhang realized something and quickly asked permission to leave first. Then he ran quickly to the designer. Kai Wen also asked the driver to follow him. Inside the office, handsome Wayne Zhang asked the designer why her new shirt design was similar to Kai Wen's manuscript, only the logo on the shirt was different. The designer was angry because she thought that she was also famous, so she did not have to steal the idea of a student. The designer explained that this could just be a coincidence. Maybe she and Kai Wen had the same design idea, but in society, whoever was faster would win. Handsome Wayne Zhang thought it was reasonable, so he asked permission to leave first. The designer gave handsome Wayne Zhang some money again. She rewarded him for his effort as a model. Handsome Wayne Zhang also happily accepted the money. When he went out, he happily counted the money. Unexpectedly, Kai Wen appeared here. He thought that handsome Wayne Zhang needed money, so he stole his design. Handsome Wayne Zhang wanted to explain, but Kai Wen ignored him and left. Suddenly, handsome Wayne Zhang felt dizzy, so he hurried home because he thought something had happened to Fat Wayne Zhang at home. Grandma was waiting on the terrace. Handsome Wayne Zhang didn't pay attention and almost revealed his identity. He rushed into the house to wake Fat Wayne Zhang up. Fat Wayne Zhang woke up and went out to greet his grandmother. Then, he took her shopping. Fat Wayne Zhang took his grandmother to the designer's store. He told her to say that he knew a model so that he could get a discount. However, when the designer saw that his grandmother was dressed simply, she wanted to chase her away. Seeing this, Fat Wayne Zhang was extremely angry and he ran into the designer's office. But then he remembered that he was in Fat Wayne Zhang's body, so Fat Wayne Zhang didn't dare to say anything and left immediately, which made the designer very confused. Fat Wayne Zhang went home and switched bodies with handsome Wayne Zhang. Then he called Kai Wen, but he didn't answer. Kai Wen also intended to block Fat Wayne Zhang's number, but he received a message. Fat Wayne Zhang informed him that he knew who stole the design. At this time, handsome Wayne Zhang was in the designer's office. He directly exposed her for stealing Kai Wen's manuscript, but the designer still denied the crime, so handsome Wayne Zhang was forced to search her desk. Very quickly, handsome Wayne Zhang found Kai Wen's manuscript, yet she dared to admit that it was her design. At this moment, Kai Wen appeared. The designer thought that without her, the manuscript would never have become a product. She did not know that Kai Wen was her boss. Kai Wen only advised the designer that she should be a good person if she did not want to disappear from this industry. Suddenly, the designer saw that Kai Wen looked familiar, so she asked who he was, but Kai Wen didn't want to answer. Handsome Wayne Zhang forced the designer to return the manuscript and apologize to Kai Wen. She accepted, but her attitude was unwilling. Handsome Wayne Zhang was not satisfied. He also wanted the designer to apologize to someone else. That was the old lady who was chased away by the staff outside. The designer also agreed to compromise, otherwise handsome Wayne Zhang would publicize everything online. After finishing, handsome Wayne Zhang happily led his grandmother out of the store. Kai Wen also cleared up the misunderstanding with handsome Wayne Zhang. He invited handsome Wayne Zhang to go to a restaurant to make up for his mistake. Handsome Wayne Zhang reprimanded Kai Wen, but he wanted to know why the designer seemed to be afraid of Kai Wen, but Kai Wen just said it was a secret. Just then, a couple entered the restaurant, which made Kai Wen's expression change. Handsome Wayne Zhang recognized that this was Kai Wen's father. He had seen him in the photo at Kai Wen's house. Kai Wen wanted to take handsome Wayne Zhang somewhere else, but handsome Wayne Zhang was still hungry. He took Kai Wen to the convenience store to eat noodles. Perhaps the rich had never tried this dish, so handsome Wayne Zhang happily instructed Kai Wen. He also imitated it. It seemed that instant noodles were more delicious than high-class dishes. For handsome Wayne Zhang, instant noodles were number one. In another place, Cheng Zhen was called by Ma Ho, who asked Cheng Zhen to deal with Hao Ming. It turned out that Ma Ho's subordinates had just been beaten black and blue by Hao Ming because they dared to act like hooligans on the street. This time, Cheng Zhen refused because he listened to his girlfriend and became a good person. Ma Ho was very angry after hearing this, but Cheng Zhen just left. Ma Ho had no choice but to deal with Hao Ming himself. He asked a Yang to lure Hao Ming over and then had his subordinates surround him. A Yang then luckily escaped, but he knew that Hao Ming would be in danger, so he contacted handsome Wayne Zhang. He was currently in Fat Wayne Zhang's body to go to work, so he couldn't pick up the phone directly. When Fat Wayne Zhang heard a Yang's story, he was extremely worried. He asked a Yang to watch the store. Then he ran home to switch switch with handsome Wayne Jiang. However, as soon as the two of them switched, handsome Wayne Jiang discovered that Kai Wen was there. He wondered what happened to Fat Wayne Jiang, and if Fat Wayne Jiang had fainted because he hadn't even had time to take off his shoes. Handsome Wayne Jiang quickly explained that Fat Wayne Jiang was so tired after work that he fell asleep, and then handsome Wayne Jiang immediately pushed Kai Wen out because they needed to deal with something important. Kai Wen was still confused, but he still had to follow handsome Wayne Jiang. Another classmate ran to inform Cheng Zhen that Hao Ming was about to be executed by Ma Ho. Cheng Zhen didn't care and chased his classmates away, but he was very embarrassed in his heart. At this time, Ma Ho ordered Hao Ming to be dealt with. The subordinates confidently rushed in, but they were no match for Hao Ming. Ma Ho used a stick to beat Hao Ming, and then he forced Hao Ming to obey him, but Hao Ming refused to join the thugs. When Ma Ho heard this, he was so angry that he wanted to beat him to a pulp. Fortunately, handsome Wayne Jiang appeared in time to rescue Hao Ming. The two of them fought together with the thugs. The workers in the factory saw the commotion and ran over, so the thugs also ran away in a hurry. Thanks to that, Hao Ming and the handsome Wayne Jiang were safe. After that, the handsome Wayne Jiang returned home. He wanted to wake Fat Wayne Jiang up to go to work, but he remembered what happened to Kai Wen just now. Fat Wayne Jiang wondered if Kai Wen had discovered the secret. Suddenly, someone knocked on the door and claimed to be a police officer. Handsome Wayne Jiang was extremely confused when the police broke the door and rushed in. Unexpectedly, the police were called by Kai Wen. Tao Chao also followed to see what was going on. Kai Wen explained to the police that the two people in front of him were both Ziyang Falls, one soul but two bodies. Kai Wen also knew the swap mechanism. When one person woke up, the other would go to sleep. The police wanted to wake up Fat Wayne Jiang to verify. Handsome Wayne Jiang tried to stop him but failed. When Fat Wayne Jiang woke up, he realized that he was still at the grocery store. It turned out that the police came to his house was just a dream. The next day was the day the teacher returned the test papers. Thanks to cheating, handsome Wayne Jiang rose to second place, almost surpassing the top student Kai Wen. In addition, handsome Wayne Jiang was very good at sports, so he was getting more and more attention, but Kai Wen's eyes were filled with suspicion. In the locker room, Kai Wen went to see handsome Wayne Jiang, wondering about the fat friend he met at home last night. Handsome Wayne Jiang quickly explained that it was a friend from his hometown who was no longer in school and was working part-time at a grocery store. Kai Wen wanted to have a chance to meet that friend. Handsome Wayne Jiang pretended to agree. He knew that Kai Wen was starting to have doubts. Fat Wayne Jiang went to the grocery store to work as usual that evening. Suddenly, Kai Wen appeared. Fat Wayne Jiang pretended not to know him, but Kai Wen knew that Fat Wayne Jiang was the person who lived in the same house as handsome Wayne Jiang. Kai Wen mentioned asking handsome Wayne Jiang to arrange a date between the three of them. He said that now was the best opportunity. Kai Wen wanted to call handsome Wayne Jiang. Fat Wayne Jiang, who was holding the phone, quickly hung up on Kai Wen, but he pretended that Tao Chao was calling. Kai Wen decided to wait for handsome Wayne Jiang here. He asked Fat Wayne Jiang to make him a cup of noodles. Fat Wayne Jiang also took the opportunity to have a late-night snack. Kai Wen accidentally noticed that Fat Wayne Jiang's way of eating noodles was exactly the same as handsome Wayne Jiang's. Kai Wen accidentally asked if the two had any secrets. Fat Wayne Jiang pretended not to hear. Kai Wen also decided to let it go. In the morning, the designer read an article praising her designs, so she felt happy and wanted to call the journalist to invite her to dinner. But the journalist refused because there was information that her designs were stolen. The designer's expression changed. Then the designer went to see a woman named Han Shui, and she asked Han Shui to help her solve this matter. When she heard the name of the student who drew the draft, Han Shui was not worried at all because she was Kai Wen's stepmother. At this time, the handsome Wayne Jiang came to see Kai Wen because Kai Wen's designs were very famous, but they belonged to the designer. Kai Wen didn't care if others took his designs, but he definitely couldn't reveal his identity. Handsome Wayne Jiang couldn't help but want to make this public because he was the one who caused Kai Wen's design to be stolen. Kai Wen knew that handsome Wayne Jiang had good intentions, but he thought that now was not a good time. Later, Kai Wen was called home by his father. Han Shui told Kai Wen's father everything. He directly slapped Kai Wen in the face. His father didn't want Kai Wen to follow the path of design, but he just wanted him to enjoy his family fortune in peace. Han Shui wanted to help her illegitimate child seize the property, but Kai Wen could only keep quiet. After this incident, Kai Wen had to transfer the work to the designer. When he heard the news, handsome Wayne Jiang angrily went to find her. Despite the designer's favorable deals, handsome Wayne Jiang still didn't want to work with someone with no credibility. He left the office directly. Afterwards, handsome Wayne Jiang anxiously contacted Kai Wen, but he didn't answer the phone, so handsome Wayne Jiang had to wait in front of Kai Wen's house. When he saw Kai Wen return, return. Handsome Wayne Jiang immediately asked what happened, but Kai Wen still kept silent. Then the two of them went to the riverside to drink. Only then did Kai Wen confide everything to the person next to him. He told Handsome Wayne Jiang about his family situation. Handsome Wayne Jiang thought that rich people would be happy, but it was hell for Kai Wen. He always felt lonely in his own home. However, Kai Wen did not have to worry about food and clothing every day. He also did not understand why he told everything to Handsome Wayne Jiang. He thought that he might have considered Handsome Wayne Jiang a friend. Handsome Wayne Jiang wanted to help Kai Wen make new friends, so he immediately called Hao Ming, who was willing to give up the game when his friends asked for help. Hao Ming looked like a gangster, but he was a good person. Handsome Wayne Jiang wanted Kai Wen and Hao Ming to get to know each other. He wanted to help the two make new friends. Thanks to that, a group of 3 friends was also formed. The next day, when Handsome Wayne Jiang was hanging clothes, he accidentally overheard Tao Chao's conversation with the landlord. She had not paid her rent for 3 months and was about to be evicted. At that time, Tao Chao had something to ask of Handsome Wayne Jiang. She couldn't import wholesale from the designer, so Tao Chao wanted Handsome Wayne Jiang to negotiate with her. But Handsome Wayne Jiang had quit modeling. He knew the reason as soon as he heard it, so he went to find Kai Wen to talk. It seemed that the designer was taking revenge on Handsome Wayne Jiang. Tao Chao was accidentally implicated. Handsome Wayne Jiang wanted Kai Wen to help him. He wanted to declare war on the designer directly. At that time, Tao Chao was also called. Handsome Wayne Jiang told her that the designer's newly released product was a plagiarism of Kai Wen's manuscript. Tao Chao was very surprised by this news. At the same time, she also felt contempt for the designer. If Tao Chao could invite Kai Wen to be her designer now, her online shop would definitely develop quickly. This was also Tao Chao's lifelong wish. She hoped to start a business with her friends. Unexpectedly, Kai Wen agreed, but Kai Wen put forward 2 conditions. The first condition was that Tao Chao would not reveal his identity. The second condition was that the model must be Handsome Wayne Jiang. Tao Chao looked at Handsome Wayne Jiang. He had no reason to refuse to participate. Tao Chao was extremely happy and moved. Finally, the startup campaign could begin. Kai Wen measured Handsome Wayne Jiang's body proportions to prepare for the design. Taking this opportunity, Handsome Wayne Jiang wanted to know why Kai Wen agreed to help Tao Chao. Kai Wen said that he was not helping Tao Chao, but he wanted to understand more about Handsome Wayne Jiang. That sentence made the Handsome Wayne Jiang feel bewildered. Kai Wen also discovered the birthmark on the back of the Handsome Wayne Jiang's neck. It looked very similar to the Eye of Horus, but Handsome Wayne Jiang didn't know what it was. Kai Wen didn't have time to care. He sat down to prepare to draw a draft. On the other side, Tao Chao also received help from Lan Xin to run her online shop, but she was still missing the most important thing. That was to hire someone to advertise. Tao Chao didn't have any money at the moment, so she had Ching Ching. Ching Ching agreed to help advertise the online shop, but she had one condition. The condition was that she had to live stream with the Handsome Wayne Jiang. Tao Chao had to sacrifice for her career. She agreed to let Handsome Wayne Jiang appear on screen with Ching Ching. The live stream had a very good effect thanks to Wayne Jiang's handsome face, but after Ching Ching achieved her goal, she wanted more. She wanted Handsome Wayne Jiang to take her home. Handsome Wayne Jiang waited for Tao Chao's opinion, but at this time, Tao Chao couldn't refuse Ching Ching. Handsome Wayne Jiang had to be dragged away by her. Lan Xin told Tao Chao that this was Ching Ching's plan. She helped Tao Chao just to get close to the Handsome Wayne Jiang. Tao Chao pretended not to care. She thought that the most important thing was still making money. Then she took Lan Xin back. When they went out, the two accidentally met Chen Zhen. His face was beaten black and blue, but Lan Xin didn't seem to care. Only then did Chen Zhen know how painful the previous people were beaten. Lan Xin didn't know, because Chen Zhen wanted to do as she wanted. He was taught a lesson by Ma Hu, but Lan Xin ignored Chen Zhen and left. On the other side, the designer saw the online shop support advertisement. She immediately knew who could draw these designs. She immediately called Kai Wen's stepmother. Han Shui was also the principal of the school. She called Kai Wen to the school affairs office to talk. Kai Wen refused to admit that the design was his, so Han Shui had to call 3 more people: Tao Chao, Handsome Wayne Jiang, and Ching Ching. Ching Ching also didn't know who the designer was. Handsome Wayne Jiang knew, but wanted to cover it up for Kai Wen. Han Shui threatened that if no one confessed, she would expel all of them. Kai Wen was about to admit, but Tao Chao spoke first. Tao Chao said that she was a designer, but what was wrong with starting a business since they were all graduating students? Han Shui knew that she couldn't get any information out of these students, so she angrily chased the group out. Ching Ching was afraid of being implicated, so she didn't want to cooperate with Tao Chao anymore. Only then did Tao Chao let the Handsome Wayne Jiang and Kai Wen know that this matter was definitely the designer's doing. In order to avoid implicating others, Tao Chao said that she would take responsibility, but Kai Wen thought that the designer and Han Shui were actually targeting him, so he still had to handle this matter. After class, Kai Wen went home to find his stepmother. He took out the evidence that the designer had stolen the manuscript. If Han Shui continued to pressure Kai Wen's friends, he would make everything public to the reporters. Moreover, the identity that the whole family was trying to hide for Kai Wen would also be discovered by everyone. Han Shui knew that Kai Wen didn't care about the work, he only cared about his friends. Moreover, they were Han Shui's students, so she had no choice but to accept Kai Wen's proposal. Kai Wen was also relieved that the matter was resolved. That evening, Kai Wen went to Fat Wayne Zhang's grandmother's place in the countryside. He wanted to inquire about the real identity of handsome Wayne Zhang. His grandmother had just stopped selling, so she brought Kai Wen home to play. Kai Wen wanted to see a photo of Zhe Yang when he was young. He accidentally discovered that the real Zhe Yang was Fat Wayne Zhang from the grocery store. Kai Wen felt confused, so he went straight to handsome Wayne Zhang to ask him. He called handsome Wayne Zhang, but he found Fat Wayne Zhang holding a phone and running into the room. Kai Wen also went into the room to check. He saw Fat Wayne Zhang just inhale a cigarette and faint. Handsome Wayne Zhang woke up immediately. Handsome Wayne Zhang quickly answered Kai Wen's call, but he found Kai Wen in the room. Kai Wen asked handsome Wayne Zhang who he was. Handsome Wayne Zhang couldn't answer because the person on the bed was the real Zhe Yang. Kai Wen had seen the photo in the album. Handsome Wayne Zhang wondered if grandma knew about it. Kai Wen didn't tell her and ran straight here to meet handsome Wayne Zhang because he wanted to know the truth first. But handsome Wayne Zhang couldn't tell his secret, which made Kai Wen very disappointed. Kai Wen said that he thought they were friends. Kai Wen wanted to leave. Handsome Wayne Zhang had no choice but to confess that he had two bodies. He told the story from the time he transferred schools. The Zhe Yang that Kai Wen knew was originally the Fat Wayne Zhang on the bed. Kai Wen didn't believe it, thinking that handsome Wayne Zhang made it up to deceive him. Kai Wen went home angrily. The secretary brought the investigation documents about Fat Wayne Zhang, but he didn't care anymore. On the other side, handsome Wayne Zhang returned the soul to Fat Wayne Zhang so that he could go to work, but Fat Wayne Zhang still couldn't stop thinking about what happened in his mind. He didn't know how to face Kai Wen from now on. Suddenly, Fat Wayne Zhang received a call from his grandmother. Tomorrow the family had an important matter, so she wanted Fat Wayne Zhang to arrange to return. He couldn't refuse. The next day, Kai Wen went to class, but didn't see handsome Wayne Zhang go to school. Kai Wen heard Tao Chao and found out that Zhe Yang was going back to his hometown today. Kai Wen went to Zhe Yang's room to confirm. He found handsome Wayne Zhang sleeping. At this time, Kai Wen gradually believed in the absurd story that when one body sleeps, the other body will wake up. Zhe Yang had to be in Fat Wayne Zhang's form to be able to meet his family. Kai Wen went back to his hometown to meet Fat Wayne Zhang. He saw Fat Wayne Zhang with his grandmother. Grandma understood and let the two talk privately because Fat Wayne Zhang wanted to prove to Kai Wen that he was Zhe Yang. Fat Wayne Zhang recounted the details of the story when handsome Wayne Zhang was with Kai Wen, and he gradually believed it. Suddenly, a group of thugs came. It was a group of bullies who bullied Fat Wayne Zhang in his hometown. Fat Wayne Zhang immediately took Kai Wen and ran away. However, the two were still caught by the thugs. They beat up both Kai Wen and Fat Wayne Zhang. Fat Wayne Zhang begged the leader to beat him alone and spare Kai Wen. The leader dragged Fat Wayne Zhang out to beat him up, but he still targeted Kai Wen's money. Kai Wen looked rich, but his wallet was empty. Because he didn't use cash, the leader was angry and wanted to beat Kai Wen. Fat Wayne Zhang said he had money. However, after the leader got the money, he still didn't spare Kai Wen. Fat Wayne Zhang angrily rushed over and pushed him down, causing his nose to bleed. The leader ordered his subordinates to pull Fat Wayne Zhang up and punch him. At that moment, someone came over, so Fat Wayne Zhang was able to escape. That night, Kai Wen let Fat Wayne Zhang ride back to the city in his car. He saw a video of Fat Wayne Zhang being bullied. Kai Wen felt that this person was more pitiful than blameworthy. After the two returned home, Fat Wayne Zhang demonstrated to Kai Wen how he switched bodies. Seeing Fat Wayne Zhang inhale the drug and pass out, Kai Wen was very worried. But handsome Wayne Zhang woke up and said he was fine. Handsome Wayne Zhang continued to perform again, but this time he did not use an inhaler. But handsome Wayne Zhang hit Fat Wayne Zhang straight in the face to wake him up. Kai Wen felt sorry for Fat Wayne Zhang. Why was it always him who suffered the pain? Fat Wayne Zhang replied that it was because I had thick skin and fat flesh. Kai Wen advised Fat Wayne Zhang to limit the use of inhalers because they contained toxic chemicals. Fat Wayne Zhang also agreed. Kai Wen also wondered. Handsome Wayne Zhang's body was not a robot. Did he have another consciousness? Fat Wayne Zhang had not discovered it yet. Could it be that handsome Wayne Zhang was a clone? Kai Wen decided to find out about this. On the other side, Ching Ching was live streaming. She unexpectedly unexpectedly received a donation of 200 million yuan. She happily thanked the anonymous fan, but she didn't know that behind the screen was a pervert. The next day, Qing discovered that her makeup bag in her locker was missing. Tao Chao thought that no one had taken the makeup bag, but Qing still felt suspicious. She also lost her fishnet stockings and underwear. A while later, outside the school, Hao Ming and his friends were diligently picking up trash. Qing suddenly passed by. Her classmates were talking about the clip of her dancing online, but Hao Ming didn't care. Suddenly, he heard Qing screaming loudly. It turned out that Ma Hu came to ask why she said loving words to others. Qing replied that whoever donated more would get her love. Ma Hu wanted to drag Qing away, but was stopped by Hao Ming. Hao Ming said that this was a school. Ma Hu shouldn't act like a hooligan here, but he still deliberately tore Hao Ming's shirt. Unexpectedly, his back was covered in scars. This was the sign of someone who had been through many battles. Ma Hu was a little scared when he saw it, so he temporarily retreated. Qing went to the warehouse in the evening to prepare for a live stream because the studio was waiting for repairs. Fat Wayne Zhang wanted to stop her, but Qing was the boss's daughter. Qing asked Fat Wayne Zhang to go out and keep watch, and told him that when the boss came, he had to give a warning signal. Fat Wayne Zhang had to obey. As soon as he came out, he happened to see the boss. Fat Wayne Zhang tried to shout loudly. The boss immediately discovered that there was someone inside. The boss caught his daughter live streaming obscenely online. He immediately warned Qing. The neighbor also live streamed and was almost attacked by a pervert. Qing still believed that she would not be harmed by a pervert, but the boss still told his daughter to turn off the live stream and go home. She took her anger out on Fat Wayne Zhang again. The next day, Tao Chao had to bring Qing clothes so that she could film the commercial because Qing was grounded by her father and could not go out freely. Qing also wanted to ask Tao Chao to help her escape, but Tao Chao agreed, saying that children must obey their parents. Qing immediately threatened that if Tao Chao did not help, she would have to jump off by herself. Tao Chao had no choice but to agree. Then Qing changed clothes with Tao Chao to escape. Tao Chao wore Qing's clothes and waited in the room. Later, Qing went to the grocery store. She wanted Fat Wayne Zhang to lend her room so she could do a live stream. Fat Wayne Zhang couldn't agree because handsome Wayne Zhang was sleeping in the room. However, while Fat Wayne Zhang was cleaning up, Qing still stole the key. She went to Fat Wayne Zhang's room and knocked on the door, but no one opened it. Thinking that handsome Wayne Zhang was out, Qing went inside without permission. She turned on the live stream and danced seductively. The pervert was very excited when he saw it, but suddenly he discovered that there was a man behind Qing. The pervert began to get agitated, and at this moment, Kai Wen came over. It turned out that Fat Wayne Zhang found out that he had lost his key, so he asked Kai Wen to run to the house to deal with it. At this time, handsome Wayne Zhang also woke up. The two of them worked together to chase Qing out. After Qing left, handsome Wayne Zhang thanked Kai Wen, but Kai Wen quickly realized that if handsome Wayne Zhang was awake, Fat Wayne Zhang was probably passed out somewhere. Handsome Wayne Zhang wanted to take a pill to sleep, but he was stopped by Kai Wen. Last time Kai Wen said that this thing was very toxic. He would replace handsome Wayne Zhang to wake up Fat Wayne Zhang. Then Kai Wen ran to the grocery store. He saw Fat Wayne Zhang lying on the table. Kai Wen quickly used a chicken feather to poke Fat Wayne Zhang's nose, which helped him wake up. Fat Wayne Zhang could only say thank you. The next day, a rumor spread in the school, talking about Qing appearing in handsome Wayne Zhang's room. Everyone thought that the two were dating, and for girls who live streamed, this was not good because they would receive less donations. Qing wanted handsome Wayne Zhang to compensate. Tao Chao, who was watching from the outside, could only sigh. She shouldn't have helped. Qing escaped from the room. Suddenly, Tao Chao discovered that a pot of plants had fallen right on Qing's head. Handsome Wayne Zhang pulled her away. Fortunately, no one was injured. Kai Wen felt that this was unusual. He immediately led handsome Wayne Zhang to the rooftop to check. According to Kai Wen's analysis, no one would put a pot of plants here. Someone must be targeting Qing. Handsome Wayne Zhang remembered that Qing had been stalked by someone recently. Hao Ming had had a conflict with him. That was the leader of the gang. Handsome Wayne Zhang led Kai Wen to Ma Ho. The two found him beating Chen Zhen because he had not yet dealt with handsome Wayne Zhang and Hao Ming. After Ma Ho left, handsome Wayne Zhang and Kai Wen followed him. They quickly found the gang's base. If the two found Qing's things here, it would prove that Ma Ho was a pervert. At that time, handsome Wayne Zhang would call the police to arrest him. Then handsome Wayne Zhang lured the gang, and Kai Wen went inside to search. The gang saw the movement and immediately followed handsome Wayne Zhang. Kai Wen took the opportunity to search inside, but unexpectedly Ma Ho still hadn't left. Kai Wen was caught by him, but he quickly sprayed pepper spray in Ma Ho's face. At this moment, handsome Wayne Zhang returned. He questioned Ma Ho if he was the one following Qing. Ching, but he did not admit his guilt. Kai Wen also could not find Ching Ching's things in the closet. Maybe they had mistaken the person. Handsome Wayne Zhang hit Ma Ho as a warning and ran away. Unfortunately, the two were blocked by a group of thugs. Handsome Wayne Zhang immediately led Kai Wen to another path. On the other side, Tao Chao was waiting for Ching Ching at school. She was not at ease letting Ching Ching go home alone, but Ching Ching was still fearless. She was still slow in the bathroom. Suddenly a masked man appeared, intending to take Ching Ching away. Tao Chao heard the noise and immediately ran in. Only then did the masked man leave. This time, Ching Ching sensed danger. Then Tao Chao led Ching Ching to the police station to report the incident. Ching Ching sat down and recounted the details of the incident. She said that the man was wearing a mask, so she did not recognize him. Ching Ching was still so scared that she couldn't remember anything. The police also called her family to pick her up. Father scolded Ching Ching, saying that he had told her not to live stream many times, but the mother tried to protect her daughter. Seeing this scene, Tao Chao was extremely jealous because she had not had parents since she was young. Later, handsome Wayne Zhang also picked Tao Chao up and took her home. He told her that if she ever encountered danger or went out alone at night again, she should call handsome Wayne Zhang to protect her. Tao Chao felt very warm after hearing this. She thought that although she did not have parents, she still had good friends. On the other side, the pervert returned to the room. While he was attacking Ching Ching, he was accidentally scratched by Tao Chao's neck. This made the pervert extremely angry, so he decided to find Tao Chao to take revenge. Unexpectedly, the pervert was the school security guard. While Tao Chao was alone in the design room, the security guard came to her. Tao Chao had no idea that she was in danger. She still had something to ask the security guard. She asked if he had encountered anyone suspicious when he was patrolling the school yesterday. The security guard wanted Tao Chao to describe the person she was looking for. Tao Chao guessed that the pervert's appearance matched the security guard's. If the security guard wore a mask, he would look a lot like a pervert. Only then did Tao Chao begin to panic. Unexpectedly, Kai Wen came to take Tao Chao home. She didn't think much and followed him. The security guard smiled pervertedly and secretly observed the two of them. It turned out that Kai Wen was asked by handsome Wayne Zhang to pick up Tao Chao because he felt uneasy. Tao Chao wondered why handsome Wayne Zhang didn't come pick him up himself. Kai Wen covered for him. He lied that handsome Wayne Zhang was busy. Fat Wayne Zhang was working at the grocery store. Right now, the next day, Tao Chao's group made an appointment at a coffee shop. Tao Chao figured out a way to catch the pervert. She deduced that he must be a fan of Ching Ching. Moreover, he must be familiar with the school. Everyone filtered out 3 people from Ching Ching's fan list. Today, Ching Ching would ask these 3 people to meet. Handsome Wayne Zhang's group would hide in the coffee shop to watch. They would find out who looked like the pervert. However, only 2 fans showed up. Those 2 people didn't look like perverts at all. Tao Chao accidentally recognized the security guard who had come. He also had a scar on his neck from being scratched by Tao Chao. The security guard realized that there was an ambush nearby, so he quickly turned around and left. Tao Chao immediately chased after him but didn't let anyone know. Unfortunately, when she reached the underground parking lot, she was discovered by the security guard. Before Tao Chao could text her friends, she was kidnapped by the drugged security guard. At this time, handsome Wayne Zhang found that Tao Chao was nowhere to be found, so he rushed out to look for her. Handsome Wayne Zhang was almost hit by the security guard's car, but handsome Wayne Zhang didn't notice that he was acting strangely. The security guard took Tao Chao to an abandoned building. He sat down and made the sleeping drug, intending to attack another girl. After a while, Tao Chao woke up in a daze. On the other side, handsome Wayne Zhang came in and informed his friends that Tao Chao had disappeared. Unexpectedly, he received a text message from her. Tao Chao said that she had something important to do, so she left first, which made everyone less worried. Among the 3 suspects, 1 person didn't come. Ching Ching also received a text message from that person. The other person said that there was something important. Ching Ching didn't suspect this fan either, because he was so rich that he could even buy her. After that, Ching Ching asked permission to leave first, but handsome Wayne Zhang and his friends sensed something was wrong. That night, her sister didn't see Tao Chao come home, so she worriedly called Fat Wayne Zhang, but Tao Chao clearly texted him this morning to come home. Only then did Fat Wayne Zhang sense something was wrong, and he planned to ask someone to look for Tao Chao. Unexpectedly, there were customers in the store at this time. The security guard rushed in to buy wine. Fat Wayne Zhang discovered a scar on his neck, which was similar to the scar Tao Chao described to the pervert. But Fat Wayne Zhang didn't have time to care about this. He wanted to go find Tao Chao first. Fat Wayne Zhang called Tao Chao. Suddenly, the phone rang in the security guard's pocket. He saw this and quickly left. Fat Wayne Zhang wanted to chase after him and ask why the security guard had Tao Chao's phone. The security guard ran straight to Ching Ching's house. He used Tao Chao's phone to ask her out. Fatty Wayne Wang-Jiang wanted to stop Qing-Qing, but he was one step too late. Qing-Qing was carried away by the security guard with anesthetic. Fatty Wang-Jiang wanted to fly over and kick him, but he realized that he was in Fatty's body. Fatty Wang-Jiang was knocked unconscious by the security guard, waking up the handsome Wang-Jiang on the other side. He quickly called Kai Wen and Hao Ming, asking them to hurry to the scene. Hao Ming arrived first and found Fatty Wang-Jiang unconscious. His head was still bleeding. Hao Ming was about to call an ambulance, but handsome Wang-Jiang happened to come over and stop him. Handsome Wang-Jiang said that someone would take care of Fatty Wang-Jiang. Then handsome Wang-Jiang described the situation. He thought that everyone should go save Qing-Qing first. Hao Ming didn't understand what was going on, but he did as he was told. Kai Wen called someone to take Fat Wang-Jiang home. At the same time, that person sent the files of all the security guards in the school. Handsome Wang-Jiang checked the files, and he recognized the photo of the security guard who kidnapped Qing-Qing. Handsome Wang-Jiang handed this over to Kai Wen to handle. Then he and Hao Ming went to the security guard's address on the file. When they got there, they realized that he was indeed a pervert. The security guard also had a father. Handsome Wang-Jiang asked the old man where the security guard was. The old man directed the two to an abandoned factory. Inside the abandoned factory, Tao Chao and Qing-Qing were trying to find a way to escape. Qing-Qing still reminded Tao Chao to be careful because her nose had just lost 200 million. Tao Chao said that if Qing-Qing died here now, she would also turn into a dry corpse. Qing-Qing was scared and didn't want to die. Tao Chao found a way to escape. She and Qing-Qing used the lesson they learned at school. Then the two rolled over to Tao Chao's bag. She got a box cutter and cut the ropes that bound the two of them. Just as they heard the security guard return, the two girls ran away together. Unfortunately, Tao Chao got a cramp and immediately called Qing-Qing for help, but she ignored Tao Chao and ran away first. The security guard found Tao Chao, but he only cared about Qing-Qing. The security guard tied Tao Chao up first and then went to find Qing-Qing. She was hiding in the corner, scared and trying not to make a sound, but the security guard still found Qing-Qing. He made her dance like on the live stream and said she loved him. The guard promised to give her balloons. As a reward, Qing-Qing was forced to comply. She attracted the guard's attention and found a chance to escape. Qing-Qing ran over to Tao Chao, but she didn't care about Tao Chao. In the end, she couldn't escape. The security guard was furious. He had invested a lot of money in Qing-Qing. He even used all his father's pension to donate. The security guard even borrowed money to donate to her, but Qing-Qing abandoned him. The security guard was furious and grabbed Qing-Qing's neck. Tao Chao cut the rope and rushed forward. She used a knife to threaten the security guard, but he quickly restrained Tao Chao. Qing-Qing continued to leave her friend and run away. Suddenly, she bumped into handsome Wang-Jiang. He didn't care about Qing-Qing, but ran straight in to find Tao Chao. Tao Chao had just escaped from the security guard's control. She was hiding in a corner in fear. Tao Chao was very happy to see handsome Wang-Jiang. Handsome Wang-Jiang let Tao Chao and Qing-Qing go first. He wanted to capture the pervert. It just so happened that the security guard also came. He said that no one could hope to escape today. After speaking, he poured gasoline on himself. The security guard wanted to die with handsome Wang-Jiang and his group. The security guard lit the fire and let it go. Handsome Wang-Jiang quickly rushed forward to snatch the lighter before it hit the ground. The security guard angrily said, "Now handsome Wang-Jiang still stops him from dying." Then the security guard rushed to attack him. Handsome Wang-Jiang is not his opponent. The security guard wanted to stab handsome Wang-Jiang. Tao Chao wanted to block him, but Hao Ming was the one who caught the knife. He was used to being injured, so he didn't feel any pain. Later, the police arrived to clean up the scene. The security guard was handcuffed and taken to the police station. Qing-Qing was also taken to the ambulance. When she saw Tao Chao and the other two guys happily chatting, she understood what true friendship was. The next day, Tao Chao started her business again, with the help of handsome Wang-Jiang and Kai Wen. Her online shop was doing very well, so Tao Chao wanted to invite everyone to a meal. Handsome Wang-Jiang wanted to go to the room to prepare. When handsome Wang-Jiang came out of the restroom, he suddenly felt dizzy and fainted on the spot. Tao Chao's group waited for a long time, but still did not see handsome Wang-Jiang come down to eat. Kai Wen decided to go look for him. Kai Wen saw fat Wang-Jiang sleeping soundly, while handsome Wang-Jiang was lying on the ground. Both of them were unconscious. So where was Ziyang's soul? Kai Wen quickly called handsome Wang-Jiang to wake up. He even wanted to call an ambulance, but he remembered Ziyang's secret, so he stopped. In his dream, handsome Wang-Jiang also heard the call. The owner of the voice was a Chinese man in white. The secret about the handsome young man's body was also revealed. He was a Chinese-American hybrid named Chris. There was an organization that was trying every way to find him. On this side, handsome Wayne Jiang also woke up. Kai Wen told him about the unusual incident that had just happened. He asked if this was the first time the two of them had lost consciousness. Handsome Wayne Jiang remembered another time when he was knocked unconscious by a group of thugs who robbed his shoes. A similar situation had also happened, but handsome Wayne Jiang thought it was just a coincidence. He wanted to go down to the party so that Tao Chao wouldn't have to wait long. But handsome Wayne Jiang was unsteady on his feet, so he had to let fat Wayne Jiang go instead. Eating was fat Wayne Jiang's forte, so he was always the one who benefited at every party. Tao Chao was still worried about handsome Wayne Jiang. She wanted to go up and check on his condition, but Kai Wen and fat Wayne Jiang stood up at the same time to stop him, saying that it would be fine to let handsome Wayne Jiang sleep a little more. Only then did Tao Chao let it go after hearing that. After the party ended, fat Wayne Jiang thanked Kai Wen for helping him hide the secret. Kai Wen advised fat Wayne Jiang to tell Tao Chao early so that she wouldn't be surprised, but fat Wayne Jiang had a reason to hide it. Kai Wen understood and left. That night, fat Wayne Jiang went to the grocery store to work, but handsome Wayne Jiang's body suddenly woke up. He was no longer Zhe Yang, but someone else. He couldn't recognize Tao Chao, which made her feel very strange. Handsome Wayne Jiang was walking on the street when he accidentally bumped into a group of thugs. They wanted to bully handsome Wayne Jiang, but he physically hit them. After a while, the whole group of thugs were beaten to the ground. Handsome Wayne Jiang's head was in great pain at this time. He somehow found his way home. The next day, the three thugs were taught a lesson by Ma Ho, because three people fought one and still couldn't win. Just then, Cheng Zhen arrived, making Ma Ho even angrier because he still hadn't dealt with handsome Wayne Jiang and Hao Ming. Ma Ho mentioned the favor Cheng Zhen still owed. If Cheng Zhen dealt with handsome Wayne Jiang, they would be free of debt, so Cheng Zhen was forced to listen. Then he went to the restaurant, where he accidentally met Lan Xin and Tao Chao, who were also there. A Yang found that Cheng Zhen's hand was injured because he used his punch to block Ma Ho's stick, but Lan Xin didn't seem to care. Tao Chao also called a Yang to his place. After everyone had eaten, Tao Chao led Lan Xin back. A Yang saw that Cheng Zhen was drunk, and he asked the two girls if they should take Cheng Zhen home. Lan Xin and Tao Chao didn't care, but a Yang couldn't bear to abandon Cheng Zhen. He had to ask fat Wayne Jiang for help, but fat Wayne Jiang was at work, so he asked Ching to look after the store for a while. Then he switched bodies with handsome Wayne Jiang to carry Cheng Zhen home. Handsome Wayne Jiang wondered why A Yang was bullied by Cheng Zhen, but A Yang still cared about him. A Yang said that Cheng Zhen was a very good person before, but because he hung out with gangsters, he became a bad person. The next day, Cheng Zhen was stopped by two thugs when he went to school. They sent a message from Ma Ho that if Cheng Zhen couldn't handle handsome Wayne Jiang today, Ma Ho would personally go to school to deal with it. A Yang overheard and rushed into the classroom to report to handsome Wayne Jiang. Cheng Zhen was still hesitant to take action, but today the thugs would definitely do it. Tao Chao wanted to take handsome Wayne Jiang home to hide. Kai Wen came up with another idea. He had a way to help everyone escape from the thugs. Later, Kai Wen led A Yang to the thugs. He gave A Yang a camera and a phone. Kai Wen accepted the beating, and A Yang would go back to use it as evidence to accuse the thugs. If the situation was too dangerous, A Yang could call Kai Wen's secretary. Then the two of them went inside. Cheng Zhen was being punished by Ma Ho for not listening. He asked Cheng Zhen if he knew where handsome Wayne Jiang was, but he refused to reveal it. Ma Ho thought that Cheng Zhen had been drinking with handsome Wayne Jiang yesterday, so Cheng Zhen had become friends with him. Suddenly, Kai Wen appeared and said that he had come to replace handsome Wayne Jiang. The thugs immediately rushed forward and grabbed Kai Wen. A Yang also called the secretary, but he accidentally dialed handsome Wayne Jiang's number. When handsome Wayne Jiang heard that Kai Wen was in danger, he couldn't sit still. Although Tao Chao stopped handsome Wayne Jiang, he was still determined to go save Kai Wen. Handsome Wayne Jiang ran straight to the thugs' area. Tao Chao also called Hao Ming, and on the other side, Kai Wen was surrounded and beaten by thugs. A Yang was also discovered, so he listened to Kai Wen's instructions and ran ahead to keep the evidence. Cheng Zhen wanted the thugs to stop, but Ma Ho didn't agree easily. Suddenly, handsome Wayne Jiang appeared and said that the person they were looking for was him. He helped Kai Wen up. Then the thugs immediately rushed in to attack. Ma Ho gave Cheng Zhen a chance to make amends, but he still refused to do anything. Handsome Wayne Jiang was beaten until his head was dizzy. The eye on the back of his head suddenly lit up. Chris was awakened. He defeated the whole group of thugs by himself. Ma Ho saw that something was wrong and immediately took a stick and beat Chris unconscious. Then he chased Cheng Zhen away because Ma Ho knew that he was no longer obedient. Cheng Zhen looked at handsome Wayne Jiang and Kai Wen and couldn't bear to leave. Suddenly, Hao Ming appeared. He misunderstood that Cheng Zhen had beaten the the other two. Hao Ming asked Cheng Zhen how much more wrong he wanted to be. Cheng Zhen challenged Hao Ming to hit him, but Hao Ming couldn't do it because he was the reason why Cheng Zhen became a thug. When Cheng Zhen was young, he was often bullied by his classmates. Hao Ming was the one who appeared to protect him. However, Cheng Zhen was a coward and ran away. He stood by and watched other children beat Hao Ming. The scar on Hao Ming's back also appeared since then. Cheng Zhen felt guilty, so he went to Ma Hou for protection, and at the same time he asked Ma Hou to teach the children who had beaten Hao Ming. Now Cheng Zhen still tries to be a bad person. He said that he didn't ask Hao Ming for help. He just blamed Hao Ming for always meddling in other people's business. Hao Ming wanted to beat Cheng Zhen, but couldn't bear to. He didn't blame Cheng Zhen for abandoning him when he was young. Hao Ming was just angry that Cheng Zhen made more mistakes, and he didn't even know how to correct his mistakes. Hao Ming turned to ask Ma Hou what did he want to forgive the others. Ma Hou said that if Hao Ming wanted to be a hero, then Ma Hou would let him be a hero. Cheng Zhen wanted to stop Hao Ming, but Ma Hou told him to shut up and stand aside. He asked handsome Wang Jiang to take off his shirt. He also agreed to do so. Ma Hou hit Hao Ming with a stick, but Cheng Zhen rushed in to protect him. Suddenly, there was a police car sound. Ma Hou and the thugs immediately ran away. Then everyone took Cheng Zhen to the hospital together. The video of the thugs beating someone was clearly recorded by A Yang. It could be used as evidence to accuse Ma Hou. It was also A Yang who called the police to help everyone escape. He asked for permission to leave first. At this time, handsome Wang Jiang blamed Kai Wen. Why did Kai Wen do such a dangerous thing? Kai Wen said that only this way could the thugs spare handsome Wang Jiang. Later, Hao Ming also walked out. Cheng Zhen was only slightly injured. He was waiting for the doctor to prescribe medicine. Handsome Wang Jiang wondered what had happened to Hao Ming and Cheng Zhen before. Hao Ming told them everything when they were young. Because he and Cheng Zhen both had their own troubles, they lost their beautiful friendship. Cheng Zhen hid to the side and heard. He dropped his medicine bag and ran away. Hao Ming found out and followed Cheng Zhen to the game store. The two of them clawed bears together. Hao Ming grabbed the bear and gave it to Cheng Zhen, which was considered a gift to make peace. Cheng Zhen also happily accepted the bear. Their friendship returned to its original state. The next day, the teacher announced to the whole class that they would be going camping together. The teacher wanted to find a friend who could perform music during the trip. Handsome Wang Jiang was immediately nominated, but he knew nothing about art. However, everyone responded with applause to encourage handsome Wang Jiang to serve the performance. Kai Wen would personally design the costume for handsome Wang Jiang, but handsome Wang Jiang was a bit boring dancing alone, so Tao Chao thought he could invite Hao Ming's group to dance together. She immediately ran to ask Hao Ming. Handsome Wang Jiang still felt it was not right, and he was also teased by Kai Wen, so handsome Wang Jiang left in a huff. Very quickly, Kai Wen finished designing the costume for handsome Wang Jiang. He brought it to handsome Wang Jiang to see. Kai Wen informed handsome Wang Jiang that Tao Chao had already started making the costume, but handsome Wang Jiang had not prepared any songs. After all, this was his first time camping. Unexpectedly, Kai Wen had never participated in this activity. Every time the head of the house organized a picnic, Han Shui would send the plane ticket to the secretary, forcing Kai Wen to travel abroad. This time was no exception. Kai Wen asked the summer camp secretary what was interesting. The secretary said it was very boring, but Kai Wen still wanted to try that boring thing. The next day, everyone got on the bus to the summer camp, but handsome Wang Jiang waited for Kai Wen for a long time, but he still didn't show up because he was on his way to the airport. Half-young Kai Wen changed his mind. He wanted to ask the secretary for a favor. Then the secretary went to Han Shui to listen to the scolding. He wanted Kai Wen to participate in the camp once. When handsome Wang Jiang saw Kai Wen appear, he was very happy. Then the two got on the bus to the summer camp together. Ching Ching wanted handsome Wang Jiang to sit with her, but he sat with Kai Wen. On the way, everyone chatted happily. Cheng Zhen had something to say to Lan Xin, but he didn't know where to start. After half a day, the convoy finally arrived at the campsite. The head coach gathered the male students to take attendance. At the same time, he confiscated items that were not allowed to be brought into the campsite. A Yang also brought wine. The head coach wanted to take Cheng Zhen's teddy bear, but he insisted on keeping it. Since this thing is not dangerous, the head coach ignored it. The female students gathered in the dormitory. The vice coach confiscated the female students' phones, and then he asked them to change clothes and go to the training ground. Later, the students started their training session. 5 people formed a team to carry wood together. Then everyone practiced obstacle courses. Ching Ching fell into the pond. She wanted to ask handsome Wang Jiang for help, but he held Tao Chao affectionately. This scene made everyone feel that they were a good match. In the evening, there was a music performance. Handsome Wang Jiang still couldn't overcome his stage fright. Tao Chao encouraged him to be confident in himself. Kai Wen shyly went out first. Handsome Wayne Jiang also gradually gained confidence. However, when Handsome Wayne Jiang went on stage, he still couldn't overcome his fear. He held the mic for a long time, but couldn't sing a single line. Suddenly, a male idol named Junhao appeared. He attracted all the attention of the female students. He was also a handsome classmate of Wayne Jiang. Junhao directly went up to take the stage, which made the handsome Wayne Jiang's friends feel uncomfortable. Junhao danced solo, creating a lively atmosphere for the summer camp. Then he calmly left the stage. The group of girls still followed him outside. Just when Junhao met the handsome Wayne Jiang's group, Tao Qiao angrily went up to question him. She said that Junhao was handsome Wayne Jiang's classmate, so he should also save face for handsome Wayne Jiang. Junhao taking the stage from handsome Wayne Jiang was like insulting him, but Junhao didn't care. He felt that he was the center of the universe, so whatever he did was right. Tao Qiao couldn't stand it and left. At this time, the teacher came to send Junhao back. It was thanks to the teacher's introduction that Junhao became so successful now. He promised not to forget the teacher, but as soon as Junhao got in the car, he told the manager that when he became famous, he would have nothing to do with the whole class. At this time, handsome Wayne Jiang took Tao Qiao to the tree for a date. He apologized to her for what happened on stage. Tao Qiao encouraged handsome Wayne Jiang not to worry, because stage fright could be overcome. Handsome Wayne Jiang saw Tao Qiao looking forward to something, so he asked her curiously. It turned out that Tao Qiao thought that fireflies might appear in a deserted place like a campsite, but there were none here. After handsome Wayne Jiang learned of Tao Qiao's wish, he promised to find her a place with a lot of fireflies, and then he would go there with her. Tao Qiao was very happy when she heard that. Suddenly the assistant coach went to check the area. Handsome Wayne Jiang immediately hugged Tao Qiao and hid under a tree. Fortunately, the two of them were not discovered. On the other side, Cheng Zhen came to find Lan Xian. He had something to say to her, but he couldn't say it. Before Cheng Zhen could give her the teddy bear in his hand, the head coach came to interrupt. Cheng Zhen angrily left. After Cheng Zhen returned to the boys' dormitory, he saw a classmate secretly carrying an iPad. That classmate also discovered something terrifying. A pervert secretly took a photo of a female student's legs and posted it online. Cheng Zhen didn't care and went to sleep. Kai Wen and handsome Wayne Jiang were also preparing to go to sleep. Suddenly, handsome Wayne Jiang had a headache. Kai Wen was about to go get some medicine, but handsome Wayne Jiang pressed his head and went outside. Handsome Wayne Jiang found a bottle of wine in the pile of things confiscated by the coach. He immediately took it to the tree and drank a lot. The assistant coach found out and took the bottle of wine. Then he told handsome Wayne Jiang to go back to the dormitory. Handsome Wayne Jiang was very angry, but because of the headache, he couldn't fight back. The next day, Kai Wen wondered what happened to handsome Wayne Jiang last night. He only remembered that he went to bed and slept, leaving fat Wayne Jiang on the other side to work at the grocery store. Kai Wen recounted what happened to handsome Wayne Jiang. Kai Wen said that maybe his body was giving birth to another consciousness. Handsome Wayne Jiang thought Kai Wen was joking, but Kai Wen's face was very serious. Handsome Wayne Jiang didn't know what to do. Kai Wen suggested observing for a while longer. Then the two continued to the outdoor picnic. Everyone was grilling food. Hao Ming and Cheng Zhen came to sit together, but Ching Ching didn't like it. She said this seat was for handsome Wayne Jiang. Hao Ming wanted to leave but was held back by Cheng Zhen. Cheng Zhen said that if Ching Ching didn't like it, she could go somewhere else. After a while, handsome Wayne Jiang and Kai Wen arrived. Ching Ching immediately ran over to act spoiled, but handsome Wayne Jiang only cared about Tao Qiao. When he knew that she was in the medical room with a cramped leg, he immediately ran to check. In the room, the head coach was taking care of Tao Qiao. He was too concerned, making Tao Qiao feel uncomfortable. Luckily, handsome Wayne Jiang ran over in time, so the head coach was willing to leave. Handsome Wayne Jiang wanted to take Tao Qiao to the picnic, but her leg hurt so she couldn't walk. Handsome Wayne Jiang took the initiative to sit down and wanted to piggyback Tao Qiao. She shyly climbed on his back, and then the two of them returned to the picnic. In the afternoon, the students continued to have fun. Ching Ching wanted to ride with the handsome Wayne Jiang, but that spot was already taken by Tao Qiao. Cheng Zhen wanted to give Lan Xin a ride, but she was still upset, so she went with Kai Wen. Hao Ming offered to give Cheng Zhen a ride. He had no choice but to agree. Everyone went to the lake to play in the water. The head coach was still very concerned about Tao Qiao's injury. The students tricked and threw the coach into the lake. Everyone had fun playing. After returning, Ching Ching went to find the coach. There would be bravery training tonight, so Ching Ching wanted to know who she would be paired with. The coach said she will be paired with Lan Xin, and fat Wayne Jiang will be paired with Tao Qiao. Ching Ching was not willing. She asked the head coach to change it. Ching Ching said she was very afraid of the dark. If she had a handsome Wayne Jiang with her, she would not be afraid anymore. But the head coach did not agree, because he wanted to scare Ching Ching. The bravery training night began. For some reason, Tao Chao was paired with Lan Xin. Qing Qing was paired with handsome Wayne Zhang. Lan Xin was a very timid girl. Tao Chao even scared her to the point of having her heart drop out. Tao Chao suggested that she go to Cheng Zhen. She also said a few good things about Cheng Zhen, but Lan Xin still did not want to make up with him. Later, everyone entered the forest. Qing Qing kept clinging to handsome Wayne Zhang. Suddenly, someone changed the sign. Tao Chao's group followed behind and turned in the direction the other person had arranged. Unfortunately, they got lost in the woods, and at this time the flashlight ran out of battery. Lan Xin hugged Tao Chao in fear. Tao Chao encouraged her to close her eyes and breathe deeply. Unexpectedly, Lan Xin was less afraid. After that, the two of them planned to continue walking, but suddenly Tao Chao's injury relapsed, and she couldn't continue moving. Lan Xin suppressed her fear and wanted to go back to find someone to help. Tao Chao was worried that she would get lost, but now they had no other choice. On the other side, Qing Qing was with handsome Wayne Zhang. She clung to him and held his hand. She even pretended to slip and asked the handsome Wayne Zhang to carry her back. Handsome Wayne Zhang also kindly agreed. Qing Qing was very pleased to see her classmates admiring her. As soon as he got back, handsome Wayne Zhang heard the news that Tao Chao's group was missing. He immediately let Qing Qing fall to the ground, and then he ran quickly to the head coach. The assistant coach was searching in the woods, but he still hadn't found any trace of Tao Chao and Lan Xin. The head coach would come to assist. Handsome Wayne Zhang and Cheng Zhen followed. Hao Ming, who came later, also wanted to follow them into the forest, but Kai Wen was still more alert. He knew that if he wanted to find someone, he had to keep in touch. He led Hao Ming back to get the walkie-talkie. Kai Wen asked Hao Ming to share one with handsome Wayne Zhang and Cheng Zhen. Kai Wen would stay here to wait. If Tao Chao returned, he would tell everyone. Hao Ming took the walkie-talkie and left immediately. Kai Wen accidentally discovered something surprising. Handsome Wayne Zhang and Tao Chao were supposed to be in a group. Kai Wen quickly guessed Qing Qing's intention to swap. He went to Qing Qing to question who helped her. Qing Qing thought that person was the head coach. Suddenly, a Yang ran out to announce that he had found a hidden camera in the girls' dormitory. Kai Wen immediately ran in to check. The hidden camera was hidden under the bed. After a Yang saw the photos of the female students online, he also guessed the location of the camera. Kai Wen wondered what the ID of the person who posted the photos was. A Yang said it seemed to be Viper. Coincidentally, this was also the nickname of the head coach. Kai Wen immediately went to his room to search. Unexpectedly, he found a USB which contained photos of the female students' legs. Kai Wen informed Hao Ming that the head coach was a pervert. At this time, the three handsome Wayne Zhang came to a fore. The head coach would go to the left. Handsome Wayne Zhang and Chen Zhen looked to the right. However, Chen Zhen reminded handsome Wayne Zhang that the head coach was strange. Handsome Wayne Zhang also remembered that he was very interested in Tao Chao during the day. Could it be that the head coach liked her? Chen Zhen was worried that Lan Xin would be implicated, so the two of them had to quickly find Tao Chao and Lan Xin. Cheng Zhen and handsome Wayne Zhang went deep into the forest, but they still couldn't find anything. Suddenly, Hao Ming ran over to announce that the head coach was a pervert. Handsome Wayne Zhang and Cheng Zhen were extremely worried after hearing it. The two immediately turned back to his direction. Before leaving, Hao Ming gave them a walkie-talkie so they could use it to communicate with each other. On the other side, Lan Xin was going down the mountain when she accidentally met the assistant coach. Lan Xin thought that she had been saved, so she wanted to lead the assistant coach to Tao Chao, but he told Lan Xin to go down the mountain to find more help. He said that even if she went with him, she wouldn't be able to help. Lan Xin pointed to Tao Chao's location, and then she followed the assistant coach's instructions. After walking a while, Lan Xin met the head coach again. She recounted what had just happened. He wondered why the assistant coach found someone without reporting it. The head coach thought that Tao Chao was in danger, so he pulled Lan Xin along to lead the way. Suddenly, Chen Zhen rushed forward to attack him. Because he thought that Lan Xin was being molested, the head coach quickly explained that it was all a misunderstanding, but the evidence was found in his room, so he had to tell the police whatever he wanted to explain. Handsome Wayne Zhan wanted to continue going into the mountains to find Tao Chao. Cheng Zhen and Hao Ming led the head coach down the mountain, letting the police take him to the police station. After that, Cheng Zhen went to comfort Lan Xin, who seemed fine. Cheng Zhen wanted to apologize for hitting someone again. Since the last time they argued, Cheng Zhen had not used violence, but this time, he did it because he was worried about Lan Xin. Lan Xin wondered why Cheng Zhen didn't fight, but why he was covered in injuries. Cheng Zhen admitted that he was beaten. Lan Xin was angry that Cheng Zhen didn't tell her, and she thought it was because he didn't want to talk to her. At this time, Kai Wen was cooperating with police. They were investigating the head coach's office. By the way, the police informed Kai Wen that there was a rapist who had escaped from prison recently near this area. Kai Wen saw that the photo of the criminal looked very familiar, so he asked Cheng Zhen if he recognized him. Cheng Zhen showed the photo to Lan Xin, and she confirmed that this was the deputy coach. Then Tao Qiao might be in danger. On the other side, Tao Qiao was with the deputy coach. Suddenly, he received a call from the handsome Wayne Zhang. He wanted to know where the two were. The deputy coach told the handsome Wayne Zhang to rest assured that he and Tao Qiao were going down the mountain. Tao Qiao also borrowed a walkie-talkie to talk to the handsome Wayne Zhang to ease his worries, and then she continued her journey with the deputy coach. However, the two of them went deeper and deeper into the mountain. Tao Qiao realized that this was not the way back to the campsite. The assistant instructor lied to her again, saying that there was a cabin nearby. He wanted to take Tao Qiao in to heal her injuries first, then the two of them continued down the mountain. Tao Qiao began to have doubts, but she had no choice but to follow. Once inside, the assistant instructor closed the door. Tao Qiao wanted to borrow the walkie-talkie to report to handsome Wayne Zhang, but she heard Kai Wen's announcement. The assistant instructor is a wanted criminal. Handsome Wayne Zhang, go find her quickly. The assistant instructor knew that he had been exposed, so he immediately threw the walkie-talkie away. Tao Qiao was extremely frightened. The assistant coach hugged her directly. He sniffed the scent on her body and praised her for being very fragrant. Tao Qiao bit the assistant coach's hand. She threatened that the police were coming, but the assistant coach calmly said that he had fabricated evidence to make the head coach take the blame. By the time the police finished questioning the head coach, the assistant coach had already finished what he wanted. After speaking, the assistant coach tore Tao Qiao's shirt. Tao Qiao quickly took the walkie-talkie and hit him on the head. She reported that she was at the wooden house. Kai Wen quickly determined the location. Then he reported to the handsome Wayne Zhang and everyone else at the wooden house. Tao Qiao was knocked unconscious. The assistant coach slowly took off her shirt. Suddenly, handsome Wayne Zhang opened the door and rushed in. He immediately rushed to attack the assistant coach. However, handsome Wayne Zhang was no match for him because the assistant coach was once a martial arts champion. Handsome Wayne Zhang was quickly knocked down. The assistant coach choked him and made him faint. Fatty Wayne Zhang on the other side woke up. Because the situation was very dangerous, he inhaled sleeping pills to wake up handsome Wayne Zhang, but this time the one controlling the body was Chris. He pulled the assistant coach off Tao Qiao, and Chris continuously physically impacted him. Chris was knocked down but did not feel any pain. He stood up and continued to beat the assistant coach. He had no chance to fight back, so he soon passed out. Suddenly, Chris had a headache. Handsome Wayne Zhang regained consciousness at this time, but he did not remember what had just happened. He could only run to hug Tao Qiao to comfort her. At that moment, Hao Ming and Cheng Zhen came over. Both of them were surprised that the handsome Wayne Zhang had defeated the deputy coach. After the rapist was caught, the camping trip ended the next day. Everyone went back to school. Cheng Zhen gave Lan Xin a teddy bear, and the two of them returned to their previous love relationship. In the morning, the handsome Wayne Zhang waited for Tao Qiao at the stairs. When she went out, the handsome Wayne Zhang pretended to meet by chance, and then he asked Tao Qiao to go to school together, but she found a way to avoid him. The handsome Wayne Zhang waited for her for a long time at the bus stop, but Tao Qiao deliberately got on the wrong bus, which made the handsome Wayne Zhang very confused. He had no choice but to go to Kai Wen for advice. Handsome Wayne Zhang sadly told him everything, but Kai Wen had never been in love before, so he couldn't answer handsome Wayne Zhang's questions. Kai Wen only advised handsome Wayne Zhang to ask Tao Qiao directly. After he finished speaking, he ignored handsome Wayne Zhang and left. Fat Wayne Zhang went to the grocery store to work at night. He planned to follow Kai Wen's advice and text Tao Qiao directly. Suddenly, Tao Qiao appeared at the grocery store. She said she had something to confide in Fat Wayne Zhang. Tao Qiao asked about handsome Wayne Zhang's recent situation. However, handsome Wayne Zhang and Fat Wayne Zhang were the same person, so he had no choice but to tell him everything he thought. At that time, Tao Qiao also admitted that he liked handsome Wayne Zhang. Fat Wayne Zhang was both happy and embarrassed when he heard this. He didn't know if Tao Qiao liked his handsome face or his personality. The next day in class, handsome Wayne Zhang kept peeping at Tao Qiao. He also liked her in his heart but didn't know how to confess. At mealtime, handsome Wayne Zhang wanted to sit with Tao Qiao, but she tried to avoid him. Lan Xin realized the problem at a glance. She knew that Tao Qiao skipped meals to avoid handsome Wayne Zhang, so Lan Xin bought food for her. At that time, Tao Qiao wanted to ask Lan Xin's opinion. What should Tao Qiao do now? If she confessed and handsome Wayne Zhang rejected her, then the two of them would no longer have the chance to be friends. But if Tao Qiao didn't confess, she would feel regretful that handsome Wayne Zhang was taken away by someone else. Lan Xin suggested that Tao Qiao first find a chance to be alone with handsome Wayne Zhang, then Tao Qiao would observe his performance. If handsome Wayne Zhang also had feelings, then Tao Qiao should confess directly. Tao Qiao Chao thought this was a good idea. When she got home, she went to see handsome Wayne Zhang to pay him back for hiring him as a model. Handsome Wayne Zhang happily accepted and asked Tao Chao if there was anything else he wanted to say. The two of them were in an awkward situation, and after a while, Tao Chao dared to ask if handsome Wayne Zhang wanted to go to the movies with her tonight. Handsome Wayne Zhang was just waiting for this opportunity and agreed. Then the two of them would meet at the cinema tonight. Tao Chao happily returned to her room to prepare for their first date. Tao Chao asked Lan Xin to take her to get her hair done. They accidentally met Ching Ching here. She showed disdain and said that ugly people still try to be beautiful. Lan Xin directly scolded Ching Ching for Tao Chao. Lan Xin said that Tao Chao was going on a date with handsome Wayne Zhang. Ching Ching was furious when she heard this. She prayed that this was not true. On the other side, handsome Wayne Zhang was also grooming himself. Suddenly, a headache came. The Horus eye lit up, causing handsome Wayne Zhang to turn into Chris. He went out without his phone. On the way, Chris bumped into Ching Ching. She was very happy to see that he was not with Tao Chao. Ching Ching wanted to invite Chris to the bar. This was also his favorite place. So Chris put his arm around Ching Ching and walked with her. If handsome Wayne Zhang was a gentle and shy person, then Chris was a very playful boy. He drank and danced to the music. Chris even hugged Ching Ching like a couple of lovers. Ching Ching had the opportunity to take a photo and post it online with the title, "This is what a handsome man should look like." On the other side, Tao Chao waited for handsome Wayne Zhang at the cinema, but he never showed up. She called him but he didn't answer. Because Tao Chao was afraid that something would happen to the handsome Wayne Zhang, she texted Kai Wen for help. Kai Wen immediately ran to Fat Wayne Zhang's house and found that handsome Wayne Zhang had forgotten his phone. Fat Wayne Zhang was sleeping soundly. Kai Wen woke up Fat Wayne Zhang and asked where handsome Wayne Zhang was. Fat Wayne Zhang replied that he went to the movies with Tao Chao. When Kai Wen told him what had just happened, Fat Wayne Zhang remembered that when he lost consciousness, handsome Wayne Zhang was still at home. It was 7 o'clock at that time, and it was 10 o'clock now. Handsome Wayne Zhang's body had been gone for 3 hours. Fat Wayne Zhang suspected that he was lost on the street, so Fat Wayne Zhang hurriedly went out with Kai Wen to look for him. On the way, Fat Wayne Zhang suddenly fainted again. His consciousness transferred to handsome Wayne Zhang's body, causing him to have a headache. Handsome Wayne Zhang staggered out of the bar, and then he ran to the cinema to find Tao Chao. Handsome Wayne Zhang lied to Tao Chao that something had happened to him. On the street, he used a hug to apologize to Tao Chao. Thanks to that, she didn't blame Wayne Zhang for being handsome, and then the two of them went inside to watch a movie together. The two of them sat down to watch a movie. Handsome Wayne Zhang even took advantage of the time when he was getting popcorn to hold Tao Chao's hand. The two of them had a very romantic movie night. At this time, Kai Wen saw Ching Ching's photo online, a photo of her and handsome Wayne Zhang at a bar. Kai Wen immediately went to Ching Ching to ask her what happened. At that time, Ching Ching couldn't believe her eyes. At that time, handsome Wayne Zhang seemed to have transformed into a different person, but that was how he should look. Kai Wen gave Ching Ching his phone number and told her that if she saw handsome Wayne Zhang in a similar situation again, she should contact Kai Wen. However, Ching Ching mistakenly thought that Kai Wen liked her, and she wondered whether she should choose handsome or rich. After Kai Wen left the cafe, he went to the cinema to find Tao Chao. The secretary called to report that handsome Wayne Zhang had not returned yet. Kai Wen was very worried when he heard that, but then he saw the handsome Wayne Zhang and Tao Chao happily walking out. Kai Wen complained that he called Tao Chao, but she didn't pick up. She was so focused on watching the movie just now that she didn't notice. Kai Wen felt annoyed for worrying about the two of them. Handsome Wayne Zhang wanted to take the two of them out to eat to apologize, but Kai Wen implicitly reminded him that he had something important to do. Handsome Wayne Zhang understood Kai Wen's intentions and pretended to be in a hurry. He told Tao Chao that he was busy and couldn't go out to eat with her today. Then handsome Wayne Zhang immediately left with Kai Wen. However, Tao Chao felt that the two of them had something to hide from her. On the other side, Junhao was being punished by the director because he didn't know how to maintain his image. He had just debuted and was involved in a bad drama, but Junhao declared that this wouldn't affect his career. As long as the person who secretly took the photo was dealt with, Junhao's secret wouldn't be exposed. He also knew that the director would do everything he could to help because their relationship was symbiotic. Thanks to Junhao, the director made a lot of money. What he said was not wrong because the director wanted to protect the future star Junhao. He wanted Junhao to return to school. He had to live there peacefully for a while, wait for the director to finish dealing with the trouble, and then call Junhao back. The next day, the director went directly to the principal to entrust Junhao. At the same time, he also wanted to ask Han Tuyet for help. The director wanted to find a talent to replace Junhao during this time. Han Huntiet agreed to help him. As soon as the director left the principal's office, he accidentally met handsome Wayne Jiang. This was the face he was looking for. The director gave handsome Wayne Jiang his business card and said that if he wanted to be famous, he could contact the director. Before handsome Wayne Jiang could understand what was going on, the group of female students were already surprised, because the person handsome Wayne Jiang had just talked to was the director of a famous entertainment company. Handsome Wayne Jiang felt that he was incapable, and he never thought that he would become a big star. Later, Junhao went to school and was surrounded by female students. He sat in class with a proud face. When Junhao heard that handsome Wayne Jiang had been noticed by the director, he deceived everyone that the director had just casually sent a business card to handsome Wayne Jiang. But for handsome Wayne Jiang, this was good news because he did not wish to be an idol. However, the director had a reason for paying attention to handsome Wayne Jiang. The photos handsome Wayne Jiang took for Tao Qiao's shop were very professional, showing that he had the qualities of a star. But handsome Wayne Jiang told Tao Qiao that the reason he was confident in front of the camera was because she was behind the camera. If it weren't for Tao Qiao, handsome Wayne Jiang wouldn't have the courage. Tao Qiao was very touched when he heard this, but Kai Wen, who was standing on the side, felt uncomfortable, as if he was jealous of Tao Qiao. While handsome Wayne Jiang was getting water for everyone, he accidentally bumped into a man with a scar on his hand. He called him Chris, but handsome Wayne Jiang didn't know English, so he didn't understand what the man was saying. Handsome Wayne Jiang had to call Kai Wen to translate, but the man changed the subject and asked for the time. Handsome Wayne Jiang felt strange because the man clearly asked him a lot of questions. Then, the man went into the hallway, where a group of people in black were waiting. They had already learned about handsome Wayne Jiang. His appearance was very similar to Chris, but unfortunately, they weren't the same person. The man was still suspicious. He ordered the kidnapping of Zhe Yang's relatives for further investigation. That evening, when Fat Wayne Jiang was at the grocery store, he heard that something had happened at his grandmother's snack bar. He worriedly called Kai Wen for help. Kai Wen took Fatty Wayne Jiang home, but Grandma wasn't there. Fatty Wayne Jiang saw the pile of scraps and knew where to find Grandma. Because Grandma couldn't continue selling snacks, she had to go pick up scraps to sell for money. However, Grandma lied to Fatty Wayne Jiang that she was resting at home, which made him feel very heartbroken. Grandma had been trying to earn money for Fatty Wayne Jiang to go to school. He told her that he could take care of himself now, and Fatty Wayne Jiang could even support her. Grandma thought her grandson was joking and said that Fatty Wayne Jiang could only support her if he studied well in the future. After saying that, Grandma hung up and counted the money she had just earned. Fatty Wayne Jiang wanted to run to her immediately, but Kai Wen stopped him. Grandma hid the fact that Fatty Wayne Jiang went to pick up scraps from him because she didn't want him to see her appearance right now. Kai Wen patted Fatty Wayne Jiang's shoulder to comfort him. Later, Fat Wayne Jiang returned home. The money he had saved was probably enough for his grandmother to reopen the snack stall. Suddenly, the director texted to inquire about his grandmother. Unexpectedly, he had already investigated Zhe Yang's family background. The director gave him a suggestion that if handsome Wayne Jiang came to work at his company, his grandmother would not have to work so hard anymore. This was naturally Fat Wayne Jiang's wish. The director asked handsome Wayne Jiang to come to the company tomorrow to negotiate. If he found it reasonable, he could sign the contract directly. The next day, handsome Wayne Jiang came to the company. The director got straight to the point. He asked how much money was needed to open a shop for his grandmother. Handsome Wayne Jiang replied that he needed 60,000 to do that. If handsome Wayne Jiang signed the contract, the director could give him an advance salary. The director quickly signed the check for 60,000. As long as handsome Wayne Jiang signed the contract, he could take the money and leave. Faced with the promises of a beautiful life, handsome Wayne Jiang finally agreed to sign the agreement, which made the director very satisfied. After receiving the money, Fat Wayne Jiang immediately sent it to Grandma. Grandma suddenly received a large sum of money, so she called Fat Wayne Jiang to ask why. He tricked her into thinking that the boss had advanced her salary. Grandma still didn't believe it and wanted to ask for the boss's number to ask for more information. Fat Wayne Jiang quickly pretended to be busy and hung up, which made Grandma even more suspicious. The next day, handsome Wayne Jiang went to the entertainment company to practice becoming an idol. However, he danced very badly immediately, which made both the teacher and the director helpless. Junhao stood outside and mocked the director's eyesight. After the practice session ended, Junhao went to ask the director why he chose someone as inexperienced as handsome Wayne Zhang. The director said that he had his own reasons and he didn't need Junhao to care. Junhao angrily went to handsome Wayne Zhang and was a little angry. He deliberately spilled water on the table and forced handsome Wayne Zhang to clean it up. Handsome Wayne Zhang remembered that he was bullied like that at his old school. He had to work hard so as not to be looked down upon by others. On the other side, Tao Chao was sad because handsome Wayne Zhang didn't come to class. From now on, her online shop wouldn't have any models. Lan Xin suggested that Kai Wen could be the model, but Tao Chao didn't agree because it wouldn't be good for him to be both a designer and a model. Cheng Zhen was nearby and heard the story. Lan Xin immediately teased him. She said that some people have a lot of work to do, but some people just play around all day and do nothing. Tao Chao went to the grocery store to find Fat Wayne Zhang in the evening. She came to ask about handsome Wayne Zhang's situation, but today Kai Wen went to work instead of Fat Wayne Zhang, which surprised Tao Chao a lot. Handsome Wayne Zhang was still at the company and hadn't returned yet, so he couldn't switch. With Fat Wayne Zhang, Kai Wen was also selling for the first time. When the customer paid, he asked for the price again. Tao Chao was helpless and had to go into work instead. When the customer left, Fat Wayne Zhang returned. He almost let slip the secret. Fortunately, Kai Wen covered his mouth in time. Kai Wen returned the position to Fat Wayne Zhang and returned. Tao Chao stayed to ask about handsome Wayne Zhang. She said that she missed him very much. Fat Wayne Zhang felt very sorry for Tao Chao because he had to keep her waiting. The next day, handsome Wayne Zhang received the director's script. His schedule was already busy, and now the handsome Wayne Zhang had even less time for Tao Chao. The handsome Wayne Zhang refused, but the director believed that he could do it. He thought that what the handsome Wayne Zhang lacked now was confidence. Acting in a movie was like being on stage without an audience. Moreover, this supporting role had few lines, so the director was sure that the handsome Wayne Zhang could do it. The handsome Wayne Zhang had no choice but to try his hand and start practicing the script. Junhao came over. The handsome Wayne Zhang wanted him to demonstrate. Unexpectedly, the script the director gave to the handsome Wayne Zhang was not a supporting role, but the main role in the upcoming movie that Junhao would be casting. Junhao was extremely angry when he knew that he was about to be abandoned by the director. He went to find the director to ask for clarification. The director indifferently said that the entertainment industry was constantly changing, and Junhao's prime was over. Handsome Wayne Zhang's glory days are coming soon. Junhao can't accept this. He wants to prove his ability to the director. The director also really wants to have a competition between the two guys to see who is the real big star. The director told handsome Wayne Zhang and Junhao to compete for the male lead role this time. Junhao was angry when he heard that and left, but the director still didn't care. At this time, handsome Wayne Zhang came to Tao Chao for help so that he could rehearse the script, but no matter how he acted, he looked terrible. Tao Chao had to call other friends to help, but they still couldn't help improve handsome Wayne Zhang's acting skills. Cheng Zhen mentioned the assistant coach. Cheng Zhen said that handsome Wayne Zhang had easily defeated him at that time, but handsome Wayne Zhang didn't remember anything. This made Kai Wen start to have doubts. Tao Chao didn't want to mention the scary thing again, so Cheng Zhen stopped talking. Cheng Zhen tried out the fighting expression with Hao Ming, and then the two of them together instructed handsome Wayne Zhang, who also imitated it. Today was the casting for the new movie. Junhao's quick performance was accepted by the director. However, everyone waited for a long time, but handsome Wayne Zhang still did not appear. The director intended to give the main role to Junhao, but the director asked the director to wait a bit. Handsome Wayne Zhang really lived up to the director's expectations. His face and body satisfied the director. However, handsome Wayne Zhang just stood still and did not start acting, which made everyone impatient to remind him. Therefore, handsome Wayne Zhang became even more nervous. Suddenly, handsome Wayne Zhang felt a headache. The Horus eye behind his head lit up and his soul returned to Fat Wayne Zhang. He didn't understand what was going on. Fat Wayne Zhang remembered that he was at a casting. Fat Wayne Zhang tried to send his soul back to handsome Wayne Zhang's body, but the sleeping pills wore off at this moment. The person in handsome Wayne Zhang's body at this moment was Chris. His mind was calling out, causing Chris to start resisting. Everyone didn't understand what was going on. They thought he was acting, but it wasn't according to the script. The scriptwriter ran up to remind him and was immediately controlled by Chris. Chris's expression at this moment made the director very satisfied. He thought that Chris's script editing was also excellent. The dialogue matched the character's inner struggles, that of an agent who wanted to escape from the organization. After the performance, the soul of handsome Wayne Zhang returned. He was stupid and ignorant. The director praised Wayne Zhang for being handsome handsome and changing his state so flexibly. This is the quality that a star needs. The director immediately let Fat Wayne Jiang take the lead role. This decision made Junhao extremely angry. Handsome Wayne Jiang didn't even remember what happened. The director stood up to speak for the company's new treasure. Then he led Handsome Wayne Jiang back into the elevator. The new director wondered. He asked if Handsome Wayne Jiang had never acted in a movie before. Handsome Wayne Jiang affirmed that it was true. Junhao stood by the side and could only remain silent. He got into the car and let go of his anger. He thought that Handsome Wayne Jiang was pretending to be innocent. He was acting in front of everyone so that they wouldn't be on guard. The manager argued that Handsome Wayne Jiang acted well, so he got the lead role. Junhao got even angrier when he heard that. He decided not to leave Handsome Wayne Jiang alone. Junhao immediately called someone to investigate him. The next day, the reporter brought the information to Junhao. Other than a few photos of Handsome Wayne Jiang and his friends, the reporter couldn't find out anything else. He only knew that Handsome Wayne Jiang had a fat roommate. He worked at Ching Ching's grocery store. Junhao went to Ching King to investigate. He got some basic information, and that Fat Wayne Jiang was being bullied in his hometown. So Junhao decided to go back to Fat Wayne Jiang's hometown. The Fat Wayne Jiang's bullies were bored in their hometown because they no longer had Fat Wayne Jiang to torture. The leader Bo Wen randomly picked up a passerby and turned him into a toy. But after a while, they let him go because he wasn't interesting. The thugs were only interested in Fat Wayne Jiang. Suddenly, a luxury car drove up. Junhao wanted to see Bo Wen. He realized that Junhao was a celebrity, so he took out his phone to take a picture. Junhao felt uncomfortable. He took out the video of Fat Wayne Jiang being bullied. Bo Wen was proud of his work. Junhao felt that Bo Wen was the person he was looking for, so he wanted to invite Bo Wen to join the plan. Junhao didn't say much, but gave him money to make it easier to compromise. There was also a photo of Fat Wayne Jiang inside the envelope. Bo Wen decided to go find Fat Wayne Jiang to talk. Fat Wayne Jiang was scared when he saw Bo Wen standing outside the door, so he quickly ran out to check. Only when Fat Wayne Jiang didn't see anyone could he feel at ease, but Bo Wen just glanced over to confirm. He called Junhao to ask about plan. Junhao wanted Bo Wen to deal with Handsome Wayne Jiang so that he wouldn't be able to play the male lead. Junhao promised to pay Bo Wen a large sum of money. Bo Wen immediately compromised when he heard that. The next morning, Bo Wen went to class to meet Handsome Wayne Jiang. Handsome Wayne Jiang tried to stay as calm as possible. Luckily, the teacher came in and chased Bo Wen out. Bo Wen didn't want to cause trouble in school, so he left. However, he was seen by Kai Wen. He immediately ran to see Handsome Wayne Jiang's condition. Now Handsome Wayne Jiang was extremely worried. He didn't understand why Bo Wen came to find him. How did he know that Handsome Wayne Jiang and Fat Wayne Jiang were the same person? No one knew this secret except Kai Wen. Kai Wen advised Handsome Wayne Jiang not to think too much. He said that if Handsome Wayne Jiang was afraid when he met Bo Wen, he would easily discover Handsome Wayne Jiang's weakness. But Handsome Wayne Jiang had a hard time controlling his emotions because Bo Wen was different from other thugs. Bo Wen had always bullied Fat Wayne Jiang since he was young, so he had always been a nightmare for Fat Wayne Jiang. Kai Wen encouraged Handsome Wayne Jiang that he was no longer the Fat Wayne Jiang he used to be. He just needed to enjoy life with peace of all mind. Fat Wayne Jiang went to the grocery store to work at night. Bo Wen came all the way here again. Fat Wayne Jiang pretended not to recognize him, but this made Bo Wen very happy. He not only teased and threatened Fat Wayne Jiang, but he also said he wanted to send his regards to Handsome Wayne Jiang. This made Fat Wayne Jiang very worried. Bo Wen just bought a bunch of things without paying, but Fat Wayne Jiang didn't dare to say a word. After work, Fat Wayne Jiang returned home. He had no more sleeping pills, so he switched to using electric shock to save money. Fat Wayne Jiang used electric shock to wake up Handsome Wayne Jiang. Handsome Wayne Jiang remembered the times he fought before. He was not at a disadvantage. His new body was not necessarily inferior to Bo Wen. The next day, Handsome Wayne Jiang met Bo Wen at the school gate. This scene was accidentally seen by A Yang. Handsome Wayne Jiang wanted Bo Wen to go somewhere else to talk. Behind the school, Bo Wen directly attacked him. Handsome Wayne Jiang was not afraid at all and immediately fought back, but Bo Wen's thick skin and fat flesh did not hurt him. On the contrary, it made him angry. Bo Wen carried Handsome Wayne Jiang and threw him to the ground. This scene was witnessed by A Yang. He immediately called Hao Ming. Hao Ming and Chen Zhen immediately asked Kai Wen to go out. The three of them did not let Tao Chao know about it. Then the whole group came to support Handsome Wayne Jiang. Bo Wen was angry after being beaten and wanted revenge, but he suddenly received a call from Junhao. Junhao said that there was someone there that Bo Wen could not touch, so Bo Wen had to retreat. Cheng Zhen wanted to stop him, but was hugged by Lan Xin. Bo Wen showed a disdainful face and left. At that time, Lan Xin received a call from Tao Chao. Cheng Zhen signaled her not to tell Tao Tao Chao about the matter. Lan Xian understood and told Tao Chao that there was nothing wrong. Then she and everyone else brought handsome Wayne Jiang into the classroom. Suddenly, handsome Wayne Jiang felt a headache, which made everyone very worried. Handsome Wayne Jiang wanted to go to the bathroom. Kai Wen immediately followed to check. In the bathroom, the Horus Eye lit up, turning handsome Wayne Jiang into someone else. Chris heard Kai Wen calling and quickly found another way to escape. There was a black car outside the school gate. The guy with glasses recognized Chris and followed him in his car. This was accidentally seen by Kai Wen's secretary. The secretary immediately reported to Kai Wen. Then he went up to remind Chris. That action, just in time, helped him turn back into handsome Wayne Jiang. The guy in black behind wanted to inject handsome Wayne Jiang, but when he saw the secretary, he quickly retreated. First, after a while, Kai Wen also ran over. He immediately led handsome Wayne Jiang into the secretary's car, and then Kai Wen took him home. Handsome Wayne Jiang felt confused. He didn't understand why he was outside the school gate. Kai Wen went in and gave handsome Wayne Jiang a phone. There was a tracking device inside, but Kai Wen didn't let handsome Wayne Jiang know about it. Kai Wen wanted to prevent the situation where handsome Wayne Jiang suddenly disappeared like today. On the other side, Bo Wen called Jun Hao and asked who was untouchable. It turned out that Jun Hao was afraid of Kai Wen's father, but Bo Wen had beaten Kai Wen once before, and Jun Hao was very upset when he heard that. He just wanted Bo Wen to deal with handsome Wayne Jiang alone, and it was best if Bo Wen didn't touch anyone else. He was unwilling and hung up. Just then, Ma Ho led a group of thugs to come and asked, did Bo Wen know whose territory this was? Bo Wen defeated the whole gang of thugs. He even trampled Ma Ho under his feet and declared that from now on, this was his territory. Bo Wen called Jun Hao to introduce his new subordinates. Jun Hao was both surprised and scared. Bo Wen wanted to remind him that Jun Hao only needed to hand over the money, and who to deal with was Bo Wen's business. Even if he attacked Kai Wen, Jun Hao could not have any say. Jun Hao could only silently accept. Bo Wen chased him and the manager away first. Jun Hao was scared and quickly left. Then Bo Wen followed his new subordinates back to the base. He knew that the handsome Wayne Jiang had Hao Ming and Cheng Zhen as his backers. Bo Wen wanted to deal with these two people first. A group of thugs attacked Hao Ming, but they were quickly defeated by him. Bo Wen cowardly took a brick and sneaked up on Hao Ming, so he finished off one person. Bo Wen's second target was Cheng Zhen. When Hao Ming was hospitalized, Cheng Zhen and everyone were extremely confused. They knew that the other person was despicable and had sneaked up on Hao Ming. Cheng Zhen became even more angry. Suddenly, he received a text message with a photo of Hao Ming. Cheng Zhen lied to everyone that he had to go out. He accidentally bumped into A Yang in the hospital lobby. A Yang saw that Cheng Zhen was acting strangely, so he immediately ran in to tell everyone. At that moment, Hao Ming woke up. Kai Wen wanted to know who the culprit was. Hao Ming realized that the two thugs he had beaten up had followed Ma Ho. A Yan confirmed that Ma Ho was hospitalized by Bo Wen, and that Ma Ho's subordinates had all followed Bo Wen. Suddenly someone remembered that Cheng Zhen had not returned. Lan Xin called, but he did not answer the phone. Everyone suspected that Cheng Zhen knew Bo Wen was culprit, so Cheng Zhen went to find him to take revenge. At this time, Cheng Zhen had already arrived at Bo Wen's place. He cursed Bo Wen as a shameless person who had sneaked up on Hao Ming. Cheng Zhen insisted that he was a person who only knew how to use tricks. When Bo Wen saw that he had come alone, he immediately ordered his subordinates to surround Cheng Zhen. He leisurely played billiards. Cheng Zhen was not an easy person to deal with. He was strong enough to defeat a group of thugs by himself. But in the end, Cheng Zhen was exhausted. Bo Wen had been waiting for this moment to take him down. His expression was extremely despicable. When the handsome Wayne Jiang and his friends arrived, Cheng Zhen had already been beaten black and blue. He was immediately sent to the hospital and shared a room with Hao Ming. Just now, the people in the ward were happily playing games, but when Cheng Zhen saw Lan Xin coming, he pretended to lie down on the bed and pretend to be sick. Because Cheng Zhen was being taken care of by his loving girlfriend, Hao Ming's friend followed suit. He gently told Hao Ming to open his mouth and feed him porridge. Later, Tao Chao wanted to talk to handsome Wayne Jiang privately. She was extremely angry because handsome Wayne Jiang hid the fact that he had a conflict with Bo Wen, so Hao Ming and Cheng Zhen had to be hospitalized. At this time, Tao Chao also remembered that Bo Wen was the one who posted the video of Fat Wayne Jiang. She asked if handsome Wayne Jiang was protecting Fat Wayne Jiang. Handsome Wayne Jiang nodded in embarrassment. Tao Chao wanted him to stop hiding things from now on. Handsome Wayne Jiang agreed when he heard this. On the other side, Bo Wen escaped from the police to a shabby place. Junhao felt that this place was really dirty. He asked why Bo Wen was still delaying in dealing with handsome Wayne Jiang. Bo Wen replied that if Junhao gave him money, he would give him a surprise gift. Junhao signaled the manager to take the envelope. Inside was not only money, but also a photo, which was evidence that Bo Wen had ambushed handsome Wayne Jiang. If Bo Wen took the money without doing anything, Junhao would send the photo to the police. Bo Wen wanted to protest but was caught off guard by Junhao, so he could only happily compromise. That evening, Fat Wayne Jiang asked his boss to quit his job at the grocery store because he thought Bo Wen would come here to harass him. He didn't want the boss to know the reason, but this made the boss very angry. As soon as the boss left, Bo Wen went to the store. He didn't target Fat Wayne Jiang, but wanted him to call handsome Wayne Jiang. But if Fat Wayne Jiang called, no one would answer because both bodies were used by Zi Yang. Bo Wen saw Fat Wayne Jiang hesitate, so he had to take the phone and call himself. At home, handsome Wayne Jiang was sleeping soundly. Suddenly, the Horus eye lit up. Chris woke up and picked up the phone. He looked annoyed and asked in English who had disturbed his sleep. However, Bo Wen didn't understand anything, so he returned the phone to Fat Wayne Jiang. He was very confused because he didn't know who had just picked up the phone. Bo Wen didn't give Fat Wayne Jiang time to think. Bo Wen kept hitting him on the head. Fatty Wayne Jiang angrily protested and blamed Bo Wen for not letting him go after he had escaped here. Bo Wen was amused by this action. At this moment, Tao Chao walked over. She saw Fatty Wayne Jiang being bullied and wanted to stop him. Tao Chao recognized Bo Wen and wanted to call the police. Bo Wen immediately snatched the phone. Fatty Wayne Jiang wanted to call the police, but he hesitated because of Bo Wen's threat. When Fatty Wayne Jiang saw him push Tao Chao down, he immediately rushed out to attack Bo Wen, but the result was Fatty Wayne Jiang falling face down on the floor. Bo Wen laughed so hard that his stomach hurt when he saw this. He asked if this girl gave Fatty Wayne Jiang the courage. Fatty Wayne Jiang held Bo Wen's legs so that Tao Chao could run ahead. He pushed Fat Wayne Jiang down and chased after her. Fat Wayne Jiang quickly took sleeping pills, letting handsome Wayne Jiang wake up to save Tao Chao. But Chris was in handsome Wayne Jiang's body. He accidentally bumped into Tao Chao near the grocery store. Tao Chao wanted to pull Chris to run with him, but he shook her hand and walked forward. Bo Wen blocked Chris's head, but he didn't recognize who Bo Wen was. He was very surprised and grabbed Chris's shirt, but Bo Wen was beaten painfully by Chris's quick actions made him unable to fight back. Bo Wen was repeatedly punched in the mouth by Chris. Tao Chao panicked and advised Chris to stop, but he saw Tao Chao as his younger sister. Chris quickly ran over to hug Tao Chao and reassured her, "It's okay, I'm here." Tao Chao misunderstood that handsome Wayne Jiang was worried about her. At that moment, handsome Wayne Jiang regained control of his body. He was afraid that Bo Wen would wake up, so he quickly pulled Tao Chao away. Unfortunately, Chris's actions were all secretly photographed. The next day, the reporter sent the photos to Junhao. Junhao was extremely frustrated because he sent Bo Wen to deal with handsome Wayne Jiang, but unexpectedly, Bo Wen was beaten by the other party. The journalist also had a gift for Junhao, which was a clip of handsome Wayne Jiang beating Bo Wen. Junhao was angry and wanted to call Bo Wen to scold him, but suddenly a good idea popped into his head. Junhao posted the clip of handsome Wayne Jiang beating someone online to make everyone think handsome Wayne Jiang was a thug. He also asked his manager to push the video to the top of the search results. Junhao wanted to tarnish the reputation and character of handsome Wayne Jiang. Then he would become the target of netizens' attacks. When the director found out about this, he slapped handsome Wayne Jiang's manager several times because he didn't know how to take care of handsome Wayne Jiang. The director wanted handsome Wayne Jiang to explain, but he didn't remember anything about the video. The director wanted to cancel the contract, which made handsome Wayne Jiang worried about having to pay compensation. When the director knew he had his own troubles, he wanted handsome Wayne Jiang to sit down and tell the story. Handsome Wayne Jiang also told everything that happened. He said that Bo Wen was a thug. However, when he attacked Hao Ming and Cheng Zhen, they had no evidence to prove it. Even in the video of Bo Wen bullying Fat Wayne Jiang online, he didn't show his face. The director was very confused. When Bo Wen beat people, it was all covered up. But when handsome Wayne Jiang took action, there was very clear evidence. The director knew that there was something hidden in this matter. He let handsome Wayne Jiang go home first and then asked the manager to investigate. Unexpectedly, the director received a text message from the director that the filming would also be postponed because of that unfavorable video. The director was very disappointed after reading the text message. After handsome Wayne Jiang left the company, Kai Wen wanted to find him to talk. The two of them went to the riverbank. Kai Wen showed handsome Wayne Jiang the video of him beating Bo Wen. Handsome Wayne Jiang didn't remember anything. From the time he took sleeping pills at the store to when he was hugging Tao Chao, he really didn't remember what happened during that time. Kai Wen suspected that during that time, there was another consciousness controlling handsome Wayne Zhang's body. This was not the first time such a strange thing had happened. Handsome Wayne Zhang was not sure either. He just thought that it was because of too much pressure that he had temporarily lost his memory. Kai Wen wanted to take handsome Wayne Zhang back to the grocery store. There was a security camera there, so there would definitely be clues. However, when the two of them arrived at the store, the camera only had the morning video. Someone had taken the video when the incident happened, and that person was Ching Ching. She was seduced by Junhao to steal the video and give it to him. Ching Ching had not even looked at what was inside. Junhao was very satisfied and thought that it was not good for a girl to know too much. On the other hand, Bo Wen was beaten by Chris until she had a cast. He had to ask his subordinates to find him another place to live. This room had a hidden camera installed so that Bo Wen could easily plan. Later, Junhao came to find Bo Wen. He was angry because Bo Wen kept messing up things, but Bo Wen had seen the video posted online. He thought that his beatings were not in vain. Bo Wen still shamelessly asked for money because he was also the one who contributed to ruining the handsome Wayne Zhang's career. But Junhao did not agree. Bo Wen then showed him a good show. When Junhao saw that he was secretly filmed, he was extremely angry. Bo Wen only used Junhao's method to punish him. Bo Wen also learned some tricks from famous people when he went to the city. If Junhao did not pay enough money, he would be more famous than the handsome Wayne Zhang. Junhao was forced to signal for money. Bo Wen felt satisfied. Now the two of them could consider each other as allies. Junhao left indignantly. There was a photo of Tao Chao in the envelope, so she was Bo Wen's next target. That night, Tao Chao was on her way back when she was unfortunately ambushed by Bo Wen and his men. Tao Chao was scared and wanted to call for help, but Bo Wen knew that this place was near her home. He also knew that Tao Chao had a sister. Because Tao Chao didn't want her sister to get into trouble, she had no choice but to follow Bo Wen. He took Tao Chao to the bar. This was accidentally seen by Ching Ching. She wanted to follow and take a look, but the security guards wouldn't let her in. Ching Ching had no choice but to call handsome Wayne Zhang. When handsome Wayne Zhang heard that Tao Chao was with Bo Wen, he was worried and hurriedly set out to rescue her. In the room, Bo Wen forced Tao Chao to sit still. He wanted to show Tao Chao something interesting, which was the original video of Fat Wayne Zhang being bullied online. Bo Wen's face was also in the video. He seemed to enjoy using Fat Wayne Zhang as entertainment. Tao Chao angrily threw a beer can at Bo Wen and ran away. He caught her and pressed her down on the chair. Bo Wen ordered her to shut up. At this time, handsome Wayne Zhang led Kai Wen to the bar. Ching Ching showed them where Tao Chao was locked up, but the security guard did not let them in. Kai Wen had to take out his VIP card to get in. Only Ching Ching was not allowed in. When the thugs saw handsome Wayne Zhang, they were knocked down by him before they could attack. They quickly ran to inform the other subordinates. Handsome Wayne Zhang rushed into the room and smashed a bottle on Bo Wen's head. He angrily knocked handsome Wayne Zhang down. Kai Wen threw another bottle at Bo Wen. Then he and Tao Chao helped handsome Wayne Zhang up. At this moment, Bo Wen's subordinates rushed in, but before they could do anything, the police rushed in and surrounded him. Bo Wen quickly blocked the door. At that time, handsome Wayne Zhang also saw the original video. He felt extremely angry. After everyone followed the police to the station to give statements, they were released to go home. Suddenly, a car blocked in front of them. Han Shui slapped Kai Wen and forced him into the car. Handsome Wayne Zhang wanted to reason but was stopped by Kai Wen. He went with Han Shui to the car, while the secretary stayed behind to take handsome Wayne Zhang and Tao Chao home. The next day, the class was very quiet. Cheng Zhen was in the hospital. The three people who were at the bar last night were absent. Ching Ching ran up to ask the teacher. Out of curiosity, the teacher said that handsome Wayne Zhang was asked by the entertainment company to film a movie. Tao Chao was suspended for going to the bar. Kai Wen was grounded by the principal. Ching Ching secretly thanked the security guard for stopping her last night. Then she called handsome Wayne Zhang to ask about him, and Ching Ching also told him what happened in class. Handsome Wayne Zhang knew that his friends were implicated because of him. Cheng Zhen and Hao Ming were hospitalized. Kai Wen was grounded, and Tao Chao was suspended from school. Tao Chao encouraged him that it was not handsome Wayne Zhang's fault. She thought that everything was caused by Bo Wen, but handsome Wayne Zhang still couldn't help but blame himself. He decided to do something important. Then handsome Wayne Zhang returned to his room to switch bodies with Fat Wayne Zhang. He took out the USB containing the original copy of the cyberbullying video and brought it to the director to help handsome Wayne Zhang explain. The director saw it and sympathized with Fat Wayne Zhang. Moreover, he was also a conscientious person. If the director uses this video to help handsome Wayne Zhang, Fat Wayne Zhang will be hurt again. The director asked Fat Wayne Zhang if he had thought about it. He nodded without hesitation. Fat Wayne Zhang said that his friends were hurt because of him. He decided not to be a coward, but to seek justice for himself and his friends. The director was very impressed with Fat Wayne Jiang's spirit. At this time, the principal and the teacher were discussing the expulsion of handsome Wayne Jiang because of the bad rumors he caused. Just then, the director came over and asked not to expel handsome Wayne Jiang. Perhaps Hanshe was too busy to see the latest news. She immediately turned on the computer to check. Now the handsome Wayne Jiang was the representative of justice, and he was being cheered on by everyone. The beaten Bo Wen was the bully. He had a lot of criminal records. The principal could only laugh at this turn of events. Now famous brands all wanted the handsome Wayne Jiang to be their spokesperson. Hanshe had no choice but to let the handsome Wayne Jiang go, because the entertainment company was actually her husband's property. The handsome Wayne Jiang brought such huge profits. The correction was posted online, causing everyone to change their minds about the handsome Wayne Jiang. Junhao was very angry when he saw it. He immediately went out to call the manager. He ordered the manager to find Bo Wen immediately. Then, Junhao and the manager came to Bo Wen. At this time, he was hiding in the hotel. When Bo Wen heard the knock on the door, he had to look carefully before he dared to open it. Junhao showed Bo Wen the latest news. He just remembered that he forgot his USB at the bar. Thanks to Bo Wen, handsome Wayne Jiang got more support, which made him very angry. When Bo Wen learned that handsome Wayne Jiang continued to act, this time Bo Wen wanted him to act without any limbs. On the other side, Tao Chao was worried about Fat Wayne Jiang because the video of him bullying was made public again. She wanted to call Fat Wayne Jiang to ask, but she was afraid of disturbing his sleep. Tao Chao accidentally saw Fat Wayne Jiang going out, so she followed him to take a look. Fat Wayne Jiang went into the store to buy a knife, and when he saw Tao Chao, he quickly hid the knife. Tao Chao wanted to ask Fat Wayne Jiang. He still pretended to be fine. Fat Wayne Jiang also told Tao Chao that he had sent the video to the entertainment company director. Fat Wayne Jiang did not want to hurt everyone because of him. Tao Chao was very happy that Fat Wayne Jiang could face his fear. However, she still had a question. What did Fat Wayne Jiang buy the knife for? Fat Wayne Jiang replied that he bought the knife to cut vegetables and cook rice. Tao Chao did not think much and let him go. After that, Fat Wayne Jiang went home and confided in the handsome Wayne Jiang's body. Fat Wayne Jiang should have died when Fat Wayne Jiang fell from the roof, but handsome Wayne Jiang appeared and gave him a new life. Handsome Wayne Jiang helped Fat Wayne Jiang have a better life. Fat Wayne Jiang thought that he was his true self. Everyone was his friend. Everyone loved him. Even Tao Chao liked the handsome Wayne Jiang's appearance. Then handsome Wayne Jiang should live. Fat Wayne Jiang knew that Bo Wen would not let it go. Even if Fat Wayne Jiang had to sacrifice himself this time, he did not want Bo Wen to hurt anyone else, especially handsome Wayne Jiang's body. Fat Wayne Jiang would bravely end it all. The next day, Fat Wayne Jiang went back to his hometown to say goodbye to his grandmother. After he helped his grandmother close the shop, Fat Wayne Jiang wanted to carry his grandmother home. He walked heavily, step by step. Fat Wayne Jiang's tears began to fall. He could not bear to leave his grandmother alone in this world. That night, Fat Wayne Jiang wanted to eat the last meal his grandmother cooked. He lied to his grandmother that he was going to study abroad soon, and Fat Wayne Jiang might not come back for a long time. Handsome Wayne Jiang would take care of his grandmother for him. When his grandmother heard that her grandson was sponsored by the school to study, she felt very happy. Grandma told Fat Wayne Jiang to study hard. She would wait for good news at home. Her caring words made Fat Wayne Jiang very distressed. After Fat Wayne Jiang put his grandmother to sleep, he returned to the city to start his revenge plan. So I Mao called to deceive Bo Wen. Fat Wayne Jiang said that he was actually being controlled by handsome Wayne Jiang, and he was being forced to work for free. Fat Wayne Jiang wanted to ask Bo Wen to help him. He said that although Bo Wen was a bad guy, he still treated Fat Wayne Jiang better than handsome Wayne Jiang. Fat Wayne Jiang wanted to make an appointment with Bo Wen to discuss the plan, and then they would secretly deal with handsome Wayne Jiang together. Bo Wen was very happy when he heard this and agreed. After Fat Wayne Jiang tricked Bo Wen, he inhaled sleeping pills to wake up handsome Wayne Jiang. Handsome Wayne Jiang went to the company to practice the script and asked the manager to sleep at the company. He did this to create an alibi. Then handsome Wayne Jiang electrocuted himself and lay on the chair. On the other side, Fat Wayne Jiang woke up and took a knife. Unfortunately, today there was a big storm, but Fat Wayne Jiang still went out alone, but his actions were accidentally discovered by Tao Chao. She saw Fat Wayne Jiang acting strangely, so she followed him to check. Fat Wayne Jiang was hiding with a knife waiting for Bo Wen to appear. When Bo Wen wasn't paying attention, Fat Wayne Jiang pulled out a knife and walked over. Tao Chao quickly stopped him and dragged Fat Wayne Jiang home. Unfortunately, this scene was seen by Bo Wen. When they got home, Tao Chao slapped Fat Wayne Jiang. She blamed him for thinking about negative things. Tao Chao honestly said that she wanted to see Bo Wen struck by lightning to death, but she didn't want to see Fat Wayne Jiang die with him. She thought he shouldn't trade his life for a bastard. Now Tao Chao had something to do. She told Fat Wayne Jiang to hide in his room and never think about such a stupid thing again. Fat Wayne Jiang nodded in agreement. He silently thanked Tao Chao and threw the knife into the trash can. However, when Fat Wayne Jiang went to the rooftop, Bo Wen was already waiting there. He already knew Fat Wayne Jiang's plan. Now Bo Wen would give Fat Wayne Jiang a chance to deal with him, but Fat Wayne Jiang was scared and ran away. But he was blocked by Bo Wen, and the two chased each other on the rooftop. Bo Wen grabbed Fat Wayne Jiang, but was pushed away by him. Unfortunately, Bo Wen slipped and fell straight into the trash can below. Fat Wayne Jiang thought he had killed someone, but he didn't know that this was Bo Wen's retribution. He wasn't really dead, he just broke his leg and couldn't walk. Bo Wen blamed Fat Wayne Jiang for harming him. As soon as he finished speaking, the scaffolding fell on him, and Bo Wen had to call Jun Hao to pick him up. He didn't want to touch the trash, so he ordered the manager to help Bo Wen. The manager was afraid of getting dirty, but he still had to do it. Jun Hao then took Bo Wen to the hospital. At this time, a figure wearing a raincoat was dragging a suitcase through the storm. This person was the handsome Wayne Jiang. He dragged the suitcase to the beach. Unexpectedly, inside was Fat Wayne Jiang, who was sleeping soundly. Handsome Wayne Jiang looked back at his original body once more. Then he threw the suitcase into the sea and said goodbye. A few raindrops hit the back of handsome Wayne Jiang's neck, which activated the Horus machine. Chris immediately woke up. Ziyang's soul also returned to Fat Wayne Jiang's body. He woke up in the seawater. Fat Wayne Jiang wondered why he was here. Had he gone to hell? But Fat Wayne Jiang's feeling at this moment was like drowning. Fat Wayne Jiang realized that he had lost control of handsome Wayne Jiang's body. If he really died here, Ziyang might disappear forever. Fatty Wayne Jiang was scared and called for help. Grandma woke up from a bad feeling in the countryside. She quickly picked up the phone and called Fatty Wayne Jiang, but he didn't answer, which made her very worried. Fortunately, the fat body finally came into play. It helped the suitcase containing Fatty Wayne Jiang float to the surface of the water. Fatty Wayne Jiang struggled to get out, but he found that handsome Wayne Jiang was walking normally. Handsome Wayne Jiang could open his mouth to talk and had independent consciousness. Fatty Wayne Jiang was very confused. He tried pinching himself to see if he was dreaming, but this was completely true. Suddenly, Hao Ming called. Fatty Wayne Jiang grabbed the phone. Chris wanted him to explain what was going on, but Fat Wayne Jiang wanted to pick up the phone first. Hao Ming informed Fat Wayne Jiang that Bo Wen had met with retribution and had just been admitted to the hospital. Fat Wayne Jiang breathed a sigh of relief when he heard that Bo Wen was still alive, thinking that God still wanted to give him a way out. Chris couldn't wait any longer, so he asked Fat Wayne Jiang to explain everything. Fat Wayne Jiang wanted to take Chris back to his room first. Then Fat Wayne Jiang began to tell what he knew. Chris was furious when he learned that someone had used his body. He immediately grabbed Fat Wayne Jiang by the neck, but Chris felt that this was unreasonable. Chris thought Fat Wayne Jiang was mentally ill. Fat Wayne Jiang wanted to know who he was, but Chris couldn't remember his background either. Chris wanted to go out to find his memories, but was knocked unconscious by Fat Wayne Jiang with a book. On the other side, Kai Wen was grounded. He hadn't seen handsome Wayne Jiang for a long time, so he missed him a little. Just then, Fat Wayne Jiang called Kai Wen. He informed him that another consciousness appeared in handsome Wayne Jiang's body. Kai Wen asked his secretary to seduce the bodyguard and sneaked out. He went to Fat Wayne Jiang's house and listened to everything. The new consciousness in handsome Wayne Jiang's body didn't remember who he was. Kai Wen told Fat Wayne Jiang that he had met that consciousness during the summer camp. Fatty Wayne Jiang remembered that he had been losing his memory recently. Maybe it was at that time that the new consciousness in handsome Wayne Jiang was active. Things like saving Tao Chao or beating Bo Wen were not done by Ziyang. Fatty Wayne Jiang wondered why the new consciousness appeared at this time. Kai Wen thought that because Ziyang was under too much pressure, he could not suppress the consciousness in handsome Wayne Jiang's body. Kai Wen wanted to wake handsome Wayne Jiang up to say hello, but Fat Wayne Jiang fainted. The body swap back to normal made handsome Wayne Jiang extremely happy, but Kai Wen was still confused. The real owner of handsome Wayne Jiang's body was probably the newly appeared consciousness. But while Ziyang was using both bodies, where did that consciousness go? Or did he have another body? On the other side, handsome Wayne Jiang received a phone call from his grandmother. He wanted to wake Fat Wayne Jiang up to answer the phone, but handsome Wayne Jiang was afraid of losing control of his body, so he had to answer the phone himself. Handsome Wayne Jiang told his grandmother that Fat Wayne Jiang was fine, and that he didn't have to go far anymore. Grandma was very happy to hear that. Handsome Wayne Jiang felt guilty because his grandmother was so worried about him, and he almost did something stupid. The next day, handsome Wayne Jiang was very tired. scared. He didn't dare to sleep for fear of losing his handsome body. Tao Chao worriedly asked him, but handsome Wayne Jiang only replied that he was fine. Tao Chao told him that Bo Wen had met with retribution. While Bo Wen was in the hospital, Chen Zhen and Hao Ming came to visit. Bo Wen cowardly begged them to spare him. Chen Zhen only threatened Bo Wen, which almost made him pee his pants. However, the two let the police handle him to save their hands from getting dirty. Handsome Wayne Jiang and Tao Chao were extremely satisfied with what Bo Wen deserved. After all the incidents, life returned to normal. Hao Ming and Chen Zhen were also discharged from the hospital and returned home. Tao Chao was just a little sad because handsome Wayne Jiang was about to film a movie. He wouldn't have much time to date her anymore. Tao Chao remembered the time when handsome Wayne Jiang cared about her. She thought that maybe it was good that they spent less time together because Tao Chao didn't want her relationship to progress too quickly. Handsome Wayne Jiang didn't understand what Tao Chao was talking about. He wondered why he was so strange recently. Tao Chao felt very embarrassed when she heard that. Just then the bus arrived, so the two of them got on the bus to school. Here handsome Wayne Jiang met Kai Wen again. He pretended not to recognize handsome Wayne Jiang and asked who he was, but handsome Wayne Jiang angrily asked Kai Wen not to tease him. After that, the two of them happily put their arms around each other. Tao Chao skipped lunch and hid in the classroom. Lan Xin knew what was going on and brought food, but Tao Chao didn't want to eat. She didn't know how to face the handsome Wayne Jiang. Sometimes he was very proactive, but sometimes the handsome Wayne Jiang was very shy. Lan Xin asked Tao Chao what kind of handsome Wayne Jiang she liked. Tao Chao said of course she liked the one who took the initiative. On the other side, the handsome Wayne Jiang and Kai Wen went to the restaurant, but they didn't see Tao Chao. Only Hao Ming and Cheng Zhen were there. Cheng Zhen listened to Lan Xin and led the handsome Wayne Jiang to confess to Tao Chao. He said that although Wayne Jiang's girlfriend Teased is a bit strange, Tao Chao is also a good girl. Handsome Wayne Jiang immediately defended Tao Chao. He affirmed that she is not only good but also very beautiful. Cheng Zhen asked then, why hasn't he confessed yet? Kai Wen's expression immediately changed. Handsome Wayne Jiang was extremely confused because he still had a secret, but Cheng Zhen didn't give handsome Wayne Jiang time to think. He said that handsome Wayne Jiang must confess today, otherwise Cheng Zhen and Hao Ming would stop playing with him. Everything was prepared. Handsome Wayne Jiang just needed to go to the rooftop and be honest with Tao Chao. Handsome Wayne Jiang nodded in agreement. On the other side, Junhao called the manager to arrange for Bo Wen. The manager kept telling the police that Bo Wen was crippled, so he asked for a delay in detention. Then Junhao entered the classroom. Today, the whole class had a vocal class. Handsome Wayne Jiang gave Junhao a song, but he threw it away. Junhao accidentally noticed the Horus eye and touched it. This action awakened Chris. A strange sound came from his head. Once you have the Horus eye chip implanted, you will be a member of the organization in the future. Before Chris could understand what was going on, he was called up by the teacher to answer the question. Chris realized that he was a student, so he also went to the board to sing a song for everyone to enjoy. His singing voice captivated everyone. All the classmates cheered for Chris together, but his confidence made Kai Wen suspicious. After class ended, Kai Wen followed Chris and wanted to keep him for a talk, but Chris didn't remember who he was. He just thought that everyone was his enemy. Suddenly an old man with white hair appeared. He claimed to be Chris's father. Only now did Kai Wen know his real name. Chris turned around and ran away. Kai Wen hurriedly chased after him. Chris jumped over the fence behind the school. Kai Wen also quickly did the same, so as not to lose track of the other person. Kai Wen followed Chris to the deserted alley. Suddenly he rushed out to control Kai Wen. Chris thought he was his stalker. Kai Wen said he was this body's friend, so he was not Chris's enemy. But Chris knew Kai Wen was a young master who had been protected since childhood, so he couldn't help Chris, but Kai Wen still tried to hold on. Suddenly, Chris had a headache. Kai Wen quickly supported him. It turned out that Fat Wayne Jiang woke up at home. He found that he had lost control of handsome Wayne Jiang's body, so Fat Wayne Jiang took sleeping pills to see if he could switch bodies. Luckily, this method worked. Handsome Wayne Jiang returned to normal. Kai Wen wanted to know what happened. Handsome Wayne Jiang only remembered what happened in class. He wanted to see how much time had passed, but he found a lot of missed calls. Handsome Wayne Jiang remembered that Tao Chao was waiting, so he immediately returned to school. On the other side, the students gathered on the rooftop, preparing for handsome Wayne Jiang's confession to Tao Chao. However, handsome Wayne Jiang never showed up. Chen Zhen immediately called him. Unfortunately, Tao Chao arrived first. Chen Zhen and Lan Xin tried to explain, but no matter what they said, it didn't make sense. In the end, they had to tell the truth that handsome Wayne Jiang wanted to confess to her. Tao Chao was very much looking forward to it, but handsome Wayne Jiang never showed up, so Tao Chao had to go back to the design room, feeling a little disappointed. Suddenly, handsome Wayne Jiang ran over and looked into Tao Chao's eyes. He had a confession ready in his mind, but didn't dare to say it. He just gave Tao Chao the gift and left. Tao Chao was also happy that handsome Wayne Jiang had come. Outside, handsome Wayne Jiang stood watching Tao Chao's expression. Kai Wen blamed him for coming but not confessing. If the person who met Tao Chao just now was Chris, things would have been different. Handsome Wayne Jiang realized that this body's real name was Chris. Kai Wen told the handsome Wayne Jiang the situation. Chris also had a father, but he insisted that he was an enemy. There was a possibility that handsome Wayne Jiang would be in danger. Kai Wen wanted to investigate further, but handsome Wayne Jiang felt extremely worried. Then the two of them went outside the school gate. The old man with silver hair named Chu Tian saw them. He insisted that the body was Chris's. He told himself that he had to immediately bring Chris back to the organization. On the other side, Junhao was practicing dancing to prepare for a big show, but the manager informed him that all the big shows were transferred to handsome Wayne Jiang. Now Junhao only accepted advertising for small brands. Junhao knew that this was the director's intention, so he went to find him. At that moment, the director also wanted to see him to question him. Why did he use such tricks on handsome Wayne Jiang? Junhao quickly explained that it was all Bo Wen's doing. The director asked him what he was doing here. Junhao had no choice but to give up his original intention so that the director would not expose him. The director was extremely satisfied with Junhao's attitude. From now on, Junhao's management and car were also transferred to handsome Wayne Jiang. Because he did not need those things when he was taking advertising photos, Junhao was upset but could do nothing. When he went out, Junhao asked the manager to be an undercover agent next to handsome Wayne Jiang. Because the manager owed him money, he had no choice but to accept. Junhao wanted the manager to find a way to make handsome Wayne Jiang lose everything. The manager also nodded in agreement. The next day was handsome Wayne Jiang's first filming. The manager intentionally damaged the car to delay his arrival at the set. Handsome Wayne Jiang was afraid that the crew would wait, so he left the manager to fix the car. He ran to the set himself to speed up. The director was angry because handsome Wayne Jiang had not arrived yet. Junhao took the opportunity to flatter the director, and he almost got the male lead role. But handsome Wayne Jiang arrived on time, making Junhao disappointed. The director immediately told handsome Wayne Jiang to go change clothes and prepare for the role. Outside the studio, Tao Chao brought a shirt to handsome Wayne Jiang. This was a gift she made herself to congratulate him on getting the lead role. But the crew wouldn't let her in. Tao Chao had to ask a staff member to send the shirt to handsome Wayne Jiang, but he threw it into the car. Inside, handsome Wayne Jiang was doing his first scene, but he stood still and couldn't say a single line. The director and everyone were helpless. Handsome Wayne Jiang could only bow his head and apologize. The director helped handsome Wayne Jiang say a few words, saying that this might be handsome Wayne Jiang's first time acting in a movie, so there were still many unfamiliar things. The director let everyone take a break. He warned that if handsome Wayne Jiang failed to perform again, he would change the male lead. During the break, handsome Wayne Jiang accidentally got his shirt dirty. This made the director very angry. Perhaps handsome Wayne Jiang would not be able to film any scenes today. The director asked to film the scene without the male lead first, so that handsome Wayne Jiang could go home and rest. However, handsome Wayne Jiang found the shirt Tao Chao gave him in the car. He put it on and went to the mall. The director asked handsome Wayne Jiang where he found such a nice shirt. He was happy that he could continue filming, but handsome Wayne Jiang made the director angry again. The director blamed him for forgetting his lines again. Everyone helped handsome Wayne Jiang fix his clothes. They accidentally touched the eye of Horus. Junhao brought the script to the handsome Wayne Jiang to review. He also whispered in his ear that if the handsome Wayne Jiang couldn't act, then let him act. Junhao didn't know that the person standing in front of him was Chris. This role was too easy for him. Chris showed off some of his fighting skills to warn Junhao. He completed the scene easily and skillfully, which made the director very satisfied. Junhao couldn't believe his eyes. He was very regretful that he almost got the male lead role. After that, everyone prepared for the next scene, but Chris left the set. The manager wanted to keep him, but was immediately beaten by Chris. Junhao was scared, so he pretended to be friendly with Chris, but he couldn't fool him. Chris knew Junhao was a liar, so Chris didn't bother to talk to him and left. Fat Wayne Jiang woke up at night. He found that handsome Wayne Jiang's body was out of control. Fat Wayne Jiang worriedly went to look for handsome Wayne Jiang. Luckily, Kai Wen installed a GPS in handsome Wayne Jiang's phone, so Fat Wayne Jiang could find him. Chris looked so tired that he couldn't even lift his feet. Fat Wayne Jiang had to drag him home. Fat Wayne Jiang began to worry that one day Chris would completely control Fat Wayne Jiang's body. What would Fat Wayne Jiang do then? His life would be turned upside down. Fat Wayne Jiang must find a way to continue using his handsome body. He remembered the time he lost control due to being strangled. He thought this might be a way, so he wanted to try it on Chris. But Fat Wayne Jiang was immediately resisted by Chris. Chris. Fat Wayne Jiang almost broke his arm. He was warned by Chris, but Fat Wayne Jiang still rushed forward to strangle Chris. He accidentally touched the Eye of Horus. That helped him regain control of handsome Wayne Jiang's body. Fat Wayne Jiang finally found a way. It turned out that the Eye of Horus was the switch. Handsome Wayne Jiang was very happy. On the other side, Junhao went to pick up Bo Wen. In the car, he showed Bo Wen the video of the day handsome Wayne Jiang auditioned. Bo Wen immediately recognized the scary look in the handsome Wayne Jiang's eyes. It was exactly the same as when the handsome Wayne Jiang hit him. Sometimes he was as gentle as a rabbit, but sometimes the handsome Wayne Jiang was as cold and cruel as a killer. Junhao once tried to find out and found out that this was a multiple personality disorder. He wanted Bo Wen to confirm it. If the handsome Wayne Jiang was like this, it would be a good thing for Junhao. Even though he failed many times, Bo Wen still asked for money. Junhao didn't mind spending money either. He just wanted to see the handsome Wayne Jiang's career ruined. Then Bo Wen went to find the handsome Wayne Jiang, but he didn't want to talk. The handsome Wayne Jiang reminded Bo Wen that he didn't want Bo Wen to be in a wheelchair, but Bo Wen still stubbornly kept handsome Wayne Jiang, because he saw that handsome Wayne Jiang's face was a bit gentle today. His hands and feet were weak, as if he had no strength. Handsome Wayne Jiang tried to act fine, but he was still afraid of Bo Wen in his heart. He was determined to fight handsome Wayne Jiang, but Bo Wen had just struck the Eye of Horus when he first struck. When Chris woke up, he was not afraid of anyone. He did not give Bo Wen time to warm up, and Chris quickly put him on the ground. After finishing, he leisurely left. The next day, Chris was awakened by a call in his memory. He remembered a place, so he immediately wanted to go to the internet cafe, but he was tied up by Fat Wayne Jiang. Chris didn't want to fight. He wanted to quickly untie the rope, but Fat Wayne Jiang wouldn't let him go because handsome Wayne Jiang had a filming appointment at 10 o'clock today. Chris ignored Fat Wayne Jiang. He said that this matter had nothing to do with him. Fat Wayne Jiang knelt down and begged Chris if handsome Wayne Jiang had to pay compensation for the contract, how would he and his grandmother live? Fat Wayne Jiang helplessly covered his face and cried, blaming himself for being useless. He couldn't use this fat body to meet people, but Chris still didn't soften. He said that he wasn't someone who liked to help others. When Fat Wayne Jiang begged and couldn't get through, he forced Chris to leave. Chris angrily punched Fat Wayne Jiang's ugly face. Chris's punch was so strong that Fat Wayne Jiang passed out. After that, Chris immediately left the room. When he went outside, he met Tao Qiao again, but didn't bother to talk to her. Unfortunately, when Chris left, Yan Chutian found him. He immediately followed Chris in his car. Later, Chris went to the internet cafe. He remembered that he had left a bag of things in his personal locker. Luckily, Chris remembered the password, so he got the bag back. However, when he went outside, he met Chutian and the men in black. Chris thought these people were enemies, so he tried to escape. Chutian always claimed to be Chris's father, but in fact, he was a psychiatrist. Chris was the product of his escaped experiment, so Chutian really wanted to take him back. On the other side, Kai Wen received a message from Fat Wayne Jiang, who reported that Chris had run away again. Kai Wen asked Cheng Zhen and Hao Ming for help, and the two of them worked together to deal with the guards guarding Kai Wen's house. After they took down the two guards, Hao Ming and Cheng Zhen took Kai Wen out. Then Kai Wen picked up Fat Wayne Jiang and went with him. Following the location, the two of them went to the internet cafe, where they found the men in black trying to capture Chris. Fat Wayne Jiang hurriedly dragged him into the car. The men in black wanted to chase after them, but Chu Tian decided to let Chris go. In the car, Fat Wayne Jiang asked his secretary to go to the set, but Chris refused, so the two of them started arguing. Kai Wen helped Fat Wayne Jiang hold Chris's hand so he wouldn't run away from the car. The secretary angrily yelled at the three of them to shut up. Thanks to that, they obediently stopped arguing. Later, when everyone arrived at the filming set, Chris checked the bag he got from the internet cafe. Inside was a passport. His full name was Chris Valier. Born in 1994, he was Chinese American. There was also a photo of Chris and his younger sister when they were young. Kai Wen took a look, but Chris quickly hid the photo and left. Kai Wen wanted to keep Chris. Since Chris was already here anyway, Kai Wen wanted him to help handsome Wayne Jiang film, but Chris didn't agree and wondered why he had to help. Kai Wen explained that they could help him. He knew that Chris had lost his memory and he had nowhere else to go. Chris kept saying that Chu Tian was his enemy, so the only people Chris could trust now were Kai Wen and Fat Wayne Jiang. Kai Wen also said that he could lend Chris money. Chris had no choice but to compromise when he heard that, but he was only helping handsome Wayne Jiang film this time. Chris threw the bag back to Kai Wen and went into the studio. Fat Wayne Jiang wanted to switch bodies, but when Fat Wayne Jiang used this handsome body, he couldn't film any successful scenes, so Chris decided to film himself, and Chris argued with everyone. His attitude made the director extremely angry. Chris even threatened to punch the director, which scared him. Fat Wayne John quickly stood up to explain that it was because Chris was too immersed in his role. The director only let it go when it was reasonable. He asked Chris to keep this state for as long as possible. First the director and then the manager questioned Chris. Chris was so angry that he changed managers. He declared that Fat Wayne Jang would be his manager from now on. The manager was upset but couldn't do anything. He only threatened to report this to the director, but Chris wasn't afraid and left regardless. Not long after the filming started, Chris acted every scene extremely well. This professional attitude made the director very satisfied. Only then did Fat Wayne Jang realize that he was useless. He had a handsome body but didn't know how to use it effectively. Fat Wayne Jang thought it would be better to return the body to its owner. Outside, Kai Wen checked Chris's bag, and Kai Wen learned the real identity of this person. Kai Wen took a photo of the passport and asked the secretary to investigate Chris. In the evening, Chris returned to the room. Tao Chiao was waiting for handsome Wayne Jang, but Chris just passed by her, pretending not to know Tao Chiao. This made her very upset. Fat Wayne Jang followed and asked Tao Chiao what was wrong. It turned out that she wanted to invite the two of them to dinner, but now she was angry and didn't invite Chris anymore. But Chris had just come home from work and was very hungry, so he had to throw away his shame and automatically went down to eat. This was the first time handsome Wayne Jang and Fat Wayne Jang appeared at the same time, which surprised Tao Chiao's sister. Chris almost revealed the secret. Fat Wayne Jang immediately stuffed him with chicken wings to cover his mouth. Fat Wayne Jang also announced the good news that he would be Chris's manager from now on. Tao Chiao and her sister were happy for Fat Wayne Jang when they heard this. However, Fat Wayne Jang was embarrassed because he didn't have time to meet the person he wanted to meet from now on. Tao Chiao didn't know who that person was, so she asked. Chris laughed and said directly that Fat Wayne Jang liked Tao Chiao. Obviously, Wayne Jang was handsome and Tao Chiao had confirmed their feelings, but Chris said that she felt like she was being teased. Tao Chiao angrily put down her bowl. Fat Wayne Jang quickly pulled Chris upstairs to explain. Fat Wayne Jang said that person Tao Chiao was dating was handsome Wayne Jang, but Chris paired her with Fat Wayne Jang, so Tao Chiao was angry. Chris asked why Fat Wayne Jang still borrowed his body. He declared that he would not lend his body to Fat Wayne Jang anymore. That statement made Fat Wayne Jang panic. How should he face everyone now? Fat Wayne Jang begged Chris to let him use his body. Chris would only lend him his body when he went to see Tao Chiao. He wondered if Fat Wayne Jang knew how to switch bodies. Fat Wayne Jang immediately explained that the Eye of Horus was a switch. Chris did not believe it and thought it was just a normal birthmark. He even touched it. Unexpectedly, Zhang and Chris's souls were really switched. Handsome Wayne Jang recorded a video to prove it to Chris. He said that he was now in Chris's body. Suddenly, there was a noise outside. Handsome Wayne Jang heard it and went out to check. Unfortunately, he was injected with drugs and was carried away by the men in black. Tao Chiao saw it and chased after him, but couldn't catch up. She quickly called Fat Wayne Jang, but he couldn't answer the phone. Later, Wayne Zhang was taken to the base of the men in black. Chu Tian checked the chip, but it didn't work. He told his accomplices to prepare the plane to return to America tomorrow. At that moment, handsome Wayne Jang woke up. He begged Chu Tian not to take him away because he had a grandmother in the countryside to take care of. When Chu Tian realized that there was another consciousness in Chris's body, he immediately became gentle and asked handsome Wayne Jang how to switch bodies. Handsome Wayne Jang realized that Chu Tian also knew about the secret, so handsome Wayne Jang could not tell. He pretended not to know, but Chu Tian still tried to ask. Suddenly, someone informed him that the police were outside. Chu Tian decided to release the handsome Wayne Jang and have someone follow him. He had to find a way to switch bodies without surgery, because that would be a big step forward in Chu Tian's experiment. The men in black were ordered to take the handsome Wayne Jang home, but Chris woke up in the car. He was on guard. Since the men in black didn't do anything, Chris didn't do anything either. He returned home safely. Tao Chiao was worried, but Chris didn't say anything to her. He pulled the Fat Wayne Jang into the room. He showed Chris the video he had just recorded, which proved that the two of them could switch bodies through the Eye of Horus. At this time, Chris began to believe Fat Wayne Jang. He said that there were people who knew this secret. Besides Fat Wayne Jang and Chris, Kai Wen also knew this. However, the men in black were also investigating the Eye of Horus. Chris and Fat Wayne Jang were sure that they were bad people. Now Chris could only trust Fat Wayne Jang and Kai Wen. He decided to make a deal with Fat Wayne Jang. Chris would let Fat Wayne Jang use his body when needed, on the condition that Fat Wayne Jang had to help Chris regain his memories. Fat Wayne Jang happily agreed, but he still had something to ask. He asked Chris to help him film. Chris helplessly agreed. Then the two of them signed the body rental contract. From now on, Fat Wayne Jang will serve Chris in order to borrow his body. After finishing, Chris went to the place where Fat Wayne Wayne Jiang first saw himself. He came here to start his journey to regain his memories. On the other side, Junhao went to see Bo Wen, and Junhao found that he was beaten again. However, this time Bo Wen had a harvest. He confirmed that handsome Wayne Jiang had two personalities. If they had evidence to prove it, handsome Wayne Jiang would not be able to continue his career. Bo Wen then suggested installing a hidden camera in handsome Wayne Jiang's house. After Junhao heard it, he strongly agreed. The next day, when handsome Wayne Jiang and fat Wayne Jiang went out, Junhao asked Bo Wen to carry out the plan, but Bo Wen used the excuse of his lame leg to force Junhao to install the hidden camera himself. Junhao had no choice but to agree. Junhao was about to break down the door, but found that the door was unlocked. At this moment, Tao Chao went up to the terrace. Luckily, Junhao escaped inside in time. Junhao installed the camera and left. Unexpectedly, there was someone else in the room. Bo Wen looked at the hidden camera and discovered it, so he showed it to Junhao. At this moment, the man in black came out, and Junhao chased after him. Bo Wen wanted to go to fat Wayne Jiang's room to check. He discovered another hidden camera in the room, so he greeted the person behind the screen. Chu Tian saw and wondered who this ugly guy was. On the other side, Junhao chased after the man in black, but he was blocked by several cars and lost track of him. That night, the classmates held a party to celebrate Tao Chao's passing. The interview for the costume design position in the film crew. The director was very pleased with the shirt Tao Chao gave to handsome Wayne Jiang. In addition, handsome Wayne Jiang enthusiastically introduced her talent. Tao Chao wanted to thank him, but she was still angry. She thought that handsome Wayne Jiang kept changing. Sometimes he acted like he didn't know Tao Chao. Sometimes he cared too much about her. Handsome Wayne Jiang pretended not to understand. Tao Chao directly mentioned the time Bo Wen chased after her. She asked why handsome Wayne Jiang hugged her at that time. Handsome Wayne Jiang felt wrong because he didn't do it. He ran into the room and wanted to ask Chris clearly. After the two of them switched bodies, fat Wayne Jiang questioned why Chris hugged Tao Chao. But Chris didn't even remember that. He just found fat Wayne Jiang's jealousy funny. Chris thought fat Wayne Jiang had the opportunity, but didn't know how to seize it, so he didn't let fat Wayne Jiang borrow his body anymore. He also wanted to annoy fat Wayne Jiang. Chris went out and sat next to Tao Chao. Then he taught fat Wayne Jiang some basic flirting tricks. Fat Wayne Jiang wanted to stop Chris, but had no right to speak up. Chris was encouraged by everyone, so he wanted to confess right there. Fat Wayne Jiang couldn't hold it in anymore and had to stand up to stop him, but everyone looked at him with puzzled eyes. Fat Wayne Jiang quickly explained that he meant that Chris shouldn't use vegetables to confess. Chris also thought it was right and said that he would confess again tomorrow. Everyone drank their glasses to celebrate. Only fat Wayne Jiang was unhappy. The next day, Chris texted Tao Chao to make an appointment. Then he took fat Wayne Jiang to buy flowers. Chris agreed to lend him his body to confess. The flower shop owner didn't like fat Wayne Jiang as soon as she saw him. She thought he was ugly and fat and was also a poor businessman. No one would go to confess, so he just bought a flower. Chris also felt embarrassed for fat Wayne Jiang. He didn't want to lend fat Wayne Jiang his body anymore. Fat Wayne Jiang could just use this body to confess to Tao Chao, but he couldn't do that because fat Wayne Jiang thought that Tao Chao only liked handsome men. Chris had no choice but to help fat Wayne Jiang this time. After that, Chris went to find his memories. He went to the same place as in the photo to ask around, but the staff didn't recognize the place. Chris had to go somewhere else to search. Suddenly, a few lines of memories appeared, giving him a headache, and then he fainted. Ching Ching accidentally passed by and called Chris's ambulance. Fat Wayne Jiang's appointment with Tao Chao in the evening had come, but Chris had not returned yet. Fat Wayne Jiang was worried that he would go back on his word, but he received news that Chris was in the hospital. Fat Wayne Jiang immediately went to the hospital for a checkup, and he did not forget to prepare flowers for Tao Chao. Junhao and Bo Wen saw Fat Wayne Jiang rushing out, so they chased after him and blocked his way. Wen wanted to know what happened, but Fat Wayne Jiang refused to say anything. Bo Wen could only change the subject. He asked Fat Wayne Jiang to be handsome, but he immediately denied it. Bo Wen immediately confirmed that handsome Wayne Jiang must have another secret. He asked Fat Wayne Jiang to investigate what that secret was. Fatty Wayne Jiang pretended to agree to let Bo Wen let him go. Fatty Wayne Jiang then rushed to the hospital, but Chris had already left. Fatty Wayne Jiang called and found out that Chris was going to Tao Chao's meeting place. Fatty Wayne Jiang thought that Tao Chao would be back by now, but Chris saw that she was still waiting. He went over and hugged Tao Chao and kissed her on the forehead. This was the best way to apologize to an angry daughter. At this moment, Fatty Wayne Jiang ran over. He witnessed this scene with his own eyes and was extremely heartbroken. Fat Wayne Jiang waited until Tao Chao returned home before he could ask Chris for his crime. He madly attacked the other party. Chris only raised his hand slightly and broke Fat Wayne Jiang's nose. Fat Wayne Jiang questioned Chris why he dared to kiss Tao Chao's forehead. forehead, but Chris thought that it was the best way to apologize to her. He thought he was just helping Fat Wayne Jiang, and Chris only kissed Tao Qiao's forehead. Chris even teased that Fat Wayne Jiang probably didn't dare to hold her hand. Fat Wayne Jiang was very angry when he heard that, but couldn't do anything. On the other side, Tao Qiao went back to her room and was so happy that she couldn't sleep. She immediately took out her phone and texted Chris. Fat Wayne Jiang quickly snatched the phone. He was happy that Tao Qiao wished him good night. Chris was proud that he had helped Fat Wayne Jiang with such a big thing. Chris also taught Fat Wayne Jiang some flirting tricks. He taught Fat Wayne Jiang from forehead kissing to lips kissing, but Fat Wayne Jiang was dissatisfied because he thought Chris was teasing him. The next day, Fat Wayne Jiang went to Hao Ming and Cheng Zhen. He wanted to learn martial arts to get revenge on Chris. Cheng Zhen advised him to lose weight, but Fat Wayne Jiang didn't have the patience to do this. He wanted to learn martial arts now. Cheng Zhen immediately taught Fat Wayne Jiang stomach punching and jaw hooking. When he got home, he wanted to practice with Chris, but before Fat Wayne Jiang could do it, he was punched in the mouth by Chris. Chris didn't even understand what was happening. Later, Tao Qiao came to find handsome Wayne Jiang. After Chris looked at the contract, he had no choice but to press the Horus eye switch to lend for Fat Wayne Jiang his body. Handsome Wayne Jiang went out to meet Tao Qiao. She wanted to measure the handsome Wayne Jiang's clothes. The two had a chance to get close. Tao Qiao waited for a kiss, but the handsome Wayne Jiang was so dumbfounded that he didn't understand. She turned away shyly and continued to take his measurements. Tao Qiao accidentally discovered the eye of Horus. When she tried to touch it, Chris immediately restrained Tao Qiao, thinking it was dangerous. Fat Wayne Jiang quickly ran out to stop him. Chris immediately went inside to let Fat Wayne Jiang explain to Tao Qiao himself. Fat Wayne Jiang said that maybe he was under too much pressure from filming, so he couldn't get rid of the character's emotions. Tao Qiao saw that the handsome Wayne Jiang was different from before. He seemed to have turned into another person, but she encouraged herself that if it wasn't the handsome Wayne Jiang, who else could it be? And then Tao Qiao asked permission to leave. Fat Wayne Jiang felt extremely guilty. On the other side, Chu Tian watched the hidden camera at Fat Wayne Jiang's house, but he still hadn't discovered how Fat Wayne Jiang and Chris switched bodies. He had to send someone to take action. While Fat Wayne Jiang and Chris were resting in the car, a person pretending to be a crew member gave them 2 bottles of water. The 2 people didn't know anything and drank the water and passed out in the car. Then they were taken away by the other person. Later, Tao Qiao went to find Chris. She noticed that the scene wasn't over yet, and he and Fat Wayne Jiang had both disappeared. She called, but the 2 didn't answer. The manager was given laxatives by someone, and he had to go to the bathroom over and over again. Tao Qiao worriedly asked Kai Wen for help, but Kai Wen was also blocked by the security guard, so he had to call Cheng Zhen and Hao Ming. The security guard was alert because he had been knocked out by those 2 people once, but they were still easily defeated by the 2 people. The 3 people immediately set out to find Fat Wayne Jiang and Chris. Kai Wen will slowly explain the specific situation to the 2 friends. In the car, Kai Wen gave the location to the secretary and told him to take the group to the port. At this time, Chris woke up in the car and immediately called Fatty Wayne Jiang to wake up. Fatty Wayne Jiang immediately screamed as soon as he opened his eyes. He blamed Chris for tying him up like this. Chris asked Fatty Wayne Jiang to be quiet and observe the situation. It seemed like the 2 of them were being kidnapped. Fatty Wayne Jiang blamed Chris because these things had happened since he appeared. Chris asked why Fatty Wayne Jiang didn't blame him when he borrowed his body. Fatty Wayne Jiang was embarrassed and could only keep quiet. Suddenly, the car door opened. Fatty Wayne Jiang was thrown like a pig on the ground, while Chris was carefully placed on the seat. Then Chu Tian appeared. Fatty Wayne Jiang recognized him at first sight. Chu Tian immediately confirmed that Fatty Wayne Jiang was the consciousness in Chris's body that was taken to the base last time. He had someone carry Fat Wayne Jiang onto the chair. Chu Tian asked about the body swap, but Fat Wayne Jiang refused to say anything. Chu Tian had someone force him to confess, but even though Fat Wayne Jiang was beaten in great pain, he still wouldn't say anything. He just wanted Chu Tian to let Chris go first, but Chris wouldn't compromise. Chu Tian took out a dose of medicine and threatened that if this dose of medicine was injected into Fat Wayne Jiang's body, he would be in so much pain that his life would be worse than death. Fat Wayne Jiang was extremely scared when he heard this. Chris had to think of a way to save him. If Chu Tian wanted Chris's body, he would try to destroy it. Everything was just as Chris had predicted. Chu Tian didn't want to see him get hurt. Taking the opportunity, Fat Wayne Jiang hit his thigh with the injection tip. Then he broke free from the ropes. The men in black wanted to capture him. Fat Wayne Jiang struggled. He snatched the antidote from Chu Tian and threatened that if anyone dared to come near, Fat Wayne Jiang would trample it. Chu Tian immediately ordered a retreat. The men in black did not dare to act. Chris also untied the rope and ran to stand next to Fat Fat Wayne Jiang. Suddenly, someone threw a knife at two of them. Luckily, they were both quick to dodge. The men in black immediately rushed forward to attack the two of them. Chris single-handedly dealt with them. Chu Tian intended to snatch the antidote. While he was struggling with Fat Wayne Jiang, the antidote was unfortunately trampled. Chris was forced into the car and accidentally saw the prop gun, so he fired a warning shot. Unfortunately, Fat Wayne Jiang was taken hostage. Chris asked the enemy to release the person, then he would tell the secret of body switching, but Chu Tian refused to compromise. Chris was forced to threaten with his life. Chu Tian was afraid of losing the perfect experimental sample, so he immediately agreed to order the release. Fat Wayne Jiang was pushed to Chris. At this moment, Kai Wen's car arrived. The men in black were scared to death and quickly dodged. Taking the opportunity, Chris put Fat Wayne Jiang in the car and drove ahead. He fired his gun to prevent the men in black from chasing. Then Chris also took car and ran after them. The men in black had no car and could only stand and watch. Only then did the man with glasses realize that Chris's gun was just a prop. Chu Tian laughed in resentment. He did not expect to be fooled by the students. Later, Fat Wayne Jiang and his friends returned to the boxing practice field. Cheng Zhen wondered why Chris and Fat Wayne Jiang were kidnapped. Fat Wayne Jiang didn't know how to explain. Chris said that no one needed to know. This made Cheng Zhen very angry. He asked Fat Wayne Jiang and Chris if they considered them friends. Kai Wen advised Fat Wayne Jiang to tell everyone the truth about Chris. Hao Ming wondered who Chris was. Then Chris spoke up and admitted his identity. Fat Wayne Jiang explained to Cheng Zhen and Hao Ming that he could use Chris's body, but no one believed this nonsense. So Fat Wayne Jiang had to ask Chris to press the Eye of Horus, at which point Chris was forced to accept and follow. After the two switched bodies, Cheng Zhen and Hao Ming gradually believed that what Fat Wayne Jiang said was true. Cheng Zhen was angry and wanted to hit handsome Wayne Jiang, but he dodged all his attacks. If Chris woke up and found his body injured, he would definitely make a scene. Kai Wen wanted to stop him, but Cheng Zhen was even angrier because Kai Wen knew everything and kept it a secret. But it was not easy to tell others that secret. Handsome Wayne Jiang pointed at Fat Wayne Jiang and said, if Cheng Zhen was angry, just hit him. Hao Ming advised Cheng Zhen to calm down and ask who knew this secret. Handsome Wayne Jiang immediately admitted that no one knew except people here. So Tao Chao did not know about this either. Handsome Wayne Jiang wanted to find an opportunity to speak himself. He begged everyone to keep it a secret for now. Cheng Zhen did not agree because Handsome Wayne Jiang had deceived everyone for so long. Cheng Zhen wanted to tell Tao Chao everything, but when Cheng Zhen saw Tao Chao coming, Cheng Zhen was so upset that he could not speak because he saw that she was very worried about Handsome Wayne Jiang. Outside, Bo Wen and his group were waiting, but no one came out. They broke into the car to steal the black box, through which Bo Wen discovered that the men in black had kidnapped Fat Wayne Jiang and Chris. He and Jun Hao were extremely puzzled. They wondered if the men in black had kidnapped Chris. Why did they also kidnap Fat Wayne Jiang? Bo Wen suddenly realized that one of the men in black was the one who had broken into Fat Wayne Jiang's room the last time. There must be something hidden in this matter. Jun Hao suggested that they go see the men in black because they might be able to help him deal with Handsome Wayne Jiang. Then, the two of them broke into Fat Wayne Jiang's room and they contacted the men in black through a hidden camera. Jun Hao took the evidence of the black men kidnapping and sent a message saying that if the other party wanted evidence, they should contact Jun Hao at the phone number on the screen. After finishing work, Jun Hao and Bo Wen left the room. On the other side, Chu Tian saw the video, so he immediately asked someone to arrange an appointment with Jun Hao. At the meeting, Jun Hao took out the memory card in the car. He reminded Chu Tian that technology is very developed now, so Chu Tian must be careful in everything he does. Chu Tian also showed Jun Hao a good scene. That was the scene where he installed a hidden camera in Fat Wayne Jiang's room. If this matter was exposed, Jun Hao's reputation and career would be ruined. Both Jun Hao and Chu Tian now came to grasp each other's weaknesses, so they decided to get straight to the point. Chu Tian wanted Chris's body. Jun Hao and Bo Wen wanted to take revenge on Handsome Wayne Jiang. After the two sides reached an agreement, the men in black sent Bo Wen and Jun Hao away. In the room, the bespectacled man wondered why Chu Tian cooperated with those two people, because they didn't seem to be of any use. It turned out that Chu Tian was looking for someone to take the blame. If what he did was discovered by the police, at least someone would go to jail. Suddenly, Chu Tian received a phone call. Customer who bought Chris's body called. The customer asked him to quickly carry out the plan because that person couldn't wait any longer. Chu Tian quickly agreed. Then, he ordered the bespectacled man to prepare. At this time, Handsome Wayne Jiang took Tao Chao home. He told Tao Chao that from now on, he would stay at Kai Wen's house for a while because Handsome Wayne Jiang wanted to prevent himself from being kidnapped again. He wanted Tao Chao to keep it a secret. She happily agreed to Handsome Wayne Jiang, but she accidentally accidentally told her sister about it. Tao Chao also asked her sister to keep it a secret. Her sister promised not to tell anyone, but she softened her heart to Junhao. He pretended to have something important to deliver to handsome Wayne Jiang, and thus he got information from Tao Chao's sister. In the morning, Chris and Fat Wayne Jiang stayed at Kai Wen's house. Fat Wayne Jiang went into the kitchen to prepare breakfast to repay him. Kai Wen was very happy because this was the first time he had eaten at home. He usually ate at restaurants. Chris felt that the taste of the food was a bit familiar, as if he had tasted it before but could not remember. The church bell rang in Chris's mind again. He quickly took out the photo. Chris wanted to ask Kai Wen to help investigate where the place in the photo was. When Kai Wen went to school, he asked Cheng Zhen and Hao Ming to help. The scene in the photo was a bakery, but no one could find any information online. Maybe that place had disappeared many years ago. Cheng Zhen suggested posting the photo online to ask. Maybe some older people would remember this place. Kai Wen added that the bakery was near the church. Cheng Zhen also added that note to the post. On the other side, handsome Wayne Jiang and Tao Chiao were dating. Handsome Wayne Jiang was shy and didn't dare to hold her hand, so Tao Chiao had to take the initiative. Handsome Wayne Jiang was both shy and happy. Tao Chiao was extremely happy because she had a boyfriend as handsome Wayne Jiang. Tao Chiao remembered that handsome Wayne Jiang had mentioned a secret, and he also wanted to tell the whole truth. However, before handsome Wayne Jiang could say anything, he suddenly received a call from Kai Wen. He informed him that he had found the address in Chris's photo. By the way, handsome Wayne Jiang brought Tao Chiao along. The two were followed by the guy with glasses. Handsome Wayne Jiang went to a bakery with Tao Chiao. He wanted her to go inside first, so handsome Wayne Jiang lied that he needed to go to the bathroom. After Tao Chiao went in, handsome Wayne Jiang left a note on Chris's phone, and then he returned his body to Chris. Chris was awakened and didn't know where this was. He read the note from Fat Wayne Jiang. Although the name of the bakery had changed, this was the place Chris was looking for. He finally remembered. This was the place where he took a photo with his sister. The photographer was a nun. Chris suddenly burst into tears. Tao Chiao was looking for him. She saw Chris crying and went to comfort her. But Chris needed to go somewhere and left Tao Chiao alone. His unusual behavior made her feel puzzled. Fat Wayne Jiang was at Kai Wen's house on the other side. He was worried that Tao Chiao was abandoned by Chris, so he wanted to go see her. Kai Wen wanted to go with Fat Wayne Jiang, but at this moment Han Tuyet came looking for him, so he had to let Fat Wayne Jiang go alone. However, as soon as Fat Wayne Jiang left the door, he was tripped by Bo Wen and fell. Many girls saw Bo Wen beating Fat Wayne Jiang, but no one dared to stop him for fear of being beaten. When the girls saw Junhao, they asked to take a photo together. Fat Wayne Jiang took the opportunity to beg him for help. Because Junhao wanted to get a good image, he pretended to be a hero. Bo Wen understood and let him go first. Fat Wayne Jiang bowed to thank Junhao and ran away. Junhao signaled Bo Wen to chase after him. Later, Fat Wayne Jiang arrived in front of the bakery, but he did not see Tao Chiao and Chris there. Fat Wayne Jiang called, but Chris did not answer. However, he was only worried that Tao Chiao was taken to a motel by Chris. On this side, Tao Chiao was abandoned by Chris, so she asked Lan Xin to go to a coffee shop to talk. Tao Chiao said that Wayne Jiang had been looking very handsome recently and that he seemed to be hiding something. Lan Xin showed Tao Chiao a photo in which the boy looked very much like the handsome Wayne Jiang. Moreover, the boy had a younger sister standing next to him, but Tao Chiao had never met the younger sister of the handsome Wayne Jiang. The two girls suspected that he had another secret about his identity. On this side, Chris discovered that the guy with glasses was following him, so he quickly hid in a coffee shop. The guy with glasses asked the staff and found out that Chris had escaped through the back door. It was not until the guy with glasses disappeared that Chris came out and thanked the staff for helping him distract him. She also confessed that she helped because the guy was handsome. By the way, Chris wanted to ask the staff if there was a church nearby. She also helped him because of Chris's handsome face. By the way, Chris asked if there was a church here, and the female employee immediately showed him the way to the church. Here Chris asked about a nun who used to take care of him and his sister when they were young. According to a woman, the nun was seriously ill and was currently in the hospital, but the woman didn't know which hospital. She would help Chris ask for more information. Hearing that, he left his phone number and name and left. In the evening, Chris returned home. Fat Wayne Jiang questioned him about where he had taken Tao Chiao. Chris said that the two of them separated at the bakery. Fat Wayne Jiang became even angrier when he heard that and asked why Chris had abandoned Tao Chiao. Chris didn't want to explain. He just said that if Fat Wayne John cared about Tao Chow, he should go and ask her himself. But Fat Wayne Jan didn't have the courage to do that. Chris saw that and got angry and told him not to bother him. Fat Wayne Jan was embarrassed and went back to the kitchen to get something to eat. Kai Wen came up and asked if Chris had remembered anything. Chris lied and said he didn't remember anything. Kai Wen asked why he went to the church. Chris knew Kai Wen had installed a GPS on his phone, but Chris didn't expose it and angrily went upstairs. Then he removed the GPS app from his phone. On the other side, Chu Tian received news that Chris was looking for something. He reviewed Chris's profile, but he still didn't know what it was. Suddenly, Chu Tian received a call from a client who wanted to meet Chris. Chu Tian immediately arranged for the client to meet. The next day was the press conference for the movie. Chu Tian's client was the old president. Chu Tian had to help him to his seat to wait for Chris. In the waiting room, handsome Wayne John was reading the script. Tao Chow went over to remind that the press conference was about to start. Handsome Wayne Jiang saw that Tao Chow seemed angry, so he held her back and asked. Tao Chow directly took out the photo of Chris and his sister and asked, "What secret is he hiding?" Handsome Wayne Jiang immediately denied and said that the person in the photo is not him. Tao Chow knew that handsome Wayne Jiang would not tell the truth, so she sulked and wanted to go out first. Just then the manager came in to remind handsome Wayne Jiang to get ready quickly. Handsome Wayne Jiang accidentally discovered that Bo Wen also appeared at the press conference because he was worried that Fat Wayne Jiang would be in danger. Handsome Wayne Jiang had to promise Tao Chow that he would tell her the truth soon. Then he tricked Tao Chow out to return the body to Chris. At this time, Fat Wayne Jiang, who was lying in the car, was also awakened. Fortunately, Fat Wayne Jiang escaped before Bo Wen arrived. He ran into the room to inform Chris of Bo Wen's presence. Fat Wayne Jiang advised that it would be safer for the two of them to be close together, but Chris wondered where this was. Fat Wayne Jiang wanted him to change clothes to attend the press conference, but Chris said that this was not in the contract and that he was in a very urgent situation. Fat Wayne Jiang begged Chris for a long time before he agreed to spend 10 minutes at the press conference. Fat Wayne Jiang was satisfied when he saw this. However, during the press conference, Chris was extremely upset because the director spoke too long. Chris warned Fat Wayne Jiang that time was almost up. Fat Wayne Jiang could only clasp his hands and beg. Finally, it was Chris's turn to speak. He acted arrogantly and disregarded everyone, and Chris even insulted the director and the crew, which caused everyone below to gossip. Suddenly, Chris received a phone call. He stood up and left the auditorium. After Chu Tian let the old guild leader meet Chris, Chu Tian also sent him back. The old guild leader was completely satisfied with Chu Tian's preparations. He asked Chu Tian to quickly arrange the surgery. He happily agreed immediately. Outside, Chris wanted to take car. Fat Wayne Jiang begged him to stay until the press conference ended. Chris said that he didn't have much time, and after saying that, he snatched the key from Fat Wayne Jiang's pocket. Just then, Bo Wen appeared. He wanted to keep Chris, but he didn't want to waste any more time. Bo Wen kept attacking, but he was knocked down by Chris and fell to the ground. When Chris got in the car, Fat Wayne Jiang had no choice but to follow and leave the scene. Junhao ran over to criticize Bo Wen for not being able to fight Chris, but Junhao was pressed on the head by him a few times. Bo Wen said that he would go and deal with Chris himself. Junhao only had this face to make money, so he couldn't let his face be damaged. Seeing this, Bo Wen could only leave in anger. Later, Chris and Fat Wayne Jiang went to the hospital to see the nun who took care of Chris when he was young, but now that he had grown up, the nun could not recognize him. When Chris asked the doctor about his condition, he found out that the nun had temporary amnesia. In the room, Fat Wayne Jiang saw the nun about to cut her nails, so he wanted to help her. During that time, the two of them talked together. Although the nun had amnesia, she still had memories of Chris and her sister. When the nun was telling a story to Fat Wayne Jiang, Chris suddenly rushed in, startling the nun. Fat Wayne Jiang immediately comforted her, saying that this was the nephew she had just mentioned, but the nun insisted that this person was not, because Chris and his sister were both abroad. Thanks to this sentence, Chris regained some of his memories. He and his sister were adopted by an American couple, but what happened after the two went to America? Why did Chris lose his sister? Back to reality, Chris confirmed that Chu Tian knew something. He went to look for Chu Tian alone. However, Chris discovered that someone was following him, so he stopped the car and dragged the guy with glasses out. After Chris controlled the guy with glasses, Chris forced him to take him back to the base. The guy with glasses opened the door for Chris to go inside. Then the guy with glasses was knocked out by him. Inside, Chris discovered his and his sister's files. Suddenly, Chris was hit by a dart containing anesthetic and collapsed to the ground. After that, he was placed on the table, and the scientists checked Chris's physical condition. They discovered a few minor problems with his body, so they could not perform surgery yet. On the other side, Tao Chow came to find Kai Wen. She said that handsome Wayne Jiang had changed a lot recently, Tao Chao thought Kai Wen knew something, but he wanted handsome Wayne Jiang to say it himself. At this point, Kai Wen was still determined to hide it from Tao Chao. Just then, Fat Wayne Jiang returned to tell Kai Wen that Chris had disappeared again. Tao Chao heard it and wondered who Chris was. Fat Wayne Jiang lied and said that Chris was the neighbor's lost dog. They wanted Fat Wayne Jiang and Kai Wen to help find it. Tao Chao knew it wasn't true, so she sadly went out alone. Fat Wayne Jiang quickly followed to comfort her. Outside, Tao Chao asked Fat Wayne Jiang if handsome Wayne Jiang had stopped loving her. Fat Wayne Jiang insisted that it wasn't because he was the one who understood her feelings best. But Fatty Wayne Jiang still refused to tell Tao Chao the secret. At this time, Chris woke up knowing that he had fallen into Chu Tian's trap, but he was not worried at all. If Chu Tian could use his sister to set a trap, then he definitely knew where she was. Chu Tian did not deny it, but he did not reveal this now. Chu Tian wanted to confirm one thing first. He then touched the Horus Eye to let Zhe Yang control the body. He was extremely panicked when he learned that Chris had been kidnapped again. Then Chu Tian pressed the switch again to let Chris return. Now he knew that Zhe Yang was the problem with this body. Suddenly Chu Tian received a call from the old guild leader. He asked when Chu Tian could perform the surgery. Chu Tian hid the new problem that had arisen. He said that it could be done tomorrow. The old guild leader still wanted to check Chris's body again. Chu Tian had to agree. He injected Chris with anesthetic and made him faint. Then he prepared to take Chris to Chu Tian's villa. On the other side, Fatty Wayne Jiang told Kai Wen that he already knew where Chris went. Chris was definitely in the operating room, but the two of them searched the entire hospital and still couldn't find him, so they had to temporarily go home and wait for news. Later, the secretary came to report to Kai Wen that he had investigated Chris's identity. He and his sister were orphans living at the Sacred Heart Church and were later adopted by an American family. Kai Wen and Fatty Wayne Jiang both knew this. However, the secretary also learned one more thing. The American adoptive parents sold Chris and his sister to an Asian man. Fatty Wayne Jiang immediately confirmed that person was Chu Tian. For some reason, Chris escaped from Chu Tian, but his sister was not so lucky, so she was still held captive by him. Fat Wayne Jiang wanted to help Chris find his sister so that he wouldn't run around anymore. Fat Wayne Jiang also hoped that Chris would be grateful and let him continue to borrow his body. Kai Wen was unhappy and asked why Fat Wayne Jiang had to live in someone else's body. The reason Kai Wen became friends with handsome Wayne Jiang was because of Zhe Yang's personality, not Chris's appearance. Kai Wen insisted that he wasn't into guys. Fat Wayne Jiang knew that Kai Wen was a good friend, so he immediately hugged him. Besides Kai Wen, Fat Wayne Jiang also had two friends, Chen Zhen and Hao Ming. This time he asked them for help. Then 4 people ambushed at the hotel, which was where handsome Wayne Jiang was taken last time. Chen Zhen wondered if Chu Tian was an organ trafficker. Why didn't he directly deal with handsome Wayne Jiang last time? If Chu Tian was a human trafficker, then Chris seemed a bit too old. This matter needed further investigation to know. At this moment, Chu Tian led people out. The 4 of them immediately got in the car and followed him. The group went to the abandoned house and waited in ambush. Only when Chu Tian left did they break in, but Fat Wayne Jiang suddenly fainted and Hao Ming had to carry him on his back. When the 4 of them arrived at Chu Tian's study, they were discovered by the men in black. They let Fat Wayne Jiang sleep. Hao Ming and Cheng Zhen dealt with the men in black, and Kai Wen stayed behind to get the information on the computer. However, he didn't know the password. Kai Wen noticed the painting on the wall. Then he tried to enter the artist's date of birth. Unexpectedly, Kai Wen was actually able to open the computer. Inside was data about Chu Tian's crazy experiments. Kai Wen was extremely disgusted when he saw these things, but he found out that Chris was also part of the experiment. The black-clothed crowd was growing, and everyone had to leave the place first. Kai Wen wanted to carry Fat Wayne Jiang away, but he was too heavy, so Kai Wen had to ask Hao Ming to carry him along. Chen Zhen continued to fight with the black-clothed crowd and closed the door. Kai Wen and Hao Ming also helped him block the door. Then Kai Wen broke the window and escaped with everyone. The black-clothed crowd continued to chase them. On the other side, Chris was taken to the old guild leader. He was very satisfied and wanted to talk to Chris. Chu Tian injected medicine to wake Chris up, but in his body now was Zhe Yang. He didn't know what these people wanted to do. The old guild leader asked handsome Wayne Jiang to change clothes, and then he invited handsome Wayne Jiang to have a meal. The old guild leader ate grasshoppers, which made handsome Wayne Jiang feel disgusted. Chu Tian forced handsome Wayne Jiang to sit down on the chair. He was about to inject medicine to make handsome Wayne Jiang sleep again, but the old guild leader did not agree. He told them not to poke sharp things into his body. Handsome Wayne Jiang had not yet recovered from his confusion when the man wearing glasses blew a sleeping dart, making him unconscious again. Then Chu Tian ordered someone to lock handsome Wayne Jiang in the room. Unexpectedly, handsome Wayne Jiang was just pretending. He dodged the dart and was not affected by the sleeping pill. Handsome Wayne Jiang immediately found a way to escape from the room, but he accidentally heard Chu Tian's conversation. He wanted to kill Ziyang so that his consciousness would not take over Chris's body. Handsome Wayne Jiang knew that he was in danger. He touched the Eye of Horus to return his body to Chris. Ziyang had to save himself. Chris also defeated the black-clothed men and found a way to escape. At this time, the four escaped from the black-clothed men's base, but they still did not let them go. The three of them put Fat Wayne Jiang on a cart. At this moment, Fat Wayne Jiang was awakened. He did not look behind him and ran away with his friends. Junhao and Bo Wen were looking for Fat Wayne Jiang. When he ran over and climbed into Junhao's car, Junhao immediately took Fat Wayne Jiang to Chu Tian, which was the old president's villa. But before Junhao could wait for Chu Tian, Chris suddenly appeared. He kicked Junhao and stole the car to take Fat Wayne Jiang away. Under the murderous gazes of the black-clothed men, Junhao did not know how to explain. He was led to Chu Tian with a knife at his neck. Bo Wen walked over with a proud face and was forced to kneel down. The two began to argue. Chu Tian yelled at the two to shut up. He thought they were just useless people who ruined things. Junhao wanted to ask for another chance. If he and Bo Wen couldn't deal with their Fat Wayne Jiang tomorrow, the two of them would have to pay with their lives. This was the last chance Chu Tian gave them. At this time, Chris and Fat Wayne Jiang returned to the boxing gym. Fat Wayne Jiang said that there was information about Chris's sister being at Chu Tian's place. Chris wanted to go there to check, but Fat Wayne Jiang held Chris back and told him another secret. Chu Tian wanted to kill Fat Wayne Jiang to completely control Chris's body. At this moment, Kai Wen's group returned to gather. Luckily, no one was injured. Kai Wen asked the secretary to find Chris's sister. Chris just needed to hide in a safe place and wait for news. But where is there a safe place at this time? Fat Wayne Jiang immediately remembered a place, that is, his grandmother's house in the countryside. The next day, Chris and Fat Wayne Jiang set off to their hometown. Unfortunately, they were seen by Bo Wen's subordinates. At first, they didn't know who the two were, so they followed Chris and Fat Wayne Jiang to their grandmother's house. After the subordinates confirmed that the person in the house was Fat Wayne Jiang, they immediately called Bo Wen. He and Junhao were looking for Fat Wayne Jiang everywhere. Unexpectedly, he took the initiative to return to his hometown to give up his life. Bo Wen and Junhao set off to their hometown. On the other side, Tao Chao arrived at the set. She saw that the director was upset because the handsome Wayne Jiang hadn't come to film. The director couldn't contact him either, so he had to ask the director to skip the handsome Wayne Jiang's scene. The director was extremely angry and asked the manager to find out where the handsome Wayne Jiang was. Tao Chao also called Lan Xin to ask for the handsome Wayne Jiang's hometown address. After getting the information that Tao Chao went to his grandmother's house, but the person she met was Fat Wayne Jiang, Tao Chao was very confused. Chris in the house saw this and immediately took Tao Chao out to confide. Fat Wayne Jiang was afraid that Chris would kiss Tao Chao again, so he followed. When he saw that Tao Chao cared about and missed Chris, she even took the initiative to hold Chris's hand. This made Fat Wayne Jiang very sad. It was clear that Zayan was the one Tao Chao loved. Fat Wayne Jiang pretended to cough to get her attention. Tao Chao went to buy water for Fat Wayne Jiang. He also wanted to follow. Chris saw this scene and could only laugh helplessly. Suddenly, he received a call from Chu Tian. He was holding Chris's sister and told him to return immediately. But Chris was not easy to trust. Chu Tian directly let him hear his sister's voice. Then he didn't say anything more and hung up. Chris hurriedly returned to his grandmother's house to get a car, but Bo Wen's subordinates punctured the tire. When Chris went to the bus station, he found Bo Wen and Junhao there. Chris was afraid that Fat Wayne Jiang would be in danger, but for Chris, his sister was still more important. He decided not to go back, but Chris still sent a text message to warn Fat Wayne Jiang. However, Fat Wayne Jiang was a fool. He left Tao Chao at his grandmother's place and ran home. Bo Wen was waiting there. Fat Wayne Jiang was scared when he saw him and turned around, but he had not run a step before he tripped. Fat Wayne Jiang lied that he wanted to help Bo Wen find Chris, but this time Bo Wen's purpose in returning was Fat Wayne Jiang. Then he physically impacted Fat Wayne Jiang. At this time, he remembered Cheng Zhen's lesson, so Fat Wayne Jiang punched Bo Wen straight in the face. But after beating Fat Wayne Jiang, he did not run but stood still, so he was hit on the head by Junhao with a brick. Bo Wen immediately carried Fat Wayne Jiang to an abandoned factory. Suddenly, Fat Wayne Jiang's phone rang. Chris anxiously called to ask about the situation. When he learned that Fat Wayne Jiang was still being held by Bo Wen, Chris could only curse. He had no choice but to call Kai Wen for help. But Kai Wen had to know where Fat Wayne Jiang was in order to help. Chris was going to save his sister, so he didn't know his situation. Kai Wen suggested that Chris click on the Horus Eye to find out where Fat Wayne Jiang was. But Chris was afraid that Fat Wayne Jiang wouldn't change back. Today he had to meet Chu Tian because he wanted to know if his sister was alive or dead. Chris hung up directly and let Kai Wen handle it himself. Kai Wen immediately asked Cheng Zhen and Hao Ming to go back, and they went together to Fat Wayne Zhang's hometown. Chris felt uneasy in the car, so he decided to switch bodies with Fat Wayne Zhang for a while. On the other side, Fatty Wayne Zhang just woke up and saw Junhao here. Only then did Fatty Wayne Zhang realize that he was colluding with Bo Wen. He was immediately beaten unconscious again. Just then, Ziyang's consciousness was transferred to Chris's body. Handsome Wayne Zhang wanted to get off the bus, but the bus was on the highway, so he had to return to his seat. Handsome Wayne Zhang left a note on his phone for Chris. Then Handsome Wayne Zhang returned his body to him. Chris read Ziyang's note. He knew that Fatty Wayne Zhang was in an abandoned factory where Bo Wen and Junhao were also. Chris immediately made an appointment with Kai Wen at the bus stop. Then he and his friends went to save Fatty Wayne Zhang. Everyone quickly determined the location of the abandoned factory. Kai Wen wondered why Chris changed his mind. Chris had a bad feeling. He thought that everything was Chu Tian's plan. Maybe Bo Wen brought Fatty Wayne Zhang to the abandoned factory to kill him. Kai Wen immediately urged the secretary to speed up. At this time, the men in black arrived at the abandoned factory, and then they poured gasoline everywhere. Fatty Wayne Zhang woke up and felt extremely scared. Just then, his consciousness was transferred to Chris's body. Handsome Wayne Zhang told Kai Wen that the men in black planned to burn him alive. Cheng Zhen heard this and immediately came up with a bold idea. After all, Chris was not close to them, so Ziyang just took over his body. Kai Wen encouraged Handsome Wayne Zhang to do as Cheng Zhen said. Even if Handsome Wayne Zhang was selfish this time, they would still agree. He was very hesitant when he heard this. Suddenly, Handsome Wayne Zhang received a phone call. On the other end was Chris's sister's voice. Handsome Wayne Zhang realized that Chris also had important things to do, but Chris still lent him his body. Handsome Wayne Zhang thought he couldn't just think about himself. He pressed the Horus eye and returned the body to Chris. Everyone was very sorry. They told Chris everything that had just happened. He blamed Fat Wayne Zhang for being an idiot. Fat Wayne Zhang still thought about others at this time. Chris urged the secretary to drive faster. When they arrived at the abandoned factory, the place was on fire. Chris was not afraid of danger and rushed into the fire to look for Fat Wayne Zhang. Cheng Zhen and Hao Ming also rushed in. Together they took Fat Wayne Zhang out. After Fat Wayne Zhang got into the ambulance, Kai Wen informed Tao Qiao. She immediately led her grandmother into the hospital. Grandma anxiously asked about Fat Wayne Zhang's condition. The doctor asked the family to prepare mentally. Grandma went into the ward to see Fat Wayne Zhang. Outside, Chris blamed Fat Wayne Zhang for being an idiot. Cheng Zhen angrily asked who was in danger for. Kai Wen told Chris everyone wanted Fat Wayne Zhang to take over Chris's body, but he did not do anything against his conscience. Chris also softened and let Fat Wayne Zhang borrow his body for the last time so that he could say his last words to his grandmother. Then Handsome Wayne Zhang entered the room. Tao Qiao went out to let him confide in his grandmother. Handsome Wayne Zhang recounted the injustices Fat Wayne Zhang had suffered while living in an ugly body, but Fat Wayne Zhang had never known that his grandmother had always been proud of having a kind and gentle grandson. Handsome Wayne Zhang knelt down and apologized to his grandmother because he had always been insecure about himself. He had not lived as she wished. Handsome Wayne Zhang hoped that from now on, his grandmother would live happily and healthily. After Handsome Wayne Zhang finished confiding in his grandmother, he went out to say goodbye to everyone. No one wanted him to return his body to Chris, but Handsome Wayne Zhang believes that everyone has their own life. Chris still has to go save his sister, so Handsome Wayne Zhang cannot selfishly monopolize this body. Everyone was very sad when they heard this. After that, Handsome Wayne Zhang still had to press the Horus eye. However, the soul did not switch. The person in Chris's body at this time was still Handsome Wayne Zhang. Kai Wen checked the Horus eye and found that it had faded. Could it be that Handsome Wayne Zhang and Chris could no longer switch? Handsome Wayne Zhang was very worried. If he did not return the body to Chris to see Chu Tian, his sister Chris would be in danger. Handsome Wayne Zhang wanted to go instead of Chris, but everyone immediately stopped him. Handsome Wayne Zhang doing so would be like throwing himself into danger, but Handsome Wayne Zhang had to go. After all, Chris's sister was a human life. Everyone wanted to go together, but Handsome Wayne Zhang refused, because then Chu Tian would know he was not Chris. That night, Handsome Wayne Zhang went to Chu Tian alone. He wanted to know where Chris's sister was. Chu Tian showed Handsome Wayne Zhang a video, which proved that Chris's sister was still alive, but Handsome Wayne Zhang discovered that the video was taken a year ago. Chu Tian admitted that Chris's sister was dead, and Chris would soon be able to see her after leaving this body. Handsome Wayne Zhang was furious. He directly admitted that he was Fat Wayne Zhang. Chu Tian suddenly asked, "Isn't he dead?" Handsome Wayne Zhang declared that Chu Tian would not achieve his goal. He immediately injected Handsome Wayne Zhang with anesthesia. Tonight, Chu Tian had to perform surgery on the old president, so he had no time to think. He sent the guy with glasses to the hospital to kill Fat Wayne Jiang again. After the bespectacled man finished, his subordinates immediately informed Chu Tian, and then he performed the surgery. This was a surgery to transfer the consciousness from the body of a dying old person to the body of a young person, so that person could live again in their youth. Chu Tian had successfully performed 7 surgeries, including Chris's younger sister. This time, Chu Tian believed that the surgery would also be successful. When the transfer surgery began, an unexpected incident occurred, causing the 2 people to have convulsions. Chu Tian checked in panic, and Chris's consciousness had transferred to the body of the old guildmaster. He angrily uttered a few words and then died. The old guildmaster's consciousness also transferred to Chris's body. He had difficulty walking because he had not yet adapted. The old guildmaster was extremely happy to be reborn again. At the same time, the poison in the hospital took effect, which put Fat Wayne Jiang in critical condition. The doctors determined his time of death, but an unexpected miracle happened. Fat Wayne Jiang miraculously woke up. Hearing the news, Grandma and Tao Chiao were overjoyed. Fatty Wayne Jiang wanted to tell Kai Wen that something had happened to Chris. He told them that the transformation surgery had been completed. At that moment, Kai Wen and his 2 friends discovered that Chris was coming out of the laboratory. He was no longer Chris, but the old president. The men in black escorted the old president back to the villa. Kai Wen's group immediately followed them, but the 3 of them could only stand outside the villa and watch because there were many bodyguards. According to the information the secretary had found, the president was one of the top 3 richest people in China, and he had a huge fortune. No wonder the president was so afraid of death. In the morning, the police came to the hospital to interrogate Fatty Wayne Jiang to investigate the arson. Fatty Wayne Jiang recounted the situation. He was kidnapped by Bo Wen and Jun Hao, but the arsonist was someone else. The police asked why they wanted to kill Fatty Wayne Jiang. He was about to answer when Tao Chao suddenly appeared, so Fatty Wayne Jiang stopped talking. He wanted to keep the secret to the end. After the police left, Tao Chao wanted to ask Fatty Wayne Jiang about the whereabouts of handsome Wayne Jiang. Fatty Wayne Jiang and his co-stars didn't want Tao Chao to know the truth. Everyone left. Tao Chao accidentally found Fatty Wayne Jiang's phone. Chris's number was saved in the phone. Tao Chao remembered that Fatty Wayne Jiang said Chris was a dog the other day, but how could he make a call? Moreover, this number belonged to handsome Wayne Jiang. Tao Chao checked and confirmed and found out that her friends were lying to her. She called Lan Xin to ask for help with something. Later, Lan Xin came to find Cheng Zhen. She wondered who Chris was, but Cheng Zhen hesitated and didn't say anything. Lan Xin had no choice but to use tears to force Cheng Zhen to tell the truth. Then she called Tao Chao and told her that Chris was actually handsome Wayne Jiang. It turned out that Cheng Zhen had lied to Lan Xin, saying that Chris was the English name of handsome Wayne Jiang, but Tao Chao was still suspicious. She wondered why everyone had to secretly hide the English name. On the other side, the president in Chris's body wrote a will. He transferred all his assets to Zhe Yang. After finishing, he drank with Chu Tian to celebrate. Chu Tian gave the information of Fat Wayne Jiang to the president. This would be his identity from now on. Chu Tian still had a surgery in Japan, so he asked for permission to leave first. Suddenly, something happened to the president, making Chu Tian extremely panicked. President was angry and forced him to find out the reason, so Chu Tian was forced to stay for a while longer. He helped the president check and found out that the chip had a problem, but Chu Tian deliberately hid it. He wanted to inject a dose of medicine for the president to rest, but the president did not agree to do so. Chu Tian said that the president might not have adapted to the new body yet, so the president needed to start getting used to Zhe Yang's life. The president knew that handsome Wayne Jiang used to be an actor, so he wanted to go to the set to experience it. Chu Tian felt uneasy and wanted to go with president. On the way, they saw the news that the old president had passed away. He also found his lost grandson, handsome Wayne Jiang, to inherit the inheritance. Fat Wayne Jiang could not sit still when he saw the news. He immediately left the hospital to find the president. Tao Chao also found it hard to believe when he saw the news. She immediately went to the set to find handsome Wayne Jiang to ask him something, but the person in front of her was a completely unfamiliar handsome Wayne Jiang. He was confident and arrogant when talking to girls. The president called Tao Chao into the car and closed the door. He took the initiative to approach her. Chu Tian felt suspicious, so he immediately rushed in to stop him. The president knew that Tao Chao was handsome Wayne Jiang's lover. If he was playing handsome Wayne Jiang, he had to act like it. Chu Tian couldn't argue. Later, when the president returned home, he saw Fat Wayne Jiang making a mess in front of his house. The president didn't know him, so he chased him away. But Fat Wayne Jiang rushed in and wanted to activate the Eye of Horus, but his actions had no effect. The president angrily ordered someone to take Fat Wayne Jiang away. The president also told Chu Tian not to let him in the house. When Chu Tian saw that Fat Fat Wayne Jiang was still alive, he went to find the guy with glasses to question him. Chu Tian suspected that there was a problem with the surgery. He decided to investigate this matter thoroughly. At this time, Fat Wayne Jiang returned to the hospital. Everyone was waiting for him. Tao Chao relayed the president's words that when the two of them were in the car, the president said that Chris was still alive. It turned out that Chris was deceiving Chu Tian. Everyone was very happy when they heard it. Only then did Tao Chao wonder who Chris was. Everyone was silent at her question. Tao Chao knew that she couldn't ask anything, so she had no choice but to leave the hospital room alone. But she stood outside the door and eavesdropped. Inside, Fatty Wayne Jiang wanted to find a way to talk to Chris, because Fatty Wayne Jiang wanted to know what his purpose was. Then everyone would help each other. But Kai Wen thought that if Fatty Wayne Jiang deliberately talked to Chris, Fatty Wayne Jiang would accidentally ruin his plan. According to Kai Wen, the best way was to wait for Chris to take the initiative to contact him. On the other side, Chu Tian tried to confirm whether Chris was pretending to be the president. He remembered that the president had a favorite dish that very few people could eat, which was fried grasshoppers. Chu Tian asked the butler to prepare it and bring it to Chris. Unexpectedly, Chris ate it deliciously. His way of enjoying food was very similar to the president. This made Chu Tian extremely confused. However, after Chris went to the bathroom, he threw up everything he had just eaten because this fried grasshopper dish was really disgusting. At that time, Chris also remembered that his sister had died in Chu Tian's experiment. Chris was trying to suppress his anger and grief. He would endure and wait for the day to take revenge. At this time, Bo Wen and Jun Hao were being interrogated by the police. They refused to admit their guilt and even asked for evidence. The police showed them the videotape in the abandoned factory. They tried to push the blame onto each other and said that Chu Tian forced them. Jun Hao insisted that the men in black also appeared in the videotape, but the latter part was cut. Only now did he realize that he was just a stand-in for Chu Tian. Bo Wen didn't want to say anything, just confessing quickly. Both of them were locked up in a cell. Later, the manager came to find Jun Hao and told him that he had been fired from the company, but the director still had some humanity left and would still help Jun Hao get bail. He hoped that he could start a new life. Jun Hao was extremely remorseful. After the announcement, the manager also returned and obediently became Chris's lackey. The manager took Fat Wayne Jiang and Chris to the set. The car stopped in front of A Yang. While the manager was out, Fat Wayne Jiang rushed over and hugged Chris, thanking him for being alive and saving Fat Wayne Jiang's life. Fat Wayne Jiang wondered why Chris had to pretend to be the president. Chris said that he wanted revenge, and furthermore, he didn't want Chu Tian to continue to take advantage of innocent children like his brothers. He painfully recounted that Chu Tian bought orphans, injected them with drugs to erase their memories, and then sold them to others at high prices. He performed body-swapping surgeries to help rich people rejuvenate. Chris insisted that he must let the whole world know about this. Chris wanted to ask Fat Wayne Jiang and his friends for help. After Chris got the evidence, Fat Wayne Jiang had to immediately call the police. Fat Wayne Jiang nodded in agreement. However, their conversation was overheard by Chu Tian. He was extremely angry and decided to wait for Chris to return and immediately eliminate him. At this time, Kai Wen, Handsome Wayne Jiang, and Cheng Zhen began to carry out Chris's plan. However, when they arrived at the secret base, Chu Tian had already had people clean it up. Kai Wen still found something unusual. There were traces of a hidden camera on the roof. This was the old Guildmaster's Plan B. Before the surgery, he had told Fat Wayne Jiang that if the surgery failed, he wanted Chu Tian to be buried with him. Fat Wayne Jiang also told Chris everything. Coincidentally, there were traces of a hidden camera, which made Kai Wen discover that Chu Tian had also heard everything. So where was that tape now? According to Chris's guess, it was at the old Guildmaster's house. Chris decided to go home for a while. Unexpectedly, Chu Tian was waiting here. He wanted to give Chris an injection and said that he needed to know the reason, which he knew better than anyone. Chris saw that Chu Tian had discovered his identity but remained calm. He praised Chris for his good acting and said that he really had the talent to be an actor. Chu Tian had someone restrain Chris. Luckily, the butler led Tao Chao in. Tao Chao needed Chris to try on clothes. Chu Tian decided to ignore it because he didn't want the butler to find out. Before leaving, the butler asked what the young master wanted to eat tonight. Chris replied that it would be fine as usual. Then, Chris led Tao Chao into the room and locked the door. Chris tried to escape through the window but saw a group of men in black guarding him. Tao Chao realized the dangerous situation and wanted to drag Chris away, but Chris still had things to do. On the other side, Fatty Wayne Jiang gathered everyone and asked them to cooperate with Chris to carry out the plan. Fatty Wayne Jiang received a message from Chris telling everyone to take action immediately. The group went to the villa together. Turning back to Chris, he told Tao Chao to pretend to still be trying on clothes in the room. Chris would sneak out to find the evidence left by the old president. By chance, Chris found the butler lying on the ground. The butler also knew that Chris was not the president and claimed to be the one who hid the evidence. The butler whispered the location to Chris. At that moment, Chu Tian arrived. He wanted to capture Chris but was tripped by the butler. Chu Tian was furious, killed the butler first, and then ordered to chase Chris. His subordinates came to report that they had overheard Chris's conversation with Fat Wayne Jiang. The evidence was hidden in the warehouse. Chu Tian led the men in black to the warehouse to surround and capture Chris here. However, he only had a grasshopper in his hand. Chu Tian then realized that he had been tricked. It turned out that Chris knew that Chu Tian was eavesdropping, so he borrowed Tao Chao's phone to text Fat Wayne Jiang the real location and asked his friends for support. Tao Chao would get the evidence, and Chris would distract Chu Tian. He was angry and sent someone to find Tao Chao. Taking the opportunity, Chris escaped and took Chu Tian hostage, asking him where his sister was buried. Chu Tian replied that she'd been cremated and thrown into the sea. Chris was furious and pounded her ashes into his mouth to take revenge on him. The men in black quickly stopped them. On the other side, Tao Chao went to the study where the housekeeper hid the evidence. She got the USB and accidentally discovered a video of Chris switching bodies with President. Suddenly, the men in black rushed in. Tao Chao immediately hid but was still discovered by them. Luckily, Fat Wayne Jiang arrived in time. Fat Wayne Jiang asked Tao Chao, but she tried to avoid him. As for Chris, he alone was no match for the men in black. Luckily, Cheng Zhen appeared in time and brought along a group of riot police. Chu Tian and his gang were captured alive. Cheng Zhen and Kai Wen took Chris out. Tao Chao handed over the evidence to the police. This time he would definitely be punished. Afterwards, everyone went to check Chris's wound. He blamed Fat Wayne Jiang for being slow as a turtle, but in the end, everything was over. Chris thanked everyone for their help. Everyone was very happy. Only then did Tao Chao confirm who Fat Wayne Jiang was. She realized that it seemed like everyone knew, only she didn't know anything. Fat Wayne Jiang wanted to explain, but didn't know where to start. Handsome Wayne Jiang had to do it for him. The handsome Wayne Jiang that Tao Chao knew was the Fat Wayne Jiang who controlled Chris's body. But now that Chris had regained his body, that meant that handsome Wayne Jiang would completely disappear. Tao Chao couldn't accept the truth. Kai Wen helped her confirm again. Tao Chao was sad and asked where her boyfriend was. Suddenly, Chris fainted. He was immediately taken to the hospital by everyone. The doctors examined Chris. Everyone outside waited for the results. Kai Wen reminded Fat Wayne Jiang to go see Tao Chao to explain. Everyone cheered him on to gain more motivation. Fat Wayne Jiang went to Tao Chao and explained everything. Tao Chao calmed down and believed Fat Wayne Jiang's words were true. Everything came to Fat Wayne Jiang like a dream that he never wanted to wake up from. Tao Chao understood that Fat Wayne Jiang had suffered a lot of injustice to want a new life. She only blamed Fat Wayne Jiang for not telling her the truth sooner. Fat Wayne Jiang apologized, but Tao Chao could not forgive him. The two officially broke up as friends. She wanted Fat Wayne Jiang to learn to love himself before loving someone else. Tao Chao left Fat Wayne Jiang behind. He was extremely troubled. The next day, the doctor informed Chris of the test results. He had a malignant brain tumor and only had about 3 months to live. Chris left in a hurry because he had important things to do. He then went to see Chu Tian in prison to ask where he buried his sister. Chu Tian gave a condition, wanting Chris to testify that his experiment was not crazy, but a great invention. Chu Tian was stubborn. Chris took advantage of this to deceive him, saying that he would testify in court. Chu Tian then told Chris that his sister was buried behind the Research Institute in the United States, and that all the failed experiments were there. Chris was extremely angry and wanted Chu Tian to stay here forever. Chu Tian was bitter for being deceived. Chris just left. In the evening, Chris helped Fatty Wayne Jiang arrange a date with Tao Chao to take her to fulfill her wish of seeing lots of fireflies. Tao Chao was very happy. Chris immediately appeared in front of Tao Chao and sat down to talk. He wanted to help Fat Wayne Jiang confirm something. Chris asked Tao Chao if she liked Fat Wayne Jiang's handsome face or his personality. Tao Chao immediately denied it. She explained that those who knew her well would know. She didn't like handsome people because they were arrogant and did everything their way. But handsome Wayne Jiang was different. He was handsome, gentle, kind, and always liked to help people. Chris asked Fat Wayne Jiang on behalf of Fat Wayne Jiang if she liked Fat Wayne Jiang. Although he was Fat Wayne Jiang's true personality, Tao Chao said that she couldn't accept a coward living in someone else's shell. As handsome Wayne Jiang, he was as confident as Fat Wayne Jiang. But as Fat Wayne Jiang, he was as weak and cowardly. Chris defended Fat Wayne Jiang by saying that maybe he had gone through terrible things, and that's why he had to live such a withdrawn life. Tao Chao also admitted that she had experienced it when she was a chubby child. Others hate you, you can hate them back, but you can't hate yourself. With effort, there will be change. Tao Chao told Chris the truth that she didn't like Fat Wayne Jiang, but it was because he was narcissistic about living in someone else's perfect body. Fat Wayne Jiang stood by and heard everything, so he was very sad. Later, Chris took Tao Chao home. Fat Wayne Jiang also followed. Chris asked him if he knew everything about Tao Chao's feelings, so he knew what to do. Fat Wayne Jiang was lost in thought. Suddenly, Chris received a call from Kai Wen. Kai Wen said that he knew everything about Chris's illness, so he wanted to meet up privately to talk. The two went to the riverbank. Kai Wen told Chris that this was the place he had the most memories, the place where he first made friends and first said everything in his heart. Kai Wen thanked Chris for accidentally appearing in everyone's lives. Chris was touched. Kai Wen hugged him. Chris patted Kai Wen's back to comfort him and thought that this might be his goodbye. After that, Chris returned to his room. Fat Wayne Jiang also heard that Chris was seriously ill, so he asked what his last wish was. Chris said that he wanted to eat his grandmother's dirty skewers. The next day, Fat Wayne Jiang called his grandmother to his house to make dirty skewers for Chris to eat freely. Grandma also invited Chris to stay and treat him like a grandchild in the family. Chris was very touched but still had to go back to the US to find his sister. Grandma sent Chris some gifts to bring back for him to slowly use. After that, Chris took Fat Wayne Jiang out to talk. He said that he didn't understand why they were destined to meet. Chris recalled seeing a lot of lanterns that night and wished to find his sister. Coincidentally, Fat Wayne Jiang also wished to have a new life at that time. Chris thought that God must have brought the two together to fulfill each other's wishes. Before returning to the US, Chris wanted to tell Fat Wayne Jiang to be confident in himself, to live for himself and not for anyone else. The next day, Fat Wayne Jiang confidently went to school. Bo Wen, who was stubborn, still came to cause trouble. Fat Wayne Jiang didn't want to run away and decided to teach him a lesson. Bo Wen pressed Fat Wayne Jiang's head once and was kicked repeatedly in the mouth. Bo Wen was surprised. Chen Zhen and handsome Wayne Jiang couldn't believe their eyes either. Bo Wen was furious, promised to come back for revenge, and then immediately ran away. Tao Chao was extremely satisfied with Fat Wayne Jiang's change. In the school, a new quartet appeared that everyone admired. Fat Wayne Jiang was a bit behind in looks, but being a little fat was still cute. Fat Wayne Jiang was also brave enough to find Tao Chao to confess his love. Unexpectedly, she accepted him. On the other side, Chris returned to America and found his sister's ashes. He still remembered what happened. Chris used to have good friends. He decided to travel everywhere to make more friends in the last days of his life. The chance to start your life over is how you change yourself. As long as you try hard every day, you will be rewarded with the corresponding value. If you live in the shadow of the past forever, cowardly and not daring to face reality, you will not even have the chance to be yourself. The movie ends here. See you again in the next clips.